Let's go. Welcome to the 2024 NFL Draft, and you are watching World of Matchups, National Football League television preview show coming to you all live and direct from Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Dexter Reed, and I am your host for the next 3+ hours, breaking down every pick that takes place today in Detroit, Michigan, on the other side of the glass. My A1 from day one, co-founder of World of Matchups and producer extraordinaire. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Spencer the Wiz. What up, dude? You ready for this? Let's go.
I'm ready. I'm nervous. The Raiders have an opportunity to do something pretty good in the first round. That I'm trying to think since Jamarcus Russell,
Yeah,
going
it's been a
back,
while. It's been a
they
while.
ran the course with Derek Carr for 30 years. It felt like 50,000 years, and
I
now they
know.
have a chance. We'll see. I mean, this is just such a good draft. Sometimes you can kind of smell it out. There's always those guys in the top that you're going to go for, but you and I pretty much agree that there is talent from essentially top to bottom. I
Yeah.
would call there are starters from 1 to 32 if you choose right, and of course not all of them will be. It's the nature of the NFL draft, but in terms of like draft grades, a lot of guys with first round draft grades.
Yeah, this is going to be a great draft. This draft is loaded. This is our inaugural season doing this here at World of Matchups. Even though we have been in business for the last 3 years, we figured let's make a live version of this for you guys and come correct. We have posted my latest mock draft. This is my final mock draft that I'm going with based on what I thought may happen. And my best bet for this draft is that all top 5 quarterbacks are going to go round one. Chicago's on the clock right now. We all know that Caleb Williams is going to be the number one pick. I also think that Drake May, Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, and Michael Penix all go today. That's my best bet. Run through your best bet, Spencer, while Chicago is on the clock at 8 minutes.
Yeah, my favorite bet of the draft. I mean, there are obviously plenty that you can go for that are a little bit easier, but I tried to find a little bit of value. It's kind of more fun that way. And my best bet for sure is Olu Fashanu under 13 and a half draft position. I think there's probably 3 teams, like once you get to the 9 to 13 spot, that could easily take him. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Tennessee took a look at him. I know Joe Alt is like the very favorite there, but and there's a lot of rumors about Brock Bowers and everything going to the
Mhm.
Jets, but I think they're probably going to prioritize maybe just a little bit more protecting him on that offensive line. That's my key place for him to go right now. A couple other bets I'm like keeping track of that I did like for the value, especially Jared Verse. I mean, it's him and Dallas Turner. I think one of them is going to fall because there's not a lot of teams looking for edge rushers in this
Mhm.
draft. I mean, I don't think
Verse,
so. And at
maybe.
the very least, I don't think both these guys command that much. Comparing them to like years past where you guys had like top 3 defensive ends, neither of these guys, at least in my opinion, are at that level. So I really think there's a good chance that Jared Verse does go to the Falcons here early on in the draft. And I think if it's not the Giants, I see a team trading up to get Malik Neighbors. I think a lot of these
Mm.
teams are seeing the impact of star wide receivers. Now, I fully expect the Giants to take Malik Neighbors. That's why I took this pick. I do have my own money on these. These are like actual bets that I made. But I could also see a team trading up to take him. I think there's going to be quite a few trade ups, not for quarterbacks, which is almost a little bit rare. I think you're going to see a lot of offensive linemen being traded up for because it's such a desperate need. And I also think it's a wide receiver. There could be some teams interested in moving up to take them, especially Roma Dunze and Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. I see a lot of teams potentially jumping up to take quarterbacks. Teams like the Denver Broncos, who are quarterback starved. Teams like the New York Giants, who are, I think, ready to admit that they made a mistake when they gave Daniel Jones that 4 year, $160 million contract. And there's only so many quarterbacks, guys. And so some of these teams may get left out in the cold. Some of these teams may realize we just don't have enough to move up to get a guy and then fall back and do the best that they can in the rest of the draft and just may cut their losses. I mean, this is going to be a wide receiver, offensive tackle, and quarterback dominated first round. And I'm here for it, man. What do you think is probably the craziest thing that you can imagine happening today?
You know what? I don't think there is going to be. For some reason, I don't feel like there's going to be a lot of movement. I could see the JJ McCarthy situation happening pretty easily. If not, I feel like the first trade up will be. I don't know. Maybe for Rome Odunze, I've heard some pretty strong rumors that the Chicago Bears are pretty open. I know you have them mocking it there, but they did trade for Keenan Allen. I think overall they feel fairly secure at the wide receiver position right now. A lot of teams are going to want Rome Odunze. I think he's gotten a lot of hype as of recent. That's one position I think I could see a team who really feels like they're a receiver away from going up and getting him.
Yeah, I have Rome going to the Bears at 9. If the Bears decide to trade out, Rome could go a number of different places, but I think that's the spot for him. They bring in Keenan Allen, who's going to be a target monster, and he'll be really good blanket for Caleb Williams here in the early goings. But I mean, he's going to be 34 in 2 years. They're going to have to replace that production somewhere. Dunze is such a great player, man. I got to see him live when the Pac-12 championship was right here at Allegiant versus the Oregon Ducks, and him, Penix, I mean Jalen Polk, I mean they had something going on, and they look really, really good. So I like Dunze a lot. As a Chiefs
Yeah,
fan, sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to say really quickly, since we are talking about the Bears and Caleb Williams,
Hmm.
I think this is the right choice, no matter if it works
Oh
out or
yeah,
not. You never know if a pick is going to work out. It's the nature of the game, right? But you got to look at decisions before you make them and say, did I make the right decision here? I know Justin Fields has a lot of potential, but I think you saw over the offseason how much people really believe in the guy. The Steelers even brought in more competition because they really don't believe in the guy.
yeah,
The Bears needed to do this. When you're in position to get what many people consider a potential generational player, you got to roll the dice because having QB 15 in the NFL or having even QB 10 99% of the time is not enough. Hall of Fame quarterbacks win Super Bowls, and Justin Fields is just not that. It's just not that.
absolutely. Yeah, we've talked about this to death. I mean, we've been beating this drum now for 6 weeks. I mean, in order to win a Super Bowl, especially if you're playing a guy like Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to have a top five. You have to have a top three, quarterback in this league. And if you don't, you literally can't win that game. I mean, Brock Purdy played a pretty good game and they still lost. I mean, even though they had one more play that they needed to make, they just couldn't get it done. And when you have people saying that there are some comparisons that they're seeing to a guy like Mahomes in Caleb Williams, it doesn't make sense to not, take this guy pull and pray. I have some questions about what's between his ears. I'm not a big fan of his dad. There's some LeVar Ball to this guy. You know what I mean? This is
Really, I haven't
more.
heard about that.
Yeah, dude. Do some, just type in Caleb Williams' dad in Google. You know what I mean? And this is this is a millennial quarterback. This is your generation stepping into the NFL, and the Chicago Bears officially select Caleb Williams #1 overall. He is the guy out of USC. He is going to be the savior for the Bears. He is supposed to be the guy that's going to bring pride back to the, Chicago Bears franchise. I mean, Soldier Field in November, run the ball, tough defense, franchise quarterback. This is it. They had to have it. This was the generational talent. This is the right pick. Me personally, I do believe that there is a little bust alert around Caleb Williams. He just never really played over the top versus better competition, man. It's one thing to beat up on scrubs, but you have to understand that the NFL and college football, they are generations away. They are not the same. College football is here. NFL is somewhere in this stratosphere. The guys are bigger, faster, stronger, and you come in with this much arrogance. Dude, people are going to be gunning for you, Caleb Williams, but I wish you and the Bears franchise nothing but the best. It's the right pick at #1 overall.
They're putting him in a good position to start out. Most rookies do not enjoy the compliments. I mean, having DJ Moore, I think by yourself is like, I mean, take a look at the Panthers last year. Bryce Young was, I mean, I don't even know who he was throwing to, right? They're desperate. They went after Deontay Johnson. So now you have DJ Moore and then you add Keenan Allen in the offseason. The more I think about it, the more I think they should just go offensive line. Pick up pick up, Fashanu at the number 9 position. Yes, you can get more, draft capital easily. I think there's tons of teams are going to be calling them for that 9th pick. But now that you really kind of see it in place, you know that he has the wide receiving core. If you want to set up a rookie for success, I mean, you give him an offensive lineman that looks like he's going to be one of the best in the draft. It's so hard not to pull the trigger there.
Yeah, it's really so hard not to pull the trigger there. It's the de facto right pick. And I do believe that they're going to go ahead and they're going to take another wide receiver. Like I said, because Keenan Allen's not going to be there forever. I do believe that the teams that win in this league are built from the inside out. So I do agree that solidifying your line again at pick number 9 wouldn't be the worst thing. But who knows? This is the thing with the Bears. They may trade out of that pick. I'm going to bring on a good friend of mine, Corey, who works at my job. Corey D. He's a humongous Bears fan, and all we do is talk about how he's been waiting his entire life to get on this train and have a good team again. The 85 Bears was so long ago. It was generations ago. And what have they really had? It was 7-10 last year. Played particularly well down the stretch, but the quarterback has been an issue. And Justin Fields just didn't seem to be the guy. I wanted Justin Fields to stay, but it just didn't happen. So he should be coming in here any minute. We'll get his thoughts.
I guess we have to look at the win total projections now. I mean, it's a very competitive division. A lot depends on what the Vikings are going to do, of course, too. So that is yet to be seen. They're without a quarterback at the current moment, but right now, I guess. Oh gosh, I don't know. Well, you know what? Looks like we have a diehard fan on right now. So let's take a look here and see what the projections are like.
Welcome to the world of matchups, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in Corey D, my A1 from day one Bears fan. How you feeling right now? Go.
Hey, it's a good day. You guys have talked about Caleb and Justin Fields, and you guys have beat that horse to death. But the only thing I have to say about all that is, Caleb's a little bit different personality-wise, but I don't think different's a bad thing. What hasn't been different is the score every time we play the Packers the last 20 or so years. So, maybe different's a good thing. Like you said, we saw San Francisco with a superstar team and Brock Purdy try to beat the Chiefs, and it doesn't work. You're not going to make a living doing that with a quarterback in the 10 to 15 range. If you have a chance to take a swing like this, I mean, I think you have to take it. So it's an exciting time for the Bears. It's an exciting time for Chicago. I'm excited, man. Like, let's go. I've been waiting a long time.
I'm excited for you, bro. I remember what it was like when the Kansas City Chiefs started to get good and there was some sunshine, coming our way. And I know what that's like. It's almost like winning a Super Bowl, just being able to get that franchise quarterback that everyone is saying could actually be good. A little different here than when Patrick Mahomes got drafted. There were C grades given to Mahomes. A lot of people were saying his footwork was awful. You know what I mean? He's a reclamation project. There's a lot of pressure on Caleb Williams. Based on what you know now and also having the 9th pick, what would make you happy as far as your record this year?
Record this year, I know you guys talked about it a show or so ago. I think double-digit wins is possible. I don't think they'll be any worse than last year. You look at a team that won 7 games. They dropped 3 that they should have easily won, arguably a 4th. And we've upgraded since last year. We have a hole on defensive line, which I think they'll address, either with a trade back or with the 9th pick. We can get into that if you want, when you want. But, your receivers are better. You at least have equal running back, if not, another pass catching weapon out of the backfield. You have an offensive line that has at least, a little bit more depth. We finally don't have Lucas Patrick at center. And then, a defense that finished the last half of the year as a top 7 unit. So, the arrow's pointing up. I think I could see him taking Rome at 9 if he's there. If he's not there, I think they trade back. Hopefully they get a 2nd round pick and get a receiver there. And address the defensive line in the 1st. But it's just overall exciting. Justin Fields had a lot of highlight plays, but he was a highlight runner. I think Caleb Williams is a highlight passer. And I think that makes all the difference in the world. So, it's a great day to be a Chicago fan. So,
Oh, you got to be feeling like $1 million. The pick is
Yeah.
in for the Washington Commanders. Roger Goodell will be announcing it here in just a minute. Your thoughts on this, Spencer, as far as what you see moving forward for the Bears with the ninth pick and what you think they'll do this year?
Yeah, I'm curious to see. It is kind of exciting, especially for them. It very rarely, like, not a lot of teams get the opportunity to draft generational quarterbacks, on the first pick. Not every draft has a Trevor Lawrence, a Caleb Williams. Sometimes, you
Mm,
just have like a defensive end or something that goes first overall. There's no one worth taking. So the stars kind of have to align, and there's no way to really set yourself up for it. Your team just kind of falls into that place. But
yeah.
the Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer, so I'm sure for Bears fans, the idea of having a prolific passer is very exciting.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
exciting and it's nerve-wracking at the same time,
Yeah.
this kid has all the pressure in the world on him, but the bar is so low,
Yep.
as far as quarterbacks in Chicago. So it's hard to see him not reaching that.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to watch this kid's career with a level of enthusiasm when you have comparisons to a guy like Patrick Mahomes kind of attached to him. The Washington Commanders select quarterback Jaden Daniels out of LSU. So I thought May was going to go there. Daniels goes there. It's going to be interesting to see how he fits in that very, I would like to say they're a lackluster team with good players. They got poor ownership and poor coaching. Will he be able to save them? Daniel says he wants to be the type of guy that breaks Vic's and Cam Newton's rushing records. It remains to be seen. I'm not as high on him. I think when you think about Jaden Daniels, guys like Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors made him look a lot better than he really is. Your thoughts, Corey?
Yeah, I think Jaden Daniels. My concern with him is, you're looking at a 5-year starter, I believe, that really came on in his 5th year. And if it were me, and again, as a Bears fan, I'm so glad that we don't have to worry about this for the first time in my entire life. Um, but it's easy to look good when you're throwing to 2 top 15 picks. And the thing about Daniels that scares me, yes, he's fast, yes, he's athletic, but he's so slim. Someone he's going to go over the middle, and if you watch his highlights, he runs up and down. That's just asking to get hurt, unless you're Earl Campbell, you really can't do that. So um, I'm just glad that I don't have to worry about that for me. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's going to be really interesting to see how that works out. He does have weapons, and he
yep.
does have a little safety valve in Austin Eckler, who can just be peppered with little targets out of the backfield. The kid can run all over the field. He's a good player. I mean, you're not a Heisman Trophy winner because you're a scrub.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. On deck, I believe, is the New England Patriots at 3. You are up again at 9. We're gonna let you go right now.
All right,
Keep
man.
your phone close, man, because we may have to pull you back on here to discuss what happens at 9, because there's a plethora of different things that can happen here. And if one of the things that happens, which I think will happen, which is them taking Roma Dunze, we're going to have to get your thoughts on him again, man. So stay close, enjoy the draft, and we'll talk to you soon, bro. Thanks for
Thanks.
coming on World
Thanks.
of Matches. We'll see you in a little bit, hopefully. Spencer the
Jaden
Wiz, bro.
Daniels, man. I mean,
I
it kind
thought
of
it
was
was going to be
known, right?
May,
It was
bro.
it was kind of known at like in the last like couple weeks that this was the pick. I'm shocked, to be honest with you. To be honest, I think Drake May is a better prospect than Jaden Daniels. We've talked about how much of a super athlete Jaden Daniels is for a long time, and I like him, man. And obviously, Raider Nation's like obsessed with him. I'm kind of glad that he's gone. I mean, a weird way, okay,
Yeah.
because this isn't really the guy who I wanted to lead my franchise. I have nothing personal against him, obviously. It's just the one thing that bothers me about him is obviously a very talented runner, and that's valuable in the NFL. Like, you almost need to be able to do that. I'm not saying he has bad arm talent, but it's not elite. He's
It's
not
not.
throwing nuclear missiles down the field. And I just feel like you have to be able to do that to be a top flight quarterback. And it's going to limit his career trajectory, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, we've talked about this to death. This is a pocket passing league. You have to be able to take 5-step drops, 2-step drops, 7-step drops, and you have to be able to deliver the ball downfield on the run. I mean, broken plays. I mean, we know his ad lib is there. The guy can run all over the field, but you have to be able to throw the ball, man. And again, I said it earlier, and I'm going to stand 10 toes down on this. I really believe that Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. made him look better than he really is. I mean, you can just close your eyes and throw it as hard as you can with guys like that. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying the talent's not there, okay? But I'd be a little bit concerned if I was Washington. But they like him. That's the pick. New England is on the clock.
Yeah, see, thinking about Washington's trajectory, I mean, they really don't have like the worst team in the world, but I don't know. I just don't. It's not a team that I feel like was like a quarterback away. I feel like the team has a lot more problems than just out of the quarterback
Defense is
position.
horrendous, Spencer. Their defense is horrendous.
I feel like there's a world where they keep Sam Howell and
No,
they
he's gone.
trade
They
away
got rid of
they
him.
trade away
They
this
stay-
pick for an infinite amount of picks for the second
Yeah.
overall pick, and you just build because there's a lot of defensive guys in this draft.
And the thing is that
Next
they're not
pick is
winning
in.
anything anytime soon.
Drake May has gone to the New England Patriots.
New England
Again,
Patriots.
not a surprise there necessarily,
No shock.
but
I mean,
I feel bad for Drake May is what I'm going to say right now. I
yeah,
mean,
me too.
that's not a good situation to go in if you're a rookie. So
At all.
Straight up.
At all, for a lot of different reasons. I mean, they are gutted. The only thing holding on to the New England Patriots that the average casual NFL fan even knows anything about left is Robert Kraft. Everything else is gone. I mean, it's gone. It's going to be Drake May, Ramondre Stevenson, and Juju Smith-Schuster, and a bunch of tight ends that are all washed. They really are not cooking with anything. If I'm the New England Patriots, I would have heavily considered trading out on this pick, because what are you really building with? I mean, Drake May, yes. I mean, okay, he's going to be your white bread, Friday Night Lights, new face of the franchise, but they're not going to win much. I give the Patriots 4 games this year, and that is being generous. Their defense is good. They got a lot of guys who were banged up last year. Christian Gonzalez will be back. He'll be really good for them. But their offense is just going to be absolutely deplorable. My goodness. They are so bad, Spencer. But they're hoping that they can build around the kid, 6'4", 223. Big arm. You guys, Spencer is a bigger fan of Drake May than I am. He really loves him. I'll let him pontificate on why.
Yeah, I mean, this guy has, well, he's not large like Josh Allen is, but he has like I'm telling you right now, he is top 5 in the NFL. Like now that he's an NFL player, he's top 5 in the NFL in terms of arm strength. That's how powerful this guy's arm is. The other thing I really like about him, it's a little bit of an intangible. He's got a little bit of pizzazz. He's got that creativity.
He's got
That
some
is
moxie.
such an important skill. And that's the one thing I think that separates him more than anything from Jaden Daniels. He'll pull a rabbit out of a hat. And sometimes when you need a quarterback to do it the most, you need them to pull a rabbit out of the hat. And he has that trait that is not teachable. And that alone is why I really like the guy. Now, had some accuracy problems down the field, but dude, if I'm the coach, I'm making him throw 15,000, those passes. Like accuracy is one of my least biggest concerns. Now, if it's really bad, of course, that's something you got to be concerned about. If they can't throw it into the ocean, it's not that bad for Drake May, in my opinion, just from what I've seen. He's the number 2 quarterback in this year's draft. I see a world definitely where the Washington Commanders are just kicking themselves for overthinking that pick. I think they got baited into taking Jaden Daniels 2nd overall. I mean, there was no noise for that until the last month.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of last year where everyone was telling me how Bryce Young was going to be the second coming of Johnny Unitas. And I told all of you, you guys are taking this guy because that's what you're hearing everybody say to do. And I don't really think you guys are doing your homework and doing your recon. Smaller quarterbacks, they don't last in this league. I told everybody the bigger, stronger, more powerful, more athletic, maybe not smarter, as far as football acumen goes, type of quarterback was CJ Stroud. And look at the Panthers now. Spencer and I were laughing about the Panthers before we started the draft. Do they even have a pick? You know what I mean? They've got nothing. And here we are looking at Houston. They literally are going to be a serious threat in the AFC to the Kansas City Chiefs. Look, folks, don't believe the hype. I know Jaden Daniels was the Heisman, but college is not the NFL. And Drake May, bigger arm, bigger, stronger, can throw against his body, can run. He can do everything you need him to do. You're just putting him in a lousy situation, but it is what it is. The picks are going to be what they're going to be. I think out of the 6 major quarterbacks that are going to go today and tomorrow, I think 3 of them are locks to be good. And I like Drake May to be in the running of the charge of the top 3 to be a really solid quarterback. I mean, you got to understand that the Patriots are going to be so bad for so long here, at least the next 2-3 years, that they're going to be getting good players. And whatever other picks they have here, if I was them, I'd be trading out of those picks and stockpiling here because you need wide receiver help. You need tight end help. You need O-line help. You need help. You're putting a rookie quarterback in there. You need to protect him like you're protecting President Biden. These guys haven't seen pass rushes like what they're about to see. I'm telling you, stop with the NFL is almost a little bit better than college. They're stratospheres, light years ahead of anything this guy's ever seen in college. But I do like the pick there. It is the right place to go. Bringing on a couple of my people today. Another good friend of the show, Dan the Man O'Brien, should be calling in from Long Island any minute. And we'll get his thoughts on the first couple picks here shortly.
The Cardinals are on the clock, and I would be shocked if they're trading out. I'm telling you, this was the craziest part of any mock
MSJ.
draft that I have seen. Dude, there is no shot in any world that they were going to take anyone but Marvin Harrison Jr. here. I don't know where this idea came from, but every time I saw it, the Cardinals trade back. They trade. This guy is the clear. I mean, you like Malik Neighbors more than I do. I like Malik Neighbors. Don't get me wrong. This guy to me is the beyond clear cut number 1 wide receiver in this year's draft. He is. Anything can happen to any player. Not everyone's guaranteed to be good in the NFL, but dude. This guy, man, can do everything you could possibly want from an NFL wide receiver. Yeah, everything.
I love this kid, and I love this pick, and I think it was absolute blasphemy anybody even suggesting that the Arizona Cardinals trade out of this pick. You should be like, your license should be revoked to ever make any kind of prediction. This guy is the best blue chip player coming into the National Football League since Randy Moss. He gives you everything you can want. The burst off the line, big, strong hands, fluffy hands. I mean, you look at his tape, DBs are 20 yards off the ball when he's catching it, waltzing into the end zone, 32 total touchdowns at OSU. I mean, he is it. He's got his daddy's blood running through his veins, and people don't understand. One of the best big 3s in NFL history was Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, and Edgerrin James. This guy is now coming to a place where they are definitely starving for a wide receiver 1, and they have Kyler Murray, who can get the ball to a big name receiver. You've already seen it with DeAndre Hopkins. In comes Marvin Harrison Jr. They already have Trey McBride, good tight end. They have a decent running back. They can score. The Arizona Cardinals are the type of team that they need to start going from backdooring teams and almost losing to teams, starting to win some of these games. And you saw it when it was witnessed by last year, them going into Philadelphia and being 12-point underdogs and winning that game outright. So I absolutely love this pick. To me, this is as chalk a pick that could have been in the first round this year. MHJ, 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns within the first 2 years is on the table, and I'm stamping that. As long as they don't do anything stupid, this is going to be a great, great player for them, and he is going to have a great, great, great career with this team. They need to get somebody else besides Michael Wilson lined up alongside him, and they are cooking with gas.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. Besides Caleb Williams being there, I say right now that the Arizona Cardinals are the winners of this year's draft. Marvin Harrison Jr. is not your typical 4th-round pick. This is a guy who usually goes in the top 3 because it's such a quarterback-hungry draft. He's falling to them. Normally, you got to trade up for guys like this. And Arizona obviously was in a very unique position to even get here because of the quarterback position. So I can't imagine they're not, jumping for joy in the draft room. We saw what happened when DeAndre Hopkins, an aging DeAndre Hopkins, mind you, on the Arizona Cardinals with Kyler Murray. They were the best wide receiver quarterback duo in the league for a while there. And now you're getting a fresh start with Marvin Harrison Jr. I actually, the Cardinals are a little bit of an underrated team. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl next year, but they're building a little bit of a team. They shed some of the old garbage they had on the team, and they're starting to replace them with some really good guys. And I think, and I still believe that Kyler Murray can be a very productive NFL quarterback. I really do.
Absolutely. Let's bring on Dan the Man. I think he's backstage and have him talk about what's happening here with Marvin Harrison Jr. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in.
What's up, fam?
Danny O'Brien, Long Island, New York. Come on, baby. Friend of the show, sponsor of the show. We appreciate you coming on, hollering at us. Dude, it's been chalk so far, man. Your takeaways.
Pretty much chalk, but I love the pick for the Cardinals here. I mean, look at the NFC West. They could be trending up very quickly here. I love that spot for Harrison. Kyler can throw the ball, so that's a really great place for him to land. I love that pick.
Yeah, I love it too, man. MHJ, stop playing with me. The thought of anyone trading this pick out is absolutely ridiculous. You'd have to give up 2 number 1s and a couple 2s to even romance the thought. Big, strong. His press is ridiculous. The guy's a stud. Stop it.
Stud. That and his dad is one of the most slept on receivers ever. If we want
of
to
all
be real.
time. Yep.
If we want to be real, his dad was slept on big time.
Yep. I love this pick, man. What do you think about the first couple quarterbacks?
Well, Caleb, we've been talking about that. That's a no-brainer pick. The Bears have to make that pick no matter what. I like Jaden Daniels to Washington only because he has a couple weapons there. Our guy Dotson, could help him out. They got Eckler there, like you said, for the little screen passes. So that's good for him. Drake May is gonna just die in New England. There's nothing there. I mean, if I'm New England in that spot, I'm trading the pick to get better players.
I thought about that too, man. I'm just like, at that point, you know what I mean? Like, you're not really cooking with much. You have an injured Ramondre Stevenson, an overpaid Juju Smith-Schuster, and just a bunch of ancillary pieces. Now, your defense is good. Christian Gonzalez is of the world, but like, Bill is gone.
Bill's
you
gone.
know what I mean? Bill is gone. Start fresh and to get as many pieces as possible. I probably would have traded the pick, and I do think Drake May is going to have a really tough time in New England.
It's going to be rough for him. I looked at the roster. KJ Bourne, Juju Smith-Schuster, Demario Douglas, Taquan Thornton, KJ Osborne.
Who are these guys?
There's not even a number 3 receiver in there. Forget a 1 or a 2.
I know.
And like you said before, look what happened to Bryce Young. You got to give these guys weapons to give them a chance. You have to.
I want my flowers on that, man. I still don't feel like I got my flowers on that. I told everybody. I was all over that, man. I'm like, you guys are crazy if you think Bryce Young is going to be better than CJ Stroud, man. Up at number 5, we have the Los Angeles Chargers. This is where I think things can get kind of crazy because I think that they may trade out of this pick.
I think so too.
If they trade out of it, I think they're going to trade out of it. On my latest mock draft, I had Minnesota trading up and selecting J.J. McCarthy here at 5. But if they stay, I could see them taking Neighbors or just being even like more out there and swiping Joe Alt to just solidify that line. I mean, the AFC West is a dogfight every week. I mean, everyone is sending their best players at your quarterback. It doesn't matter if it's the Chiefs versus the Broncos versus the Raiders versus the Chargers. You got to protect Justin Herbert. And I think that Tennessee is sweating right now. They're sweating right now. Because Alt could go here.
Need a lineman here.
Sweating.
They have to get one. If they're going to stay here, you have to protect Herbert.
In the worst way. Well, Rashawn Slater is very good. You know what I mean? And he's their LT. I mean, do they really need him? They could move him, switch him. Would they be willing to do something like that to just have the complete stake in the middle of the field? I could see it, man. But they really don't have any impact players now that they've gotten rid of Keenan Allen. Mike Williams is gone.
There's also talk Terry Latham may be here. But if I'm them, if you want Latham, why not trade back to get him?
Yeah, that's true, man. J.C. Latham could be a I could see a potential player going here too. But if I'm the Chargers, I'm taking Neighbors. I know Spencer's not really super high on them. Spencer, if they don't trade out here, who are you taking if you're the Chargers?
Yeah, I saw a report here that they are keeping their pick. So
They're keeping
I
that
could see a Roma Dunze here type of
over
guy.
Neighbors.
But I agree. Oh, I could easily see that happening. I'm telling you, there is some
If they take
crazy
Neighbors, the
hype.
Giants are just going to run up and just throw in McCarthy's name then.
Oh God, dude. We'll get to those bums in a second. Jeez Louise.
I am a little
I
bit
c-
surprised that the Chargers aren't cheating out of this spot, considering how much they've given up over the offseason. Because it
Yeah,
seems
me
like,
too.
you know, you got a new regime coming in. It's just one of those things where I'm not getting fired next year no matter what. So I'm just going to, I'm going to throw this out the back door. Let's trade back. Let's stock up. Let's get another guy, an offensive lineman, whatever we trade down from. But, there's obviously nothing wrong with them doing this. I mean, you get a good offensive line. There's nothing more valuable than an offensive lineman, it feels like, in the NFL, other than like the quarterback position, because they stick around for a long time,
Right. Totally agree.
All right.
You draft a
pick is
guy
in.
and he'll be on your team for 10 years, barring injury. It's not like a running back that's going to get hurt and be done in 3
No.
years.
True.
Linemen are valuable, man. You know what I mean?
Joe
Like,
Alt. Joe Alt is a Los Angeles Charger. Is official.
Whoa, what did I say, dude? What I
That's
say?
crazy. Wow, Joe Alt out of Notre Dame, guys. 6'9", 340,000 pounds. Dad, an NFL veteran. This is a great pick. I'm sorry
Harbaugh
now.
likes to build that line, bro.
And I've been
Harbaugh likes
saying
to
this.
build that line.
I've been saying this. Harbaugh's a run the ball type of guy. I mean, look at
1000%.
just look at Michigan. That's all you need to know. I mean, this is a great pick. I thought for sure Alt would go to Tennessee. Tennessee's scrambling now, guys. That Tennessee war room. I'd like to be a fly on the wall in that war room.
If you're at Tennessee now, you get on the phone with the Broncos and see if
You
they
have
can
to
move
be.
up.
Yeah. The shakeup is on now because the chalk has just been broken in half. I like Alt here. Fashanu I like a little bit more, but Alt is as good as advertised. I mean, this is a guy 6'9". He can push two guys on the left-hand side. Herbert is now going to have the type of Secret Service protection that a quarterback needs. And, look, the Chargers know they're not winning anything this year. But Harbaugh is going to put them in position to make some noise next year. Believe me. And they're not done here. Done here. Okay? They're going to have a very good draft. And Joe Alt he's the class of the offensive lineman in the NFL now. He's going to come in and he is going to be expected to make sure that jersey of Justin Herbert is never dirty. I would really, really, really like this pick. I was kind of hoping that they would go and get the receiver because guys like Quentin Johnson can't catch. They're horrendous, but this is a solid pick. Let's go. I love this pick for the LA Chargers.
Yeah, it's a great spot. It's a good pick for them.
Yeah, I think, boy, this shakes things up now.
Because
this really shakes us.
How much Herbert was getting hurt, how he's getting hit, all the time last year. Like someone was in his face every 2 seconds. Now you give him time, maybe Quentin Johnson can catch a couple balls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's a superstar, but
no. But Quentin Johnson got drafted last year because he's a good player. I mean, at one point, I'm not even going to front. I wanted Kansas City to go after this guy because he was supposedly be one of the top 3 wide receivers in the league. The guy's got talent. First year in the league, first year jitters. I mean, it wasn't an ideal situation. Herbert goes down. Eckler is mid. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, you and Joshua Palmer are constantly rotating in, rotating out. You're always hurt. Keenan Allen's always hurt. Everyone's always hurt. They're always hurt. The whole team is just always hurt.
Seconds.
Oh, dude, Mike Williams, stop. My geriatric father is like in better shape than Mike Williams, and he's almost 75 years old. That's neither here nor there. This is a good pick for them.
Yeah,
I know Spencer likes this pick too because we are firm believers here at World of Matchups that you build a team from the inside out. I will never back off this. This is a great pick for LA, and now this puts the Giants in a very precarious situation at 6.
My potential best bet is online for Malik Neighbors being the 6th overall pick. So this is the first chance that I'll have
They have to take a receiver here. I mean, the last 1,000-yard receiver was Odell Beckham in like 2018.
Neighbors.
come on.
First of all, Malik Neighbors falling to 6 is criminal. I'm just gonna
True.
say that.
I think it's probably about right. I know you're a lot higher than on him.
I
than
love
am.
bro. Dude. I got such a man crush on Malik Neighbors. It's not even funny. My thing is that the Giants have a decision to make here because it's like Danny Dimes was not horrible last year. Danny Dimes was injured, and when you give somebody $40 million a year for a 4-year deal, do you bail on year number 3? I mean, you have to at least give this guy a shot, and I think giving him, Malik Neighbors gives him a shot.
Give him a chance.
Dude, you got Jalen Hyatt, you got Malik Neighbors now. Maybe Darren Waller gets his head straight and decides to stay. I'm not a big believer of getting rid of Saquon Barkley. I would have paid Saquon. Saquon was a good soldier for the Giants and deserved better than what you did to him. So I'm not big on that. But maybe they roll back around and find a running back. I mean, Spencer and I talk about this all the time. You can find a great running back in round 7. So maybe the Giants take Neighbors here, best player available, and don't shake things up more than they've already been shaken up. Stick with their
Malik
quarterback.
Neighbors is a New York Giants.
It's the right pick.
Yeah, my first best bet is through. There we go. 1 for 1.
Somebody hit that $ for Spencer. He's buying a first round.
All right.
This is a good pick, man. LSU all day, every day. Stand up. I mean, look, Giant fans, Big Blue fans, you guys have to be happy with this. You have to be happy with this. I mean, in some circles, some people were saying that there's 1 and 1A when it comes to MHJ and Malik Neighbors. And I'm a big believer in this kid. He is going to fly in the Meadowlands. Fly. And that type of division where there's some weaker cornerbacks in that division, get this kid the ball in space. Stop playing games with me, Big Blue. Look at this kid's highlights. The separation is insane, Danny. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Giants needed a weapon here. And especially with getting rid of Barkley, you need someone that Danny Jones can throw to. I mean, the Sterling Shepherds and all these other guys, like whatever. This is a real receiver. Now let's see if you could drop the dimes in here. Let's see what you could do with a real receiver in this spot. Yeah. This is a great pick for the Giants. I'm happy they didn't take McCarthy.
This is a great pick for them. This is a great pick for them. I mean, you have too many ancillary guys that aren't really doing a whole bunch in New York. The Hodges, you know what I mean? The Hyatts really didn't get his shot. Waller is on again, off again. You got to go get a guy, man. And this is it. You know what I mean?
And you didn't have to get anything to get him.
Not only that, he fell to you. You got him at your spot. I mean, they haven't done anything since ODB. I mean, I think this kid's going to look good in blue, man. I mean, and here's the thing. I think will fit fine with the New York press, which is not easy to deal with. You know what I mean? The New York press is not like the Carolina press. It's not. True. It's not like the Dallas press. New York press, they are coming for you. You know what I mean? And I think this kid will be able to handle it. He's got good coaches. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I think the de facto correct pick here is Malik Neighbors. What do you want the kid to do? He does it all well. I like him a little bit more than Spencer, but I think we're all in agreement that this is the right pick. Now, moving into pick number 7, because we were all so sure. We were all so sure that Joe Alt was going 7. I mean, Spencer and I were about to tattoo this on our forehead. People were getting Joe Alt jerseys in Tennessee. You know what I mean? I mean, literally, like, we were like, if there's a best bet this year outside of MHJ, it's Alt to Tennessee. And he's gone. I wonder what their big board looks like in Tennessee, because what do they need? They've got okay running back, and you're not taking a running back before round 3 here. You're just not.
No, not this.
They've got Calvin Ridley. They got Treylon Burks. They've got, Chiggy Okonkwo. I mean, they got a ton of pass catchers already. They have a franchise quarterback. What lineman do they take here? Do they take Olu Fashanu here, Spencer? This is where you take
Here's
Olu.
my second best bet's coming in right here.
This is where
Fashanu under 13 and a
this
half.
This is where you take J.C. Latham, Olu Fashanu. I like Olu. I like Olu as much as I like Alt. I'm just one of those people that's not chalk with everything like that. I've been watching Fazanu. He's falling out down a lot of draft boards. I don't understand why. This guy's the Penn State Punisher, and they need somebody to pair with Peter Skoronski. This is just a fact. You have to protect your franchise quarterback. And Will Levis didn't just show you flashes. I mean, his first game in the NFL, he had 4 touchdowns. When I look at Will Levis, I see Big Ben. I see bits and pieces of Big Ben. If I was him, I would lock myself in the house. No women during the season. I would just study Big Ben. I would dude, I'm serious. Just study Big Ben because he has a cannon. He's got a cannon. And if DeAndre Hopkins can hold up for another year, maybe 2, Tennessee is cooking with gas here. They get L'Jarius Sneed, which is a great pick if his knees hold up for what they gave up. I mean, who are you picking here, Danny?
I think Latham.
Latham?
I think that's how they're gonna go.
I think it's a little early for J.C. Latham. What do you think? Brock Bowers?
I just think they're rattled though. But everyone,
I see Brock Bowers here.
Brock Bowers to Tennessee. Big Daddy chimes in on the chat. Robert Franklin, shout out. Long Island, stand up. Brock Bowers early. Corey says J.C. Latham. I think Olu Fashanu is the de facto correct pick here. I like Olu more than a lot of people.
They do that, man. I'm a Tennessee fan.
I like what Tennessee is doing. The only thing that I don't like about what the Tennessee Titans have done is them getting rid of Mike Vrabel. And I am, in my heart and soul, believe me when I tell you this, fellas, I think it's because he did something dirty. He slept with someone's wife. He said something he shouldn't said. No, for real, dude. For real, dude.
You might be.
He actually didn't get a look anywhere else, and he was probably one of the.
You
best
know what I'm saying? Mike Vrabel
there.
Doesn't get a look. Mike Vrabel took Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill to the AFC Championship game in Kansas City. That guy doesn't get a look with nothing, with nobody, with no dude. He had half a steak, a rotten potato, and some moldy vegetables, and could have went to the Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of smell a rat there. I feel like something is wrong there, but I really want to see them take a lineman here. And if they get a decent lineman here, I think that they're in the hunt, man. Tennessee's better than people think.
Yeah.
And I like what they did last season. Tajay Sharp, and they got Tony Pollard in there now. I think they have a very healthy running back room. They're going in the right direction here.
Tajay Sharp is one of the most slept-on running backs in the entire NFL, and you're going to see it this year. Watch. Remember this conversation.
This could be a Rome Odunze little pivot for the Titans. I actually could see that in the cards right now because I bet you they really wanted Joe Alt. Yeah, but
they
wanted Alt. I think they did. I guess it depends on how high they are in Olu Fashanu. Like if they have him that high. Because it looks like the pick is in, like it's not, it hasn't been announced yet, but it looks like they have drafted their guy. So obviously they had some level of contingency here for this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be always a plan B. You're not just going to say Alt is definitely coming to us because this is the NFL, which stands for not for long, So it's like you think something is happening, and sure enough, something different happens. But I can't see them not taking offensive tackle here. I just can't, man.
You go to the bookends. This is the most exciting.
Troy Fontenot might be a good pick here too, man. The Washington product. Yeah. I mean, Michael Penix had a nice year because he was upright all season long. I mean, did he even get sacked? I mean, Michael Penix been sacked 30 times in his whole career. We
talked about this before the show about how all of these offensive linemen have very high first grade, round graded picks. Like they could kind of be switched around. I wouldn't shock me to see any of these guys go anywhere.
Fuaga's good too, man. OSU product. I mean, there is a ton of good offensive linemen here. Tyler Guyton. I mean, dude, there's guys. It's just a matter of how you want to rank them. Like I said, outside of Alt, I like Olu. I can't wait to see who they pick here, man. I really can't. This is going to be a great pick for Tennessee because they're on the come up. People forget.
That's right. They got Calvin Ridley. They kind of snuck that in there. That happened under the radar. They probably will not go wide receiver, but it'd be pretty.
They got Ridley. They got D-Hop. They got Treylon Burks. They got Chiggy Okonkwo. They got guys. These guys are. They got weapons, dude. You know what I mean?
JC Latham is a
Latham.
Tennessee Titan.
Look at Danny, winner,
Bring me
winner.
on. This is what I do. Go on.
Just
Five,
I gotta
boom.
keep you on. JC Latham. Wow. Way to
What
go,
did we do?
Danny. Nice call, bro. Wow. That I did not see coming. I did not see that coming.
You got to protect Levis. You got to get who they thought Alt was their guy. You got to go next guy down the board. And apparently this was their next guy down the board.
They think
get him in
Latham
this
is
spot.
better than Fashanu. I can't see that, man. But I do like the pick. I mean, they're smart. You know what I mean? They're definitely smart. Latham's a good player. 6'5 3/4, 342 pounds. Here comes the beef.
That's the beast
Skoronsky,
right there, bro.
Skoronsky at guard, Latham at tackle. Lord have mercy. All of a sudden, here comes Tony Pollard squirting through those holes. This is a good pick. And I tell you what, man, Will Levis, he's safer today than he was an hour ago. He was. Shout out to Corey D. There's your Jason, your JC Latham pick. Flowers all over the place. Him and Danny call that too, man. That's a nice pick. That's a nice read. And look, let's not act like Bama doesn't grow pros.
Yeah, that's what you got to look at too. They grow pros.
Some of these guys just are like, oh yeah, he went to Bama. Okay. Put the pick in. He went to Bama. I mean, he started, he started all 14 games at right tackle. So he's going to go straight to the right. Skoronsky at guard. They're in good shape. They got Jeffrey Simmons.
shape.
They got, dude, the Tennessee Titans are better than people think. I like their offseason. They are quietly having a fantastic offseason. I love what they're doing.
That division is on the come up.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, that division is highly on the come up. They're doing what must be done.
Yeah.
Now, are they going to take down the bigger, Cincinnati Bengals, the Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, even without Stephon Diggs? Who knows, man? But if Will Levis can take that next step, let's not forget, what did Patrick Mahomes do in his second year? And he didn't play.
Yeah,
He didn't even play.
right.
This next year, he went bananas.
He went nuts.
He had 50 touchdowns. Bears should trade back with whoever wants McCarthy. Corey, we're going to have you back on here shortly. I got to give Dan the man his shine. That boy deserves his airtime. Nailed the JC Latham pick. Sponsor extraordinaire. Been with me since A1 from day 1-1.
Got
Mike's
the all
place.
pick too.
Mike's place in quorum. Stand up.
You know it.
Next pick. The Falcons. What are we going to do here, Spencer, with the Falcons? I think Dallas Turner is going to be the edge from Bama is going to be going here. See, the Falcons are a tricky team because they went all in with Cousins and they signed everybody, every offensive player they could sign, to go ahead and help their running back, to have a little bit of balance. Do you think Penix to Atlanta? Nah, Kirk Cousins is their big daddy. Who do you think is going there, Spence?
Thanks to Atlanta.
I have my mic muted there. This is where I could see my Jared Verse pick coming true. Everyone seems to think they're going defense. They are a little bit of a wild card, though, because I feel like they can kind of pick anybody. I do tend to think they're going to go defensively. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Quinion pick here. Yeah, I could see he's the best corner in the draft. I think he's the best defensive player in the draft, quite frankly. And I know it's maybe a little bit more tempting to go for those bigger guys who can get you sacks, but they actually could have a really good cornerback room going for a while there. If they do take this, if they can get
Terrell.
that would, AJ Terrell and him on the other side. You got yourself a great little secondary. Now,
problem is who's rushing the passer. They never rush the passer in Atlanta. You know what I mean? They just don't. We talked about this on our last show. Who's the guy getting you sacks in Atlanta? They got everything else but that.
That's what they need.
And they've been searching for a long time for that, too.
Long time. I think it's Dallas Turner here. I do. Edge from Bama. Dallas Turner's had really, really good season. I mean, again, Bama grows pros. I mean, half their team is going to the NFL right now. I mean, he's been on the field for a lot of pass snaps, run, protect. I mean, he gets after the quarterback. He knows how to use his hands. I like that. I like this guy. I like it to be the pick here. I really do. I could also see them doing something stupid and, while taking another wide receiver when they don't really need one.
You
You
can't
know?
take a wide receiver here if you're Atlanta. You can't do it.
Who's wide receivers? Who's Atlanta's wide receiver room right now?
How serious
So
do you
they
even
got
take the
they got
Falcons?
Drake
I mean,
London, Kyle Pitts. Who else did they just get?
They just
They
got
just
somebody else, right?
Yeah, they pulled in a really good player from
let's see here.
from
Darnell
Washington.
Mooney,
They got they got Mooney. I mean,
Rondale
they're
Moore.
set. They're set. Rondell
They
Moore's
can't take a
decent. They
receiver.
can't take a receiver here.
It's
Could
got to
they
be
take?
defense. Has to be.
Could they? I think it needs to be defense. I mean,
Has
could they
to be.
take a lineman? Kirk Cousins, man, you saw the quarterback show. That guy took shots. Kirk Cousins took.
If you want to go O line, you could.
I could
you
be
could do
okay
that
with
too.
O line here. I could be okay with O line here, but boy, they need some defensive help. They gotta get, dude, in order to
I
win
can't
a
believe this
Super
pick,
Bowl.
bro. I can't believe
Michael
this pick.
Penix Jr.
What?
Whoa!
Daddy!
What? Stop it!
Give Big Daddy his flowers. He nailed
Big
it.
Daddy, stand up! What? Michael Penix Jr. went to the Atlanta Falcons? Why?
I think this is a good time to say Bill Belichick made a good decision.
Why? Why? What? Dude, that hurts the Raiders so bad. I don't understand this pick. So let's try to unpack this
Spencer's gonna
pick.
turn his camera off.
First things first, okay, Big Daddy, if you are listening and you can come on for a little bit, let me know and I'll send you a link because that deserves a bouquet of flowers. Number one. That's number two. I can't understand for the life of me why, if you're Atlanta, you are taking Penix here.
If you were gonna take Penix, he was always gonna be here. Why did
You
you
don't
make
need a
that move
quarterback.
for Kirk
You
Cousins?
just signed Kirk Cousins to a how many year deal? 3-year deal? Now, I know Kirk Cousins is 35, and there's a good chance with the way you have protected quarterbacks that he probably won't see the whole year. Kirk Cousins always gets hurt. Ribs, AC. I mean, that to me, drafting Kirk Cousins, this is the thing. If you're going to draft Michael Penix, why did you sign Kirk Cousins?
That's my point. Yeah, why? Penix was always gonna be here. No one was
What a
taking
waste of
Penix
money.
before here.
What a waste of money. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Penix a lot. Okay? I got a man
been on
crush on
him?
Michael. Dude, I've been on Michael Penix for a while now. I saw him play at the, Pac-12 championship game where he carved up my Ducks. I was in the stadium. The kid's measurables are great. All you people who are complaining about him always being hurt, you need to fall back with that nonsense and get off the train, that hype train that the kid can't stay healthy. He's been healthy for 2 years. EKGs, MRIs, the guy is ready to ball. Now, is he a little older? Fine, I'll give you that. But this kid can throw a football 60 yards into a window. He can throw it on the run 50 yards into a garbage can. He is the most accurate quarterback in this year's NFL draft. I have such a hard on for him, and I know right now Spencer is off screen, you guys. Spencer's in the bathroom. Spencer's in the bathroom crying right now.
I'm
Spencer's
sick.
out.
I'll tell you,
He's done.
I'm sick. I'm
Spencer's
sick to
in
my
the bathroom crying right now. Okay, because I wanted Michael Penix on the Raiders so bad,
Yeah.
so bad, because they need a franchise quarterback, and this is where now all of a sudden you might see something crazy like J.J. McCarthy go to the Vegas Raiders, and it'd just be like Derek Carr 2.0 again. Your thoughts on Penix? Let's hear it.
I like Michael Penix, obviously. Okay, that's why I wanted the Raiders to pick up. I'm not really too concerned about the injury problems with him. I just like for the Falcons, this just screams like Aaron Rodgers when they drafted, what's his name? Who's the quarterback for them now? And it has worked out for them a little bit, like to an extent. They won a playoff game, but either you're trying to win a Super Bowl or you're not. I mean, you pay this guy all this money to make a playoff push. This is your chance to build a team to like maybe get something going to make, a Super Bowl run. You don't get a lot of picks like this when you're making a Super Bowl run the next year. It happens
Yeah.
every once in a while because of a freak injury, essentially, is what it always comes down to. And they choose it on a quarterback who's not going to play for 2 years.
Makes no sense.
This is just, it's the Atlanta Falcons, man.
It's the
What
Atlanta
else can you say?
Falcons.
It's the Atlanta
Yeah.
Falcons. This is what they do. This is why they don't win Super Bowls. This is why they're doomed forever. This is the way that they run their football franchise.
Makes
I
no
got a
sense,
text
man.
says this is why the Falcons are not a good team.
Yeah, no, seriously, this is a terrible pick. Pick number, boy, I'm flustered right
We're
now.
all like, what do we do now?
I don't even know what to do. I'm
sick.
like, this is, let me tell you, if there was one place I would have expected Michael Penix Jr. to not go, it was Atlanta.
Right.
Here comes, boy, we're going to have Corey come back on. So if he's backstage, if you could bring him in for Screen Spencer, they're going to keep the pick. Okay. They're going to keep
This
the
is a big
pick.
spot for them.
The Bears are going to keep 9, and I can't wait to see what they do here. We got to have a Bears fan in here to discuss this. This is his team. I mean, we all have our thoughts on what this team has done. Me personally, the way the draft is gone, I would not have traded out of 9 here. There's too much talent to steal here, and this is where I think the Bears win the draft. Corey, the floor is yours. Who are they taking here?
Rome.
Roma Dunze.
It's got to be
Oh,
Rome.
it's official. It's Roma Dunze.
Corey, what did I tell you earlier? What did I tell? Who are the players? Who are the
Wow.
players that I want my flowers?
You said put that in a Sharpie.
I said write that down in Sharpie. Okay,
I'll get
what
it
I
for
tell
next
you.
time I see you. I got you.
Let's hear how good you're feeling and your thoughts on Roma Dunze now paired with Caleb Williams. You are winning the draft easily right now in my mind. Let's hear it.
Yes. So when you look at Roma Dunze, you had Harrison, you got Neighbors, and you got Odunze as your top 3 receivers. The thing that I like about Rome, he's a big body. The Bears already have Keenan Allen. They have DJ Moore. Those guys are a little bit smaller. I like the fact that Rome goes up. He wins those 50-50 balls. He's 6'3", 6'4", 4.4 speed. From all the reports, kid works his tail off.
Good player.
Good player, great personality. In the last couple of days, you saw those pictures of Caleb and Rome, hopping on the same flight together. Kind of joking on social media about, the two of them being a package deal. And I can't believe that the Bears got that done. I'd have been happy with either one of those guys, but to get both of them, it's a great day. What better situation for Rome? You get to learn from, a multiple-time Pro Bowler, Keenan Allen. I mean, you can't ask for better. You can't ask for better. It's finally for the first time in my 40 years of life. The Bears are investing in offense. It's shocking, but it's so cool. I can't
It's
wait.
a new day. It's a new day in Chicago, folks, and it's a sunny one. Okay. 92 receptions, 13 touchdowns, 6'2", can blow by guys. I mean, I'm looking at the screen right now, and I'm waiting for the DB to catch up to get even in the screen.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And he torched Oregon all season. I mean, he torched good competition. Roma Dunze at 9. My God, dude.
That's
Congratulations. Congratulations. I don't know if it's so much of a steal. What bothers me so much is that you didn't have to do anything to get them. They fell right to you.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They fell right to you.
How about one of the best trades for the Bears, in NFL history? You get the number 1 this year. You get Darnell Wright. You get a starting corner. You get, another 4th that you use to trade for Keenan Allen. You get Odunze with your pick, and now you got Caleb Williams. It's Poles is dangerously close to having statues, built for him. With this offseason look. So, they got to produce. Nothing's ever a sure thing, but it's a hell of a start. Hell of a start.
Great job, man. Great job by you, man. I'm happy we were able to get you back on and make sure you got your shine on those picks, man. And I think that the Chicago Bears are on their way to making the playoffs. They won 7 games last year in disarray with Eberflus. They retool, they reload, and they're coming for blood. I could see them winning double-digit games and being a sleeper team this year, no problem. Trade has happened. Vikings trade with the Jets. Jets receive the 11th overall. Vikings receive the 10th. I think this is where the Vikings get J.J. McCarthy. The pick is in. Let's hear it. We'll hold on to you for a little longer here too, Corey. I like having the 4 box. I got some football knowledge in here right now. You guys are bringing the heat today.
Yeah, let's talk, man. I've been ready for this since about week 10 of the regular season. So
guys like me and Spencer don't come very often. We live for this.
Yeah. I mean, Dexter, I talk football with you every day at work. Every day. every day.
Every day. If this pick is not JJ McCarthy,
It has
Spencer,
to be.
take my microphone.
It has to be.
Take
I'm
my
still a little
microphone.
sick over Michael Penix. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still
dude,
like, I'm still
poor
kind of like,
Spencer. Poor
Yeah,
Spencer.
sorry.
still
Sorry,
feeling it a little bit.
Sorry.
You know what I mean? It hurts.
Well, at least you won't have
Actually-
JJ now, so that helps a little.
That's the
No,
thing.
that's
But
true.
but then who do you get? Bo
Quinion
Nix?
Mitchell. You build the best
You
defense
have to-
in the league.
We're gonna get to the Raiders here in a second. We don't want to not give Minnesota their shine, but I know I can see the hamster wheel spinning in Spencer's mind right now. because it went from plan A to plan B, and now we're at plan C. Plan C is still
Yeah.
good. It's still good, but I can envision a world here where Gardner Minshew is the starting quarterback for the Las
If
Vegas
the answer
Raiders this
doesn't
year.
show up because all the quarterbacks are taken, you don't reach, man. That's my philosophy. Sometimes the chips don't fall your way. You know, if you get Olufushanu, if you get Quinion Mitchell, you get
Those
like
are
a
good
starter for the
players.
next 10 years. You stick with it. You can't.
Yeah.
It's not Madden. You know what I mean? You can't make
No.
every situation happen. You never know. Like no one could have ever predicted that Michael Penix was ever going to go.
Nobody
there.
had
That's
that.
cool. Nobody.
That's why you
There's
have.
not
That's
a
why you had draft contingencies.
Michael Penix didn't know he was going to Atlanta. Okay, Michael Penix's mama didn't know. Like that is completely off the radar of like no one would have ever thought that was happening. Like Danny, like you and I have been watching drafts for 40 years. Like we've never seen. I mean, we've seen some ill crazy shit happen, but this one makes zero sense. Like I can't wait to go straight to the Atlanta Falcons homepage and listen to the GM's press conference because I gotta know what you're thinking there. Someone has to give me some kind of reasoning around you taking Michael Penix there when you just signed Kirk Cousins. Now, maybe it could be like the Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes type of thing, but why are you sitting a guy who is older and ready to play right now after you gave Kirk Cousins $500 trillion? It just makes no sense.
Yeah. I wish I knew more Falcons fans, man. I got questions. So.
Dude, I need answers.
Falcons
need
fans
answers.
are going to wish they took the pick away.
Yeah.
Remember
My
that was
goodness.
a couple of days ago? Oh, they may lose that first round pick.
I need answers, man. I need answers. So let's look ahead real quick. We're in commercial break. We're all set here thinking JJ McCarthy is going to be the pick here. They need a franchise quarterback. The Jets give it up. They wiggle a little and they're going to gain a pick and still get who they want. If you're the Jets at 11, I'm here to tell you, I've been saying this and I'm going to stand on this 10 toes down that Brock Bowers in the green would be so ill. It would be so sick. Aaron Rodgers would love to have Brock Bowers, and their tight end room is the worst in the National Football League. Brock Bowers literally is the next George Kittle.
Yeah.
He could be the next George Kittle. I take him here. People are going to say it's too early. You're out of your mind. I like Brock Bowers at 11, and if not, get a lineman. Because
it is
Aaron
hard to
Rodgers
take a
is always
tight end
getting
in the
hurt.
first round because it's. I mean, I can't name one rookie tight end who makes a big impact. It's just such a difficult position.
Sam
to play.
Laporta, Dalton Kincaid.
Nice.
What? I
Yeah,
mean,
but Kincaid didn't have a great rookie season. He had flashes here and there,
dude,
but
Dalton Kincaid's going to catch 100
Dalton
balls this
Kincaid,
year.
the second half came on.
Dalton
Yeah.
Kincaid's going to catch 100 balls this year. Sam Laporta was as good as Travis Kelce. I mean, Sam Laporta went crazy this year.
Yeah, and
It is
if you had Bowers in that class last year, he's the number one tight end. So
Thank you.
oh, definitely. Oh, that's
Thank
for
you.
sure. But
Thank you. And don't sleep on guys like Luke Musgrave, who got hurt, who is also a very good tight end. I mean, tight end U is now a thing. Tight end U stand up. Kittle and Kelsey hosting these guys, they're all good. And so normally I would agree with you there, Spencer, because before this last year, tight ends really didn't come into the league and blow up. I mean, nothing like you've seen since like Jeremy Shockey. I mean, even like Tony Gonzalez took a while to warm up. Antonio Gates wasn't good right away, but these guys come in the league now. It's a pocket passing league where you can't touch their quarterback and holding isn't called. These guys they're gonna go ham. They're having wide receiver numbers now. So I think Brock Bowers here. To me, it makes too much sense, but this is the Jets we're talking about.
That's the issue. This is the Jets we're talking about. The
The
only
Jets we're
good thing
talking
is you have Aaron Rodgers who wants another pass catcher, and they've been basically giving Aaron Rodgers whatever he wants for the last year and a half. So
Yeah, it's the New York Aaron Rodgers.
yeah,
It's not the New York Jets. I've never seen a team cave to a player like they caved to this guy ever. Next to Jordan, it's absolutely ridiculous. Your thoughts on who's going to the Jets, Spencer? Who would you take here?
This is where I could see Olu Fashanu. I
Fashanu.
know Brock Bowers is like the popular pick here, but they really have struggled at offensive line for a long time now. It's been a lot of patchwork. Whatever big name they can find in free agency, like one of these aging guys. I remember they had taken someone off of the Raiders. I forget his name now, but it just feels like a lot of those guys and their draft picks haven't really worked out. So maybe there's a little bit of fatigue there when it comes to taking these guys high. But at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers' knee exploded because he's being pressured on that play. And that has to be in the back of their mind. He's recovering from it now. They're obviously sticking with the guy for at least another year. So
Maybe
JJ
two.
McCarthy was just officially taken by the Minnesota
I
Vikings.
mean, our crystal ball is clear as day. You don't trade up when you don't have a quarterback and then not take JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Pretty
is a
straightforward.
no-brainer. We knew that was going to happen. At some mocks that I did have that happening there at 11. I had it happening at 10 or 11, so that's about right. I mean, I wish the Vikings luck here. I mean, I know you don't, Corey. You know what I mean? But you have to look. Justin Jefferson is about to be the new Stephon Diggs. You have to give him someone who can get him the ball.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a big JJ McCarthy fan at all. I mean, he turns around and hands the ball off. That's what JJ McCarthy does. To me, JJ McCarthy is Derek Carr 2.0. So I don't love this pick, but the fact that you only had to trade up one spot to get it and you only had to give up one pick to get it, you know what I mean? It's just like you give me half of your peanut butter and jelly sandwich and I'll give you half of my turkey club. I mean, that's what it was. It's nothing crazy. It could be good for them. I don't see the hype around McCarthy. I'm not a big JJ McCarthy guy at
Me
all.
neither.
What do you don't like him either, Danny, do you?
No. He's a college quarterback. I talked to my friends saying he's a solid NFL backup.
Yeah.
You're drafting a solid NFL backup in the top 10, 11 picks.
Yeah.
He just bleeds Baker Mayfield to me. I feel like I'm watching Baker Mayfield play when I watch him play.
That's a good.
And I'm not saying there's not value to have that. The guy won, playoff games. But when I want a franchise quarterback, I want a guy who can win a conference championship, not a playoff game.
Yeah, I want a guy that can win me a Super Bowl. I mean,
and when you have a stud receiver like Jefferson, he's got to eat.
Yeah, but they didn't really have a choice almost.
They didn't have a choice.
It feels like that. You can't go into, I mean, like the Broncos and the Raiders, I feel like you can just like excuse your way into the season. You have quarterback 20 on your team and you just kind of fumble your way through. I mean, the Vikings had nobody. They had to find somebody to put at the quarterback position.
I mean, at this position, it's either you trade up for JJ McCarthy or you take Bo Nix. And I think Bo Nix is a second rounder. Big Daddy just chimed in and said, could the Broncos take Nix before Vegas? Which
I hope they do get baited into taking Bo Nix.
They're gonna. They have no quarterback. They're going to trade out. Or they're going to trade out because, look.
Maybe they trade down.
Jarrett Stidham can hold it down for a year. You know what I mean? He can hold it down for a year. You know you're going to stink. Your Justin Simmons is gone. Or, guys, this might be where the Patrick Surtain goes. And they trade him for something crazy. You know, like, you just don't know with Denver. You know what I mean? Sean Payton is his marbles ain't all there. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same Sean Payton that we had in New Orleans. No. And so it could happen. I know Spencer is hoping it happens because Spencer don't want Bo Nix. Because they had Bo Nix a couple of years ago. His name was Derek Carr.
Yeah.
So this is where it gets tricky. The pick is in. I cannot wait to see what the Jets do here.
Let's take a look. Oh, okay. I thought there was a trade for a second. I was like, that's crazy. No, it looks like they're going to go to the top here.
And so don't sleep either.
129 and 157.
Don't sleep on the Jets either, man. The Jets can make some noise this year.
I think Minnesota has to be very happy. They didn't give up, obviously, that much to move in one spot. I think they just wanted to make sure that no one sniped them for it.
JJ McCarthy is pull and pray. Because he's not going to be what you think he is, but he could exceed your expectations. Look at Baker Mayfield in year, 9? I mean, Baker
It is
Mayfield,
a little rough for Minnesota because it's not like they have a great run offense, though. I think that's going to be a big problem for them. They're going to have to go running back in the second round. They're going to have to be pretty aggressive, actually, because they can't roll with a pass-first offense. That's not going to work for them
And they don't have anybody. And their defense ain't great either. I mean, they need to get Chop Robinson in that team. Danielle Hunter's gone. You know what I mean? They got holes.
They're not
here's
ready.
Here's the thing about the Vikings. They have a plan, okay? The first part of their plan has been executed. If the rest of their plan gets executed, they'll be fine. But let anyone take the players that they want, and they're in trouble. There is no plan B now. You know what I mean? They got to get the guys that they want here for them to be a decent team next year. I mean, JJ McCarthy don't move the needle for me. Come on, Jets. Where's this pick?
It is Olu Fashanu.
Yeah!
My other best bet is yeah.
Go Spencer.
2 for 2. Let's go.
I'm here to tell you, folks, I love this kid.
That's a great.
I love
pick.
this kid, and I love the fact that he went here. If it's not going to be Bowers, because like I told Spencer on last week's show, I'm like, you guys are tripping if you think this kid's not as good as Joe Alt. You're not watching film. I'm sorry. He may not be as tall or as heavy as Alt, but those two measurables don't necessarily turn into you being a fantastic offensive left tackle. I'm sorry. And if we do not want to see Aaron Rodgers and his successor carted off the field, this is a pick you have to make. Bowers is the splash pick, but Fashanu is solid, bro. I mean, look at this. I'm watching his measurables right now. I'm watching some of his film right now. Dude, he's tossing fools. He's a bouncer.
Yeah, last year, before the college season this year, a lot of people had him as the number 1 tackle in the draft. So,
I think him and Alters are the same to me.
yeah,
I have them both there at the same.
yeah, good play.
It's a good move here for the Jets. And finally, like a pick that makes sense. We all think Rodgers was going to say, get me another, receiver. So gets Bowers. They compare him to wide receiver. So this is a great move for the Jets to stack that line where they were awful last year.
Yeah, they were bad last year, man. They really were bad. And I think that, being smart here and thinking about the beef rather than the generational tight end. I mean, who knows, man? They might find a way to still get Bowers. Not everyone needs a tight end. Just
Right.
package now have to just get Fashanu and then find a way on the swing to get Bowers, because they're I'm telling you, their tight end room is so bad. I mean, who's the Jets starting tight end?
That guy
You
from
know what I mean?
CJ Hoosier.
CJ, who's your mama?
Who's your mother? No.
Maybe.
It's Luke Musgrave.
No.
They drafted him last year.
No, Umzana, CJ
from Cincinnati.
Didn't he get waived?
Yeah, he got waived, but that's who was their starter last year. And then
So now they don't have a guy, is what I'm saying. You're
another guy,
you're
forgot his name.
Dan
Tyler
O'Brien.
Conklin.
Dan O'Brien is the tight end for the New York Jets,
Pretty
basically.
much.
Yeah. Danny, suit up, suit up, bro.
Get to stick him out.
Suit up, bro. You're going in. So up next, man, I like what the Jets did there. The Denver Broncos and the Mile High Stadium Denver Broncos. I think they're going to take Bo Nix. I think they're going to panic and take Bo Nix early.
I think they're a little bit nervous with the Raiders being right behind them. I hope they get.
Here's the
Bateman
thing,
doing
man.
it.
Here's the thing. Bo Nix, I'm an Oregon Duck fan. So is my wife. So there's nothing but green and yellow in our house. I mean, that's our team. Ducks, Chiefs, Golden Knights, Mets. Like, that's how it goes in our house. And so I watch a lot of Bo Nix. To me, Bo Nix is a college quarterback who had a very good year. Could he be the answer in Denver? Because they like to run the ball a lot. They got good defense. You know what I mean? Sean Payton, Drew Brees kind of thing. Maybe. Would I do it? No. But I think they may panic and do it because they don't want the Raiders to get him. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
we're going
if
to play keep away.
Yeah, if they don't
Would you
a
take
quarterback,
him? They need him.
You have to. If you don't take one now, who are you going to get? You're going to get
There's
Michael
no
Bryant.
one.
You're going to get Spencer Rattler.
Spencer Rattler.
Wow.
Spencer.
No.
No, let's hold that for a second. I want to say something that I haven't said yet on the show. I think Spencer Rattler's better than some of these guys going.
Yes.
I'm telling you right now, Spencer Rattler is getting a raw deal, and whoever takes him is getting a quality player. He's going to be one of those third-round quarterbacks that's better than a first-rounder, but no one wants to take him because everyone in the world is saying, don't take him. That's not the guy you want. What does everyone in the world know? Are you watching this guy's measurables and comps? This kid can play. Spencer Rattler can play.
Kid
It
can
wouldn't
throw.
shock me. Dude, he can play. I would
Yep.
take Spencer Rattler over Bo Nix.
I would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
I'll
be surprised
bet-
if you actually saw that.
And I will bang the drum on that, and I will stand on that 10 toes down. World of Matchups has said it. 6:30, the 25th of April. You heard it here first, and I got 3 witnesses. And I like Bo Nix, man, a lot. But is he an NFL quarterback? His arm worries me.
Mhm.
His arm worries me.
Yeah.
No Jerry Judy. Judy is gone. So
Judy's
now it's
gone.
all Cortland Sutton, Who did he have? They don't have anyone. If I was Denver, I would probably take Brian Thomas Jr.
Now that would be a good pick.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I'd
mean,
take
they need
Brian-
more
I would take
weapons.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Definitely.
See if you can get
Definitely.
So they're
Spencer Rattler later. Let
So they're
the
going
Raiders.
Zach Wilson for a year. He's going in as the starter. If you're the
No,
Broncos.
Jarrett Stidham. Stidham will
Yeah.
start. They're gonna wave this year. They know they're not winning nothing in the AFC West this year. Come on, bro. They're gonna be dead last. They're gonna be 6-11. You're not winning nothing. You're dude.
This is a rebuild out year. For them.
This year and next year, dude. You know what it takes to beat Patrick Mahomes. Stop. Like
They're just
look
gonna
how they
wait
got-
for
they-
Kelsey to
they-
retire and then
they
try
got
to-
rid of Russell Wilson and they're eating they're eating the U.S. national debt. They are dude. They surrendered a long time ago, but you could still get a quality player here. See, guys like Brian Thomas Jr. shouldn't fall. Or
You go corner.
take corner. You know what I mean? Take Q
You go
Mitch.
Mitchell?
Go Q Mitch here.
What are they trying to go like the best?
I might go
running back duo?
Mitch here. Just build up my defense.
Just go no fly zone. Your defense is not really hurting that bad, honestly. The Denver Broncos are always known
This
for
is
their
Sean
defense.
Payton. I could see them taking an offensive lineman here.
Yeah,
There's still plenty available.
but
Fulaga.
the thing is who you're protecting. You're protecting Jarrett
Yeah.
Stidham. Yeah,
Yeah, but I
Jarrett's-
mean, you got a quarterback coming in next year.
Zach
you
Wilson.
got an offensive line, waiting for him.
I'm going to say something that might blow the tops off some people's minds too. Dude, sometimes a change of scenery is all you need. I saw Zach Wilson. I saw Zach Wilson beat the Chiefs in the Meadowlands, and the Chiefs got a call that gave him that win.
Yes.
Zach Wilson looked like Peyton Manning that night. Zach Wilson was a number 2 overall pick. Dude, you are not a number 2 overall pick by accident.
Nope.
You are that because you can play.
He
You
was
can
running
play.
for his life.
You can play. And I think sometimes, man, looking out the window and seeing different weather is all you need.
Bo Nix. Bo Nix is a Denver Bronco.
Wow.
Call that.
That's
The
it.
Raiders
dude.
debated the Denver Broncos
Call
into
that.
overdrafting Bo Nix, man.
So,
I call that. The only reason
so what do the Raiders do now? You guys going defense?
Raiders are going to take a corner. They're taking Q Mitch. The Raiders are going to take a corner. The Raiders are going to take a lineman. There's
Man, I
plenty
get
of
that.
talent.
Every time the
But the-
Raiders draft, I get that feeling in the pit of my stomach, man. I could feel it like it's coming up right now,
Let's
dude. It's
see.
every draft. It's like torture to me.
I've been there for
it's
years.
tough.
What?
It's tough, man. I
They
tell
go
you what,
Bowers
though,
and split him out wide.
bro. Michael Mayer, Brock Bowers. Let's go. Fire out, dude. Yo, that would be
If
sick.
everyone's talking about how great a pass catcher Bowers is,
That would
you
be
need some-
sick. Dude, that would be sick. If I'm a Raider fan, man, I have to
Why not?
romance that. Michael Mayer is good. Michael
Yeah.
Mayer is very good. He's a very good player. Okay. He's one of the slower coming on tight ends. He didn't really get into the flow last year because they had that other bum ahead of him. I forget his name. But look, let's not act like the mustache didn't go to the playoffs or almost go to the playoffs. Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Michael Mayer, Brock Bowers. I mean, I do think Terrion Arnold and Q Mitch is probably the smarter play here,
Oh, it is.
Spencer. I mean, this is your team, Spencer. Who do you want?
The smart pick is Quinion Mitchell. I mean, this is Plan D at this point. I mean, I thought
Yeah.
Olu Fashanu, I thought Michael Penix would be here. So this is a little bit
The way
surprising.
they were talking like they were going to trade up and give up the house to get a quarterback.
I think they were looking at it, but I think all of these teams decided that they knew who they were picking. Now, I think if they had known, I don't know, man. I
no
wouldn't
one
even.
saw Penix going to Atlanta, so that threw a wrench into everything too.
Yeah. It's so interesting because like a team like
I say you
Minnesota
take Quinion
just
Mitchell,
traded
you
up
just
for
don't
no
look back,
reason.
dude. I don't think you blink. I think you just take him, and I think you
Q
just build a
Mitch?
defense, man. I
Dude,
would
the
say
Raiders-
in
the
terms
Raiders
of guys who
defense
are
is
left
scary.
right now.
Raiders defense. Corey knows something about the Raiders defense, bro. Raiders
Yeah.
defense won me a fantasy title. Raiders defense is dude. Raiders defense is legitimate. Their front four is they're going to be merciless. If your offensive line is not intact, you're going to have a long day versus those guys. You're giving Mad Max help now, and that
Yeah.
guy did it without help.
Well, the thing
You
is, they
know?
want to keep Nate Hobbs in the corner or in the slot position. He doesn't really play well as an outside corner. He's one of the best slot corners in the NFL. But as it stands right now, they don't have a team to do that, right? They don't have a corner to where he can play the slot. You take Quinion Mitchell, you put him in as your cornerback one, and you have a real good defense. The linebacker position is still a big question. They shored up the defensive tackle. I think you can get a really good defensive tackle in the second round, which I think they should really consider looking at. But you know what? It didn't work out for the Raiders this year, and I think I think that's just kind of how it goes. And I think they just need to take the best available, and that's Q Mitch. I think by far he's the best available player right now on the draft board.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree too.
If I'm the Raiders here, I have to take a cornerback.
You have to.
I would probably take Q Mitch because he's my number 1 rated CB, or Terrion Arnold. It's a coin flip. I know you like Arnold too, Spencer.
Right
Yeah,
Dude,
Spencer,
dude.
Spence looks like he's about to pass out.
You guys don't understand.
That's my
This is my
problem.
A1 from day one. I've been doing videos with this kid for a couple years now. This is the most stressful
Oh, they
moment.
took Brock Bowers.
Wow.
Yo, what are we doing here?
Oh,
What are we doing here?
what?
Max, what are we doing here?
Shout out Rob Harrison. Raiders! Wow. Oh my God, Spencer. That's crazy. I told you it could happen. He's the best player on the board, bro.
He looked shocked, man. Brock Bowers looked shocked.
Dude.
I was like, wait, what?
Brock Bowers and Mike Mayer and Brock Bowers together is a formidable duo in the AFC West. I'm surprised that the Jets didn't take Bowers because I thought that the Raiders might take. We talked about this, Spencer. We talked about this, dude. I'm telling you, I see the hamster spinning in your head. This is a good move. You have to face Patrick Mahomes twice a year. You get tired of guys winning in your stadium, winning Super Bowls in your stadium. You can't beat this guy when it matters. The way to beat the Chiefs is with points. You must muscle the Chiefs. You must bring the physicality to the Chiefs. Look at Christmas Day. You gotta have another weapon that is hard to stop. Brock Bowers is an absolute monster. You add a George Kittle comp to your arsenal here. I don't care that the mustache is your quarterback here. All the top tier quarterbacks are gone. Get the best player available. If you can stop a team from scoring somewhat like you did on Christmas Day and now add a piece that is going to put points on the board, this is a win. This is such a good pick for the Raiders, bro. And I hate the Raiders.
I mean, okay.
He's processing.
Gardner
You see that
Minshew
loading
took the
thing
Colts to
on
the
top of his head,
playoffs last
loading.
year. Pretty good offense. So I don't know why Aiden O'Connell was in that graphic. I'm pretty much out on him unless he just has like the greatest offseason of any like quarterback in NFL history. They're going to run 2 tight end sets. And you know what? I will say this, right? Luke Getsky comes from the Bears, and he didn't have the best relationship with the Bears, but he did make Cole Kmet look like a top 5 tight end in the NFL, top 6, top 7. And you give him 2. I mean, Michael Mayer had a pretty decent rookie season. He had his times where he looked like he was going to be really good. I think he can line both of them up. And Brock Bowers, you can line him up like on the outside. This guy is
Brock Bowers. You can use Brock Bowers like Travis Kelce and George Kittle.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm telling you, you're gonna go to sleep tonight, and you're gonna wake up tomorrow, and you're gonna feel really good about this. I know you're processing now, and we're doing a show. There's a lot of information happening right now. As a Raider fan, you've been waiting your whole life to get better. I get it. I've been there, dude. Corey's going through it right now too, man. All of a sudden, you're like, wow. Like me, I'm just like, yeah, we win Super Bowls. You know what I mean? But like, you guys are like, oh my God, we are actually going to be more than competitive. Oh my goodness, we could win a playoff game. Dude, Brock Bowers, I've been banging the drum on this kid. This is a blue chip steal at 13. Yep. Look, Olufajano is a great pick. If I'm the Jets, I'm taking Brock Bowers. I'm sorry. I can't let that guy go. I cannot. He could come in this year and be Sam Laporta. You heard it here first, folks. You could be mad. You could be mad and in your feelings all you want to. Say what you want to about me. I don't know a lot of things in this world. I don't know a lot of things in this life. I know football, bro. I know football. This kid is a monster. Corey, we're gonna let you go, man. I got some other people we want to bring in. We want to thank you for coming on and sharing the knowledge about the Bears. I got Zach, my buddy Zach Nixon coming in. He's gonna talk Seahawks football. Danny, stay tuned. You hang in there with us, and we'll see you, man. Congratulations to your
Congrats,
Bears.
Corey. Good night
Thanks,
for you.
guys.
Good night.
It's been a good night for you, man, and we'll talk to you soon. Spencer, when I have Zach up, you can bring him in. We're in commercial break right now. Up next is what team? We have up next the New
Dude, I don't even
Orleans
know. Like, I'm
Saints.
still like that that
Shocked.
Raiders sent me a little bit, man. I mean,
that's as surprising as Penix. Maybe not as surprising, but that's a big
it's lining.
win
I mean,
for you.
okay, for the Raiders, I'm thinking Raiders. I'm pretty sure the Saints go Fuaga here. I can almost guarantee it. But
Mhm.
when I see this, I'm thinking, you feel like you already have your tight end, and that's the part that kind of drags me. But it's not like Brock Bowers is this guy, like, I don't know. It's not like a blocking tight end. Like, he just does it all. And I feel like you kind of do take him. Now, there's part of me that wishes they took Quinion Mitchell. Now, this isn't a bad pick at all. First of all, that's a good thing. The Raiders took a player that is going to be productive, and that's worth saying something for the Raiders. Trust me, watching them
If they
draft
use
him.
him right, Spencer, he's going to be a day one contributor. He's going to be a day one contributor. The kid can ball, bro. He comes from a school that grows pros. I mean, he is a good player.
It's just that the worry for the Raiders, obviously, is that they don't have a right guard and a right tackle. You kind of hope that they can trade up late in the first, maybe. I don't feel like there's going to be a guy who I'm overly into who's going to fall to them to the second. But hey, one thing that is, I'm pretty sure, like, I'm thinking, there hasn't been a defensive player taken yet, has there?
Nope.
Wow. Has that ever in NFL history happened where you get to pick 14 and not a single defensive player has been taken? I would be shocked if ever in NFL history that has happened.
It's starting to get late in the draft, dude. You know what I mean? It's starting to get late.
There are teams that are about to get the biggest
Best
steals in recent NFL draft memory.
Yep.
Now, this isn't a stacked defensive draft, but you are going to get starters that are not normally there at that position just because the talent pool and just the way that things have gone. This is such a crazy NFL. I mean, starting with Michael Penix, it has been absolute chaos.
It's been absolute carnage, dude. No one could have predicted this. I would have never thought in a million years Penix would have gone to Atlanta, and I would never have thought that Brock Bowers would go to the Raiders. But I mean, to me, when Bowers didn't go to the Jets, I'm like, man, what if the Raiders take him here? I mean, there's no quarterbacks. The Raiders defense has already played well. They'll get Jack Jones back. I mean, you go get some offense here, man. 2 tight end set. Big boys that could both catch, chip, block, maul. My goodness, man, the Raider draft party here, I just saw the confetti come down like it was the Super Bowl win.
Here's the thing, too, right?
This is a
For the
winning.
Raiders
That's
next
a
year,
winning.
They have another 7-win season. I think it's pretty safe to chalk that up right now. Raiders have another 7-8-win season. Now, next year, there's not going to be as many QB needy teams. It's just not. I would be shocked to see that. The Raiders will be positioned next year to trade up for a quarterback. I think they wanted to this year, but you got a new GM. No new GM wants to trade the house their first year in the team.
You could still get Spencer
they don't want to get
Rattler,
fired.
bro.
You know what I mean?
Still get Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler's a good quarterback. I'm telling you.
You know what? They actually
bro.
don't have to worry at all about what team is going to take a quarterback at this point. And I'm literally looking down the draft board right now. Not a single one of these teams has taken. They could go third round for a quarterback. They could take Spencer Rattler in the third round if they.
This
really
is what I'm saying. We have gotten to the point of the draft here, Spencer, where it's going to go on a run of offensive and defensive players. We're on that run. I mean, what pick is this now? The pick is in for the Saints. This is pick 14, bro. This is it. Here comes a 10-player run. You know what I mean? You can still get what you're looking for late.
The fact that you can still get Quinion Mitchell at pick 14, that's disgusting.
I told you he was going to fall. What did I say? What did I say the other day? Quinion Mitchell might go 16 to the Rams.
He's going to go to the Colts.
19.
I don't think there's a world where the Colts ever imagined that Quinion Mitchell would be there with him.
Yeah.
If the Saints don't take Fuaga, they're the dumbest team in the NFL. I'm telling you right now. They had the worst offensive line last year.
Their offensive line is horrible.
It was Bonzo.
I had JC Latham going there, so Fuaga was next up for me. or
Yeah, he's next on my
Fountaino.
draft board.
You know what I mean?
Jackson
One of
Powers
those two
Jr. They need
guys.
help all over
Jackson
the
Powers
offensive
Jr.
line.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was good at Oregon. He was really good. This is going to be an interesting.
Yep, Fuaga. Dude, you could have bought
Fuaga.
if you're a Saints
You
fan,
could have bought a Fuaga
Fuaga
jersey
before the day even started. I
Yeah.
mean, it was one of those things, you know what I mean? Where you can just
Talise
see it
Fuaga,
coming.
man, offensive tackle out of OSU is this is a good player, man.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? They need help. They need help, man. These Samoan guys, these Hawaiian guys coming into Oregon from over the pond, man. These guys are beasts. These guys are maulers. They know how to push a pile. This is a great pick for New Orleans, man. This is
Desperately needed. You know what their real problem
Their
is? That
offensive
Derek Carr is their
line was
quarterback.
shredded. The problem is Derek Carr is a quarterback. That's the problem. You know what I mean? But you have to try. You have to try.
They've traded for him. What are they going to do now? They don't have a choice.
You're stuck with the kid. Derek Carr is your franchise quarterback.
Just like the Raiders were, man. I'm telling you, it's the same experience. I was last year. I was very adamant on keeping up with the Saints season and Saints fans, and the tweets that I was looking at about Derek Carr. Dude, I was like, I've lived this. I've lived this.
Crazy.
I've lived this.
Yeah,
he won't be there next year.
I think this is Derek Carr's last year.
This is objectively the right choice. I think this is one of the best picks in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, second team All-American, man. He's huge, big, strong guy. I mean, I'm looking at some of his film right now, and he's not just tackling guys. Like, he's driving them into the turf. You know what I mean? He's letting them really think about, like, do I want to line up with this guy again? I mean, in the Senior Bowl, he's just destroying everybody in his path. I mean, this is a great pick. This is a great pick.
I love the Senior Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Senior Bowl.
I'm an
Senior Bowl
follower.
Better than the Combine to me. I love the Senior Bowl too. This is a good pick, man. This is good. He started all games at right tackle in 23. I mean, this is where you had to go. The Saints need. This is a need. This is an absolute need.
You know what? I'm gonna call it right now. You're gonna see a trade up for the kid from Washington, Fatanu. There's gonna I can almost guarantee that one of these teams is gonna jump up. I could see.
I think
Seattle
Fatanu's.
I think right now.
Really, but he's a Washington kid. They need help, man. I could see Fatanu staying.
But they've kind of have their offensive line a little settled in. They've gone offensive line pretty heavy in the first round recently.
Yeah,
and they picked up a good kid last year too.
Yeah. This is true. They've done
like
really,
Cincinnati.
really well.
Like I'm talking about leapfrogging Jacksonville because Jacksonville and Cincinnati are desperate for offensive line.
Desperate for offensive line help.
I could see Cincinnati coming up here for it.
Yeah, I could see it too.
The pick's not in kind of like makes me think that they're at least on the phone right now. You know what I mean?
I think this is where the Colts take Cooper DeJean, the Swiss Army knife out of Iowa. They need secondary help.
Doesn't move the needle enough for me, man.
Some people see him as a second
rounder. I like
rounder.
Cooper, man. He should probably be a safety. You know what I mean? Like he struggles.
You can play him anywhere though, Spencer.
That's someone who I pick at 24th overall, not 14th.
Yeah.
And if they really feel that strongly about it, I guess you have to kind of think about like the Colts are in a very interesting, or Seattle's in a very interesting situation. I feel like they were a team maybe on the radar for a quarterback in the first round, and now they're kind of like can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a team that feels primed to trade back, but I guess we'll have to find out. They don't have necessarily like I can't really think when I think of Seattle. I think the biggest problem is the quarterback position. They feel like a team that's almost like primed to make a run. They draft well. They got a good running back room. Dude. They got a great receiver room. I think they shouldn't have doubled down and taken him. I think that they should have manned up and maybe looked elsewhere. I think he played pretty decent. Every time a new quarterback comes on the scene, that's why you see this with rookies when they have such bad sophomore slumps. There wasn't tape on Geno Smith, man. The guy hadn't played in forever.
He's not that good. He's been a backup for his whole career. I mean, he just
to say something bad against the guy. Like, good for you, dude. Like you know what I mean? Like, you gave yourself a career check that's going to last you a lifetime. So good for Geno Smith. But I'm talking about from a Seahawks, Seattle
good? Are you good? Can you play? You know what I mean?
He's going to get you to the playoffs, right? And there's value in that on some level. But here you are picking this place right here because you're around the playoffs and you're getting bounced out of the first round. And it's almost exactly because of Geno Smith, like straight up. You know what I mean? So they're in a little bit of a tough position. They're almost a team that should trade back and look at next year as having a package to trade up to get a guy.
That's what I
But
would consider.
it's hard to plan that far ahead, but I feel like the best GMs do that kind of thing. Look what the Bears did. Look at the Bears just did it. Now, they got lucky at being in the first overall pick, but even if
Boy.
they didn't, right? Let's say the Panthers won 5 games or whatever, they would have had all of the picks in the world to trade up and gotten the first overall pick. So,
Bears had a nice night so far, man. It's going to be interesting to see what's taking so long here with Indianapolis. Is leads me to believe that they don't have a number one guy that they were looking at, or somebody that they wanted.
I think they wanted to trade it, and I don't think they got what they were looking for. I think that's what it came down to for the Colts here.
Let me try to.
I think they were
get this
listening to
guy.
Office. Let's take a look at your mock draft. I'm curious to see actually while we have a chance to look at it, like where we're at here. Yeah, Quinion Mitchell. We had JC Latham, didn't last that long. Yeah, here's Cooper DeJean. And actually the draft can kind of fall into where you think it like you can get back on track here a little bit. You know what I mean? Like all the guys you thought would be taken were just maybe not in the exact order.
Yeah.
I will say the JC Latham pick surprised me a little bit. I feel like that was pretty
Me
high
too,
to take
man.
the
That
guy.
was kind of high. I wasn't expecting that early. That's kind of weird, man. But whatever. I mean, guys, I don't like Latham over Fashanu. I don't. So
Not at all.
and, yeah, no.
I wouldn't have
no,
blinked if the draft positions were flipped though. So I guess it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, these guys do a lot of extra homework than we do, so maybe they know that, it kind of feels like they know something that we don't, obviously, because they have the time. It's just from like an athletic perspective, when I look at this guy play and the power that he plays with Fashanu, and he just like played for Penn State, just like they play good competition all the time. Those kinds of things really do matter to me. And
They
that's
do.
why looking later in the draft, I'm a little bit iffy on Mims because he doesn't have a lot. Like he did play for a big school, but he didn't
He's
play
a
a lot.
big kid,
That
I
kind of
know.
worries you a little
Kind
bit.
of
When you get,
injury concerns with Amarius
might get
Mims too.
schooled a little bit. I feel like there's going to be a team
Yeah.
that trades up for him, and it's a real like kind of roll the dice type of pick.
Chiefs might take him. It's interesting. The pick is in for the Indianapolis Colts. Let's hear what they got to say. See
I think
if
I
they
know who
blow
it is. It's a little surprising. First of all, I do want to say that I was kind of right on Dallas Turner. That teams are a little sour on the guy.
Yeah,
he
I'm
is
surprised.
a little. He was
To
more
have no
raw.
defensive players picked yet is crazy to me. We're at
Latu is
pick
the first.
15.
Wow, the first defensive player. My first.
Latu.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
I don't like that pick there.
doesn't jump off
I'm
the
con-
page
I'm
for me.
concerned with Latu because his injury history is a real injury history. This is high for me with him. I don't like this pick at all. I mean, measurables, all that stuff's there. You know what I mean? But it's not like Michael Penix Jr. injury concerns. You know what I mean? These are real in the trenches. You're getting hit every play. Injury concerns. I don't know. One of the few plays that picks so far that I have not liked.
It feels like a pick that they like the board didn't go their way necessarily. You know
It
what
took
I
a
mean?
long
And they're
time to
like,
pick.
I think they wanted to trade it. I just think they didn't get an offer that they felt.
They
I
didn't
think
get
a
an
lot of
offer.
teams knew kind of that they were in a weird spot and they were kind of lowballing them. I could definitely see that happening.
6'4", 259. I don't know. This guy looks like a bouncer to me.
Seattle is up next. I could see it.
Yeah, my buddy Zach can't get in. I don't know what's up. He's a big Seattle fan, but we'll go and we'll pontificate about who we think is getting that pick. I mean, I like a tackle there. You know what I mean?
Let's see who's left on the board. What are the Seahawks' biggest needs? Offensive line, defensive line. Maybe you could see Newton going here.
Newton.
I could definitely see that being a
Johnny
possibility.
Newton could be a possibility. Check this out. Dan, the man who was just on with us, sent me this. The Falcons called Kirk Cousins when they were on the clock to let him know. From what I learned, Cousins understood a quarterback would be considered, but he did not believe his successor would be taken in the first round. I'm told he's a bit stunned. He's a bit stunned. All of America
whole
is a bit
country
stunned.
is,
The
yeah.
whole country's a bit stunned.
The only people who knew that was going to happen are the people in that draft room.
That's crazy.
This is you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and call. This was a bad pick from the Colts.
I don't like this pick. I don't like this pick. I think Fontenot is going to Seattle. He's a Washington player. They're
Oh,
gonna
you're
keep
about
him
to see
home.
offensive linemen go flying off.
Flying
the
this,
board here.
dude. We called this in our mock drafts. We said, I'm telling you, from pick 13 to like 23 is going to be nothing but beef. Nothing.
Yeah,
but
you're gonna see defensive linemen get started.
defensive
taken here.
line.
Wow.
Spencer, hold me down for 30 seconds, okay?
As we get further and further down the draft board, oh man, I can't believe this. You know what? Just since I do have a second here, I am going to bring on my friend Kevin as the Pittsburgh Steelers get ready to jump on the clock. Hello, Kevin. Give me 1 second while I fix our camera situation here. All right, man. Anything? Well, thoughts on the draft so far? Because we're kind of in that middle range right now, where teams are kind of picking mid a little bit.
From a Steelers perspective, first of all, thank you for having me on. From a Steeler perspective, I think the board has shaken out really well for them, considering it's been like all of these high profile quarterbacks have gone off the board pretty much. You got 5 quarterbacks in the top 10. And I think that bodes really well for the Steelers, who top needs most certainly are, I would say, for them, a center and another defensive back to be opposite of Joey Porter Jr.
You have if the Steelers are on the clock and they can choose between Jackson Powers, Terry, and Arnold, Kool-Aid, McKinstry, they have been in position to win this draft. They got to be a little bit careful. I think the Rams are kind of looking at the same positions for them. I don't know that the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't necessarily a team that is known for trading up in the draft, but I think that with the new regime, I think you could see a little bit of a difference here. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers feel that they're close. You know, they were a little aggressive in the offseason getting Wilson. You know, it was a low buy, but it's still aggressive because when you're trading for Wilson, you're saying you're going to start on my team and I expect you to be a high level starter, right? It's not a placeholder. They brought in Wilson because they thought he could be really good. And they're going to try to, bring someone in to support that. I bet you they are praying for Powers Johnson to be there.
And that's kind of pick. That feels like the white whale for them at number 20. But you're right. It's trepidatious because you never see the Steelers move this aggressively in the offseason. And the points where they have, especially in the draft, kind of taken a shot to move up, it's kind of bitten them in the rear. Devin Bush comes to mind, trading up to, I believe, 10 to pick him back in 2017, and just never really worked out in their favor. But yeah, there's always been this mentality of the Steeler way. They're pretty conservative when it comes to free agents, when it comes to players on the trade block, when it comes to the draft. They've always been able to kind of stand pat and kind of make the decision that's best available to them in the position that they're in. And we've seen them be very, very aggressive this offseason. And it's kind of strange to see. It makes
this is the most moves I've seen the Steelers take in a long time. Now, you also have to be nervous because the Cincinnati Bengals are drafting ahead of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and teams will draft players, I think, to snipe them from division rivals. I think that's just a straight up fact. So,
well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You play them twice a year,
dude. Keep away is a real thing. I mean, look when the Bills pick. They're taking anyone they think Kansas City wants. I mean, that's just how it's going to go. I mean, and I like what the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing. People clown them, but they're trying, bro. You know what I mean? The Pittsburgh faithful is a real thing, man. The black and gold, the terrible towels, they have a rich history in the National Football League, and like the Vegas Raiders, like the Dallas Cowboys, the NFL's better when the Steelers are good. You know what I mean? And so they're going to get another good player here. I'm telling you, Russ is not as bad as people think. Russell Wilson is a Super Bowl champion that doesn't get his flowers because he's corny. You know what I mean? They screwed him. They screwed him in Denver. Dude, Russell Wilson beat the Kansas City Chiefs this year. Russell Wilson went playing well when they Buffalo and won that game. I mean, guys, stop. Stop the cap, dude. Russell Wilson still has a good year or two left in him. I like this move for Pittsburgh.
There's absolutely no reason that the Pittsburgh Steelers
great running game
can't win their division.
Of course, they got great wide receivers. Getting rid of Deontay Johnson was de facto move. The guy's a head case. You already got another head case on that team. You're good. You got a great coach. You got a top 3 coach of all time. You've dealt with Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown. You should get a Nobel Peace Prize just for that.
If I had to imagine the best case scenario of what was kind of realistic and available for the Steelers as far as revamping their quarterback room, this is kind of exactly what you would want. You have 2 kind of high there's high potential for either Fields or Wilson to kind of be difference makers. And just again, the standard of play from the Steelers quarterbacks last season was bottom 3 in the league, and for what you had to pay for Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, the difference in play that you're going to get from either of those two guys in comparison to last season, I think is head and shoulders above. And to your point again, Spencer, like the AFC North is it may be the most competitive division in the league at current. And I fully expect Cincinnati to make a move in consideration to the fact that the Steelers are drafting 2 positions after them. And so, yeah, I have always believed with the moves that they've made, I think you made moves to improve the situation in the locker room. You made moves to improve the team that you have on paper. The Vegas will disagree with me, but I do think that the Steelers are very much primed to be competitive to win the AFC North.
They could, man. It wouldn't surprise me. Coaching matters in the NFL. You know what I mean? You can have great players and lousy coaches and go nowhere. Mike Tomlin gets the most out of his players more than anyone I've ever seen.
And he's not afraid of these teams either. I know that everyone looks at the rosters of Cleveland and Baltimore and Cincinnati, seeing the quarterbacks and the defenses that all those other teams are boasting, and a lot of teams would kind of be intimidated by that. I don't think the Steelers nor Mike Tomlin have ever felt intimidated by their contemporaries in the AFC North.
Never once.
Yeah, and I don't think that is something that like they take into consideration. And it's kind of surprising to me that people continue to take it into consideration, given that they have dominated that division for the better part of the
Baltimore.
2010s.
I mean, they put on hard hats every day. That team is not scared of anyone, and they got good players. Do they have amazingly great players? No. But can they make the playoffs? Yes. Will they go and lose? More than likely.
The Steelers are going to have, whether whoever's on the board, there's so much talent left on the board because of these quarterbacks that have been taken, more than I thought. They're
getting a good player.
The Steelers are going to get a top.
They're getting a top 15 player here.
Position.
I don't care what Cincinnati does. The Steelers are still mobbing here with a good player.
The Cincinnati are going offensive line. I think if the Pittsburgh Steelers want to build a defense that can win against these teams, they can take.
They're going to have to. And I'm worried about this.
Terry and Arnold, it'll be the best defensive back the Steelers have had in 5
I'm worried
years.
about Cincinnati, man. They got too much dissension. T. Higgins wants out. Trey Hendrickson wants out. They all want out, man. Like they're having internal problems at a not good time.
I'm not in on the Bengals at all.
At all.
When you pair that with how injured they have been, like their key players like the injuries to their key players over the past 2-3 seasons, Burrow has missed, I would say, the majority of the games in his playing career thus far, and it's quickly becoming a situation where it's like I'm not really depending. Yeah, I'm not really depending on 17 games of Joe Burrow at this.
You know he can't be there. Prove it to me.
Byron Murphy II just went to the Seattle Seahawks.
That's a damn good pick, man. That's not what I thought.
Seattle Seahawks are a great drafting team.
That was not wow. That's not what I thought. I thought he was going to fall to Miami. That is a damn good pick. Byron Murphy II out of Texas. This kid is a game wrecker.
The Vikings have also just traded back up into the first round with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Let's go. What are the Vikings going to do?
First round from the Vikings.
Well, I like it though. You have to. You have to show.
Are they going defense here?
Have to go, dude. You got it. Chop Robinson. Danielle Hunter's vacated. You have to get somebody in there. Byron Murphy just went. Chop Robinson would look good in purple.
Are we thinking JJ McCarthy is the day one starter from Minnesota?
He absolutely is.
Who else is on their roster?
Sam Darnold.
Do they have
Josh Dobbs.
Sam Darnold. Those guys are scrubs, dude. Those guys are scrubs. Do I have anybody waiting in the queue? I had a Seattle fan trying to get on. I don't know if he was able to.
I don't see anyone yet. I will keep you updated on that one.
All right, cool. Yeah, it sucks for him. I know he's having some technical difficulties. Dude, I like this move. I wasn't thinking this. I was thinking
Seattle
O-line.
Doesn't pick all
but
pros,
they don't really need all-line.
Every time
they get good players, man.
They get a guy who's going to start on their team, and you're going to know his name. You know what I mean? Like he's going to be on the team. That is he's just a big beefy guy. Now, not the best run defender, but he's the best pass rushing defensive tackle in the draft, and this is a passing league. So I don't think you look back. And they already have they are building themselves a team, man.
They're
They know
they
how
have
to
a nice
build a
team.
defense.
Dude, it's
They
gonna be
didn't need
Charbonnet.
an
It's gonna
all-pro
be
on their
Charbonnet
team.
season soon. You know what I mean? They have good players, man. They still got Lockett. You know what I mean? They're trying to really get to a point where they can just beat San Francisco when it counts. And you
Yeah, I
add
know.
a
They
player,
can't.
you
They can't
add a
do it,
player
man.
like Byron Murphy, right? And you're now rebuilding the 12th man here. This is a great
Wow.
pick, man. The kids, you got him, Leonard Williams, Boye Mafe, the dog, Devin Witherspoon, and Reek Woolen. Dude, the
They're
12th
set.
man is on its way back. They're set. Dude, they're set. If all those guys play to their potential, look out, man. Seattle's building a bully. I love that pick for them. I never thought they would take him. I thought they would go O-line. The pick is in for the Vikings at 17. Lord have mercy. What are they going to do here?
I'm honestly
actually-
shocked that it
Yeah.
took 16, 17 picks for a defensive player to go off the
I
board.
know.
think this is
15.
the first time.
Latu went
that-
to Indianapolis. That was
Yeah,
a 15.
I think this is the first time that you didn't see a defensive player go in the top 10, and I think it's really indicative of like where the league is at, especially after the
I know.
hip drop tackle ban. Like we're really seeing kind of just like, okay, this is where we value defense at this point in time.
It's
On a
crazy to
league-wide
me.
level.
It's Dallas
Legal.
Turner. They trade up to get Dallas Turner.
I don't like that.
I don't like that, man. Now,
I
you
would've
know what?
taken-
I will say
I would
they
have
didn't
taken
give up a
Chop
lot.
Robinson over Dallas Turner.
Or wait. You know what I mean? Or wait. Like I would.
You
I,
traded
Traded up.
to get Dallas Turner? Stop. No, dude.
I'm
No,
not
no,
sure.
no, no, no,
They must
no,
know
no,
something we
no,
don't.
no, no, no.
He's a
No.
super athlete, right? To talk about Dallas Turner, super athlete. He's a big dude. Okay, he's got speed. He's got power. It's not great with technique, man. That kills people in the NFL. It's not good at shedding tackles either. And he loses contain, dude. These are red flags to me. A lot of people had him going in the top 10. I never believed in any of that. I thought Jared Verse would go to the Falcons.
I don't
No,
like,
I mean,
like it.
You give up what, a
I don't
third,
like it.
fourth to go pick him. I don't know, man. I understand that he
like
has
it.
a top 10 graded pick here, but like that doesn't really matter in reality, does it at all? Like once it's all said and done. A productive,
No,
a
if
productive
every
college
player played to their draft grade, we would have way more Hall of Fame players in the league.
That's true. I mean, look, he
Here-
does come from a school that grows pros. It's not like he's terrible. His first team all SEC. He just didn't do it for me. I mean, I've never been that down on a 2023 SEC Player of the Year. There's just something about Dallas Turner that I don't love. And when I have to trade up, when I have to give up capital picks to get something, that something better be shiny, new, blue chip toy. I never once felt like this about Dallas Turner. Like someone's going to get a kid like Chop Robinson at 25 and they're going to go bananas. I think Chop Robinson is just as good. I mean, he's 6'2". He's only 247. He's only 247. Now, can you grow him? Can you give him a couple grilled cheese and peanut butter jelly sandwiches? Fine. But he kind of reminds me of like Brian Burns. Good
That's what
player.
someone had put up on the board.
You know what I mean? But you have to, this kid's going to have to be in the incubator for a while, man. I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love it.
I feel like
Can the Vikings
This draft
afford
kinda
to kind
feels-
of stash a guy like that too? Like,
I-
I feel
feels like
They
they're trying
need,
to
they
outsmart
need him
everybody
right
in
now,
there.
though.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Danielle Hunter is gone. You need him right now. And look, I get what they're doing in Minnesota. You have to show the Purple People leaders and their fans in good faith you're trying. You have to show Justin Jefferson you're trying, or he's going to turn into Stephon Diggs and be pissy. So I get it. But both their picks have major question marks. They don't have a running game for J.J. McCarthy like they did at Michigan. So that's number one. And this guy
that is a problem because they gave up a
That's a
late round
problem.
pick.
They didn't give up a ton to get him, but you moved up for 2 picks, and neither one of them blow me over. Neither one of them.
While we wait for the Cincy pick, I haven't gotten a chance to grill Spencer about the Brock Bowers pick. How happy about this can you be if you know that Gardner Minshew is going to be the one throwing to him this season?
But at the same time, this is a guy who took the Colts to a playoff appearance last year.
That's a good
And
pick.
I think the
Will he
Raiders are
take the
better than the
Raiders to the
Colts.
playoffs?
I think the Raiders roster as of right now is constructed better than the Colts. And I think Gardner is a guy who can't do it on his own, but I think that if you give him an offseason and you give him This has to be one of the best offensive weapon sets in the NFL, like straight up. Jacoby
I'll have to
Myers-
commend the Raiders for like the first time in like since I've watched football for making a disciplined pick and not going like
Dude, it's a solid
It feels
pick.
like the shock is that they didn't get Bo Nix.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
but here's
almost.
the
They didn't
deal.
trade up to get Bo
Here's
Nix or
the
something.
deal. If Bo Nix did not go to the Broncos, I bet you they would have taken him in Vegas.
You think so?
The best thing I do.
He was available.
I do. You took Brock Bowers simply because he was best player available.
By far, yeah.
He's
we wanna
best
take-
player.
If we want to take AP at his word and say that like they didn't want to draft somebody simply to plug a hole, then I'll give him that. I'll give him his word. But based on the Raiders' track record, it is kind of hard to see them not like trading up unless unless they had a really good reason not to, and apparently they did.
2 tight end set, 12 personnel in the AFC West.
Hey, you got a 2 tight end set. You got Devontae Adams
13
and Jacoby Myers
personnel,
on the other
Jacoby
side. Or you-
Myers, Devontae
Or you run
Adams.
Brock Bowers at the slot.
Dude, you could
keep
suit
Myers-
me up and put me in the Vegas quarterback. Come on, bro. That's a great pick. Dude,
I can't
that's
think
a
of an
solid
easier
pick.
quarterback situational room. You got the biggest security blanket on the planet. 2 tight
Gardner
ends.
Minshew does not have to do much. He doesn't have to do much.
That's an ideal situation for him to be in too.
Throw touchdowns inside the 20. You don't have to throw the ball long. You're going to run the balls. Zamir White's going to have a big year. I'm telling you. Their offensive line is decent. Your
I think
defensive
the Raiders
line
are
is
gonna go
monsters.
I could see the Raiders going Blake McCorum in the 3rd
Dude,
round.
if
and
the
having
Raiders
like
are smart, they would find a way to get Spencer Rattler on that team.
That'd be interesting.
I'm telling
that
you.
would be interesting.
They can wait. There's not a team in the draft right now that is going to take him
You
above
can
the
let
3rd.
Spencer Rattler come to you, and if there's not a player on your big board that you want, you take Spencer Rattler, and there's your
I
quarterback.
do feel like there's a big drop off in the 2nd round. Like looking back to last year, in the very beginning of the 2nd round, I loved a lot of guys like Michael Meyer was there, Joey Porter was there. I don't feel like you're getting that in this year's draft. I feel like it's a very heavy 1st round guys, our
Top
1st
heavy
round
draft.
guys, 2nd round
Very
guys,
top
or
heavy.
2nd round guys.
Yeah, I agree with that in a big way.
I
And the
do.
guys-
I like Rattler as a chaos pick because the Raiders inevitably are going to have one game where it's going to be like the most gut wrenching, soul crushing loss that they could have, and
Yep.
there's going to be people immediately calling for Rattler.
Absolutely. There's no question about it, and I think that would be a good pick. I think Spencer Rattler's big. He's better than people are giving him credit for. I really believe that. I don't think that it's warranted, quite frankly, for him to be falling where he is. They don't even mention him. They don't even mention him. I'm like, why? This kid can play. And I can't think of a better fallback. You steal Bowers. I mean, the fact that the Jets don't take him, he fell in your lap. You didn't even have to move up. The guy's the next George Kittle. That's a gift. Now you can run it back and just get some talent, and if it works out, great. If it doesn't, great. You can't tell me you're happy with Aiden O'Connell and frickin' the mustache. Take a shot. You could burn a pick. You've got Bowers.
You got the Cincinnati Bengals. They have to be very happy right now. You got Jackson Powers. You have Graham Barton available. Mims maybe is a little bit of a reach, but I
don't
say
like Mims there.
if you're choosing between Powers,
Jackson Powers
and-
Johnson.
I feel like you can order his jersey right now before they even announce the pick.
If he's available at 20,
He's right. Aren't they picking right now?
They're up.
the
Because
Bengals, the
Jackson-
Bengals pick is in.
Yeah. Oh, it's in. We're in commercial break over here.
Oh, they're going
Yeah.
to the website right now.
Yeah, Jackson Powers Johnson.
I love Graham Barton, and I could see them taking him. I don't know if they care that much about the
Graham
center
Barton's going to
position,
go to Green Bay. Watch.
But I like Graham Barton because you can play him around the offensive line,
can
and I
move-
feel
you
like
can
that's something
move
that
him
the Bengals
around.
really need. He's
a
played
chess piece.
everywhere, literally everywhere.
and having
he's-
a guy
he's got-
like that.
This is where the short arm argument comes in. Graham Barton's another one of those guys that's great offensive lineman with short arms.
got
I tend to-
T-Rex
I don't
arms,
care about
dude.
the
No
length of your
wingspan.
arm, man. Think about it like this, right? The Tennessee Titans took Soronsky, which that was the only problem with the guy. That he was a perfect prospect outside of his arm length. He had a good rookie season.
Yeah, good
I
year.
am not letting arm length shit scare me. Not at all.
No. Can the
Because-
guy play? That's what I
Yeah,
care about.
He can, man. He's going to start anywhere on
Can
the
he play?
offensive line for you.
Yeah, I agree. I like that
See where
pick.
Cincy goes.
They could go defensive tackle here. I don't know if there's one worth taking right here. I know you like Newton, but I feel like
like
you can get a
Newton.
guy like
I like Newton.
another one of those undersized kind
Got to
of.
get somebody that can get Mahomes on the ground, bro. I mean, they already have ODB. They already have,
and,
you know.
And now they got their top pass rusher looking like he wants his way out. So
Hendrickson wants out, man.
The
He don't wanna
Bengals are
play.
not a team. I'm glad that my team is not like they're in a bad situation straight up.
And
right
they
now,
think
the
that they're
Cincinnati
better than they
Bengals.
really are. They had 1 year where, you know, Andy Reid forgot to run the ball,
Super Bowl
and they
year.
end up going to the Super Bowl and they lost. I mean, Jamar Chase, these guys think they walk around like they've won 10 Super Bowls.
Well,
They haven't
no,
played at that level since.
It's
either.
Amarius Mims.
and they
I was
haven't
kinda
Amarius
right.
Mims.
I
I
was
li-
kind of right on this one. I threw that name out there. I feel like there's better ones, but
He's
I get
huge,
it.
man.
With a Mims, if you talking
He's
about a prototypical long arms,
Mims
big
with
offensive
Orlando Brown
tackle,
Jr.
and
You know what it is?
He played well. It's just experience, man.
He's hurt.
And
They're
the injury
tired.
history.
They're tired of seeing their quarterback be hurt.
Yeah.
They're tired of seeing. They're tired. You cannot have a prospect that you give $500 million to be hurt all the time, and Joe Burrow is hurt all the time. You have to protect him. This is a good pick. You
From
got
the perspective of the Steelers picking at 20, I think this is good for them in the sense of like I think they're pretty short up at tackle. Broderick
Mhm.
Jones had to flip over the season last year, going from the left to the right side, and was still really effective. Samalalu for the Steelers was really effective at left tackle, so I don't think that was a huge need for them. But like the fact that pretty much all of these high profile centers are still on the board, it really kind of shows when you look at Pittsburgh, like where like it's really going to kind of be indicative of where their head's at. Of are they going to go with a DB? Are they going to trade for Ayuk? Which doesn't seem like it's going to happen at this point in time.
Yeah, the big thing was like the 49ers are going to trade up for somebody. That's
I
just,
think
like,
that's
falling apart
I
as it
think
goes
that's a
on.
smoke screen. They threw that out there as bait to see what people would do. They're not getting rid of either of those guys. Who's your center in Pittsburgh?
We just released Mason Cole, who I
So
believe
this is where
was one of the
this is
worst
where you
centers in the
get
league.
Jackson Powers Johnson.
Yeah, I think they've had a pretty big they've been struggling to fill the hole left by Marquise Pouncey's absence since he retired in the late 2010s. And it's really been rough going at that position for them ever since.
Yeah.
And you've kind of had to like when you look at like guys like Kenny Pickett and how they dealt with pressure, they were doing them the offensive line, especially the center position, was doing them no favors as far as
None.
providing a consistent, clean pocket. And I think when you go from Kenny Pickett to either Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, those guys like to pat the ball. So they're going to be able to need to get at least a clean look out, off the snap. And you're going to need I think center for me personally, it's the number one priority with a 20 pick.
I could see Powers Johnson wearing a Steeler uniform.
Oh, that would be
it would
great.
look good too.
That would be a strong jersey.
I think
Powers
that'd be good.
Johnson
Powers
in the
Johnson is
black
a
and
good
yellow.
player. He's an Oregon
Strong
Duck,
jersey.
and I'm an Oregon Duck fan, so I've been watching this kid all year.
The Rams are on the
Spencer,
clock.
Remember what I
we've been
told
talking
you
about
the other
Quinton
day,
Mitchell
Spencer?
going-
Well, remember what I told you the other day about the
Man.
cornerbacks in this draft, Spencer?
Dude,
where
if
did
the
where
Rams-
did I tell
they
you?
should be
Where did I
running,
tell
dude.
you these quarterbacks were going? Quinyon Mitchell to the Rams, write it down. Terrion Arnold to the
disgusting,
Rams, write it
man.
down. Dude, the fact that it is pick number 19, and
Yeah, the Rams
neither one of
draft
these
looks like a bunch of
Dude,
tech bros,
this is
doesn't it?
absolutely disgraceful. Shame on the rest of the NFL for letting these guys fall so far. These guys are about to pick one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and if they don't, that general manager should be stripped of his duties immediately. Give me your phone and clean out your locker. Both of those players are both A1 from day one, shut down corners. At 19 to still be here, ridiculous. I told you this was going to happen.
Quinton Mitchell is normally a top 10 pick, man. I really feel like the guy is that good. I feel like maybe the fact that he played at Toledo is what's stopping a few people from taking him. Kind of a smaller school. But even then, I feel like if you take Terrion Arnold, no problem either.
Terry
I love
Arnold's
both of these
solid,
guys.
dude. I thought the Raiders were going to take him. I thought he was going to go high.
I think the Raiders
way
were just in a spot, dude, where they just couldn't. I feel like they
you
just couldn't
can't
pass on
let
Brock
Brock Bowers
Bowers.
go.
I didn't think there was.
can't.
I think everyone in that draft room was like, you know what? No matter what happens,
can't.
if Brock Bowers falls to us,
My favorite pick of this draft is Brock Bowers to the Raiders.
My least favorite's Michael Penix, man. The
That's
freaking
awful.
Falcons, dude.
That is
What are the
crazy.
Falcons? What are the Falcons doing? Kirk Cousins must be beside himself right now. He's like, I didn't sign up to be mentoring nobody. I'm here to throw touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like,
I
what?
just don't understand the.
It does
the
makes
logic
no
behind that
sense.
pick
The
at
guy
all.
is already 20-something years old. Let him play. He's ready to play
Yeah,
now.
that's the thing. You're so right when you say that.
He's
this is a 5 years
old.
senior.
He's
You're
a
not sitting
5-year
him behind
senior.
anybody,
He's
man.
been at
This
Washington
isn't a project pick.
He's been at Washington for 15 years. Put this guy on the field. He's ready to play now. He's not ready to sit behind Kirk Cousins. What are
I
you
think I
doing?
took my freshman classes at UNLV with Michael Penix Jr.
Dallas
Golly.
Dallas Turner should have been the pick there, and I don't like him either.
And I even
Lord
say that's
have-
like you overpick somebody who you know at least is going to be a starter on your team, right? If you're the Falcons.
Yeah, why
Lord
reach
have
for someone
mercy.
who's not going to be your day one starter?
Yeah, at least
Oh,
reach for someone who's going
crazy.
to play for your team next year.
Like,
The
not
pick
only is it a
in.
reach, but like this, you're drafting top 10 and a guy at a position that you just paid a super premium for.
Penix is
don't
24
get
in
that.
2 weeks. It's 24 in 2 weeks. Listen to this. In the weeks
him his
leading up to the
AARP card.
NFL draft, the Chargers received trade inquiries from star quarterback Justin Herbert, and the Minnesota Vikings quickly turned down both requests. So they thought they could do better with J.J. McCarthy than package for Herbert. That's crazy.
I'm interested in what the Chargers would have been asking for in that situation.
That is
3 1s.
yeah, at least
3
Oh,
1s.
dude, if I get called for 3-1s for Justin Herbert, dude,
3 1s.
I'd pick him up
Two-
at the airport.
Yeah, I
2-1.
think that'd be a hard sell for me
Two
not to pick
two
that up.
1s, 3 2s, and a player.
Yeah, like one of your starters.
I wouldn't blink, dude.
Who's LA taking here, Spencer?
Let's
I
see
think
here.
I think they're taking Terry and Arnold.
The Rams pick is in. Terry Arnold, I think, is the safer pick because he's from a bigger school, played big competition. It's
Team
Jared
Mitch-
Verse. Wow.
Wow. Jeez.
I mean,
didn't see that.
I like Jared Verse. He's got a good first step, heavy hands. He's
Aaron
pretty good as a
Donald
run
did
defender, too.
retire.
In
Aaron
fact, when
Donald
you have a
has
lot-
retired.
A lot of these edge guys, when they come out of college, are not good against the run because they like the flashy. They want to get drafted for pass rushing. Jared Verse is actually an end that's pretty good as a run defender. He takes bad angles though, and he's also like not great at shedding. I see calling him Will Anderson Jr. is like I saw the comp on TV there. That's
No.
just bait, man.
I think we're at a
Well-
point in the first round where we'll start to see some of these teams trade back in to kind of pick up some of these defensive
There's
players.
so
'cause
much
now,
talent.
Now we're seeing the
There's
defensive
so-
players start to come.
Dude, World of Matchups called this. We spoke this into existence. I cannot believe we might actually be in the 20s before we see a cornerback, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Terry
They're
on
so,
Arnold.
dude.
They're
Oh my
so-
god, the
dude,
Raiders should
Nate-
trade back up
Nate
in the first round
Wiggins.
so badly.
If the Raiders are smart, they would jump up and get a top cornerback. Dude, the
they can
Eagles
get-
may
oh
get the
my
best.
God,
The
man.
Eagles may get Quinion Mitchell.
I'd be so
The
sick if they
Eagles
did.
at
That'd be
22.
such a typical Philly pick too.
I mean, I don't hate Jared Verse here, but I mean, look, Aaron Donald
I
did
get
just
it.
retire.
I get it. Yeah.
I think with Pittsburgh on the clock here, you can reasonably
Powers
expect them.
Johnson.
I think yes, I think you have your pick of the litter when it comes to the centers, but there's a lot of scuttlebutt going on around them trading up or back into the first, and I do think you can probably see them. It wouldn't be crazy for me to see them trade back into the first round after this pick.
I
pick
think
up
there's a
corner.
lot of teams that have to be naturally interested in trading back into the first round.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll
I
think
think
we'll start
so.
to see a lot of
What about,
movement in the
like,
later.
Green
pick.
Bay, Tampa Bay, Arizona picks again. These guys, I would imagine, are going to receive calls, and I don't think any of them would be too offended. Jacksonville, I think, is kind of crazy for trading back and not taking an offensive
I
lineman.
agree.
I think they're gambling huge here, hoping that Graham Barden or Powers is there.
They're
I don't
both
know
gonna
if they're
be
going to be
gone.
there, dude. That's just nuts to me.
Packers are going to take Barton. I think Powers Johnson might go. Don't sleep here, but I think a ancillary pick here could be Johnny Newton for Pittsburgh.
Interesting.
I mean, you got to understand what you have here when you're thinking about
The Pittsburgh Steelers have the
when you have
pick of the
TJ
team
Watt
is
out there doing it by himself for the most part. You do have some nice pieces, but they're a defensive team. Johnny Newton's
Who's
a top
cornerback
top
number
five.
2 for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
It could have been you or me, brother.
It's Justin Fields.
It's Justin Fields.
If anyone who was not anyone who was opposite Joey Porter Jr. last year was the one getting gashed.
They're
And
gonna
Do
put-
the
they're
Steelers
gonna-
not blink? I know they have a kind of a desperate need at offensive line, but the idea they're in the same place as the Raiders were. Maybe
best
it doesn't
player
fall-
available.
I don't know, man. You
They're
build
not-
the best
they're
defense
here-
in the league.
Here they're gonna pick for need if they're smart and take the center.
I think
if they're
corner
just-
is a big position in need for the Steelers.
That's
though.
why I am.
The
like, I'm
problem
heavily
is,
betting.
but the problem here is that you know and I know if anything happens to TJ Watt, you're getting no pressure on the cornerback now.
It's going to be a lot more difficult, but I
like
still
Newton
really
here
like
for
our
them.
front seven.
I think Johnny Newton would be a good pick here. I think
I
he
don't
would
know.
be a good.
They did
I
just-
had
As a
him going
pass
to the
rusher
Bengals.
guy, you know,
He's
as an
a
undersized
guy that
pass
can
rusher,
get to the
defensive tackle
quarterback
position.
because they're going to double and triple Watt. We know this.
I think you guys
Especially in
are
the
underrating Alex
division.
Highsmith. Honestly, he's a
like
double-digit
Highsmith.
sack guy.
I like Highsmith too. I like them too, but you got to understand these guys are all 1 year older. You know what I mean? These guys are
Right.
getting held. They're getting held. And was your secondary really the problem? Was it really the problem?
I would say
I
would
don't
say,
think
like,
it was.
there was a lack of depth, especially in the front seven, and I think when you have, I think Joey Porter Jr. did once he got into that CB1 role.
He's a
like,
rookie.
He anchored, but he did
He
anchor
was
the
good,
secondary.
man.
but
and he,
Their
he
front
did.
seven.
It took some
had a
while for
lot
him
of
to
injury.
cook. It took
Mhm.
It took a while for him to cook. I wouldn't be mad if he went Johnny Newton here, Terrion Arnold, any of the cornerbacks.
Quinion
let's-
Mitchell,
But
Powers.
you
dude,
need
this is a
your
great
line
position,
needs help, Spencer. We say this all the time, man. You build a team from the inside out.
Yep.
You build a team from the inside out. You don't eat the sandwich with the meat on the outside. You put the meat in.
Before
You
we
need the beef.
truly move on to the Steelers pick here, just looking back on the Rams, that was their first round selection since Jared Goff.
30
Since
years.
Jared Goff. It has been 8 years. Spencer and I were graduating high school the last time the LA Rams
Had a
pick
first-round pick.
in the first round.
And they took Jared Verse. I didn't
Jared
like
versus
it.
Jared Goff.
Cooper DeJean could go here. Cooper
I'm
DeJean
I
could be a
could see
Steeler.
that. I could definitely see him in a Steelers uniform as like a
They're going
Swiss
O-line.
Army knife.
They're going O-line here. I'm sorry.
I do think they are.
I've talked my way
whole-
through it. Yeah, they
My
need
whole
it.
thing is just where are you? What direction are you headed in if you do not go with a center?
You have to have a center, dude. You absolutely, dude. You have to have beef on the line. We talk about it all the time. You build a team from the inside out. I'm going that the pick is in. They're taking offensive linemen. I guarantee it. They have to.
I'm almost certain they are, but
I think it's going to be
'cause
Powers Johnson here.
personally, I think their right side of the line has been solid. I think Broderick Jones and James Daniels have
I think
really
you go inside.
have held
the
that side of the
offensive
line.
Yeah,
down.
they haven't been great since David DeCastro inside. I mean,
Yep.
you got it. I mean,
Yep.
dude, that was a long time ago, man.
That was
You were in
prime
grade
Big Ben
school. Yeah, forget high school, dude. You guys were in grade school. I mean, you got to have, I don't know. You got to have it here. Give it to me.
I liked
Run
Broderick
game.
Jones for them last year too.
That was
man.
a
I
great
think the
pick
Steelers-
last year. That was a great pick.
And I was shocked because he was kind of very like a natural left tackle.
He went
and
and fit right
didn't
in.
didn't really find playing time outside of the right side of the ball. So,
Come
good on him
on.
for still being effective and
Yeah.
having to switch sides. But
There's
I
so
tell ya,
many good players available.
is this
My
pick
goodness.
maybe this is a pick that allows Broderick Jones to move back to the left side of the ball?
There is so many good players. They just flash best available players. They're like 10, 15 players, Spencer.
my gosh.
All of these are insane first-round
Kool-Aid
players.
Mystery, Nate
These are-
Wiggins.
Adonai Mitchell, Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, like, my goodness, the wide receivers haven't even gone on a run yet, bro. And there's like 30 of them.
Tyler Guyton, I like.
Tyler
Barton, I
Guyton.
like. Chop Robinson.
Chop
be
Robinson.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention before this pick gets announced that the last time Spencer and I had a draft experience, I got to bear witness to the Kenny Pickett pick. And I do
Oh.
feel pretty vindicated for my reaction to that pick. I did fall to
It
my
was kind of
knees.
defeating.
I did fall to my knees.
Kenny Pickett
you got to see that
stinks.
live.
They took Kenny Pickett because he went to Pitt. No
It
other
was
reason.
awful. It was
No
a Kevin
other
Colbert
reason.
retirement gift.
That was a freaking horrendous pick.
Someone
That
from the
might be
Steelers won the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Who was
Yeah,
might
it's,
be the
Cam Hayward.
Cam Hayward.
Oh,
yeah.
he did.
It might be the worst pick they've ever made. That was a horrendous pick. Dude, Kenny Pickett stinks. He sucks,
does.
bro. He's horrible. He's a career backup at that.
I'm glad that they cut. Like
I
cut
have
guys
more faith in
before it
Zach
got-
Wilson going
I
to
think that
Denver and
speaks a
being good
lot.
than Kenny Pickett ever being good in Philly.
Let's
Let's see
see.
here. This is it. The Steelers have selected. He's got his little speech going
Okay,
here.
we're gonna cut the promo real quick.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix are going to be Cap Rooney and Willie Beeman next year. That's what my buddy just sent me. That's exactly
On each
what it's
other's
going to
throats.
be.
I feel like
Alright,
someone's going to
Cam.
come out with a chair and hit him. This feels like watching this on mute. I feel like I'm watching a WWE segment, like an hour, like the French.
They gave Cam cue cards and everything, man. Like we want to know who this
Dude.
pick is.
My goodness. I don't need a speech. Pick the guy already.
Troy Fatano. Yeah. Wow. So it's even surprising to see the guys here. That's a great pick for the Steelers.
That's a great pick, man.
Troy
You,
He's
ever,
a-
you see
um,
Michael Penix Jr. on
From
the ground once
Washington.
in the entire last season?
Michael Penix has only been sacked like 32 times in his entire career. How this guy got hurt so much is beyond me because the lines that he has played behind are all world. I had
That looks like
Fatano
the
going,
most Steelers offensive lineman I've ever seen in my entire life.
he's going to be great for them, dude.
I don't hate that at all.
He's going to be great for them.
Wow.
Dude, these Samoan dudes, these Hawaiian dudes, man, that's what they
We
do.
got two Samoans on the
That's
offensive
what
line
they
now. That's
do, bro.
some real Samoan beef there.
They are the beef. They protect the quarterback, dude. That's what they do. This is a great pick for. This is
Physical,
look,
great lateral ability.
this is a smart pick for Pittsburgh because you are filling a need of weakness. 6'3", 317, versatile, explosive.
Ah, he's a
I think
Vegas
this does
boy.
give them the. I think this gives them the versatility to put Broderick Jones at the left tackle.
Not
That
only
was kind
that-
of like a sleeper for me, where I was just like, I think Broderick Jones is best served on the left
Yep,
side.
on
He
the left
believes that he's
side.
best served on the left side.
He's a left
And I think
tackle.
Fatanu slips over to the right tackle.
And not only
easily.
that, man, your run game is what you do. You guys run the ball
And
30
it's been a
times game.
struggle. It's
And
been a struggle to
it's
get.
been rough, man.
It's
You
been a
guys
struggle
run the
to reach those
ball.
1,000-yard threshold.
You're the only team in the NFL that will run the ball down 30 points. Like,
Yep.
you're going to run the ball. You know what I mean? You might as well put the pieces in place to let you run the ball. This is a good pick for you.
And it's a good. I think this kind of like about what this says as far as like how they view the roster that they have. Big litmus test for Najee Harris this year. On
He needs to
didn't get
bounce
his
back
fifth year.
here.
Didn't get his 5th-year option picked up.
Yeah.
He's kind of
This
playing.
is
for,
this
he's
is a
kind of
career. He's
his
playing for a
career right now.
contract.
Yep.
And Jalen Warren was breathing down his neck. I mean,
Yeah, I
they
think
started
they-
Warren a couple times.
Acknowledge the
Oh,
Samoan.
I always acknowledge this, bro. Come on, bro. I acknowledge anybody who comes from a place, man. They get much props, man. The Samoan bloodline in the NFL runs deep, and I love this pick for Pittsburgh. Absolutely.
All right.
All right, man. Thanks, Kevin, for jumping on, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Good luck, Kev.
Yep. We'll catch you later. Wow.
That's a nice pick. We're having a nice,
I'm-
nice draft so far. So we still
God,
got tons of beef here,
There's
Spencer.
so much talent.
There's so
left in the
much talent.
draft, man. This is I feel like we have been at least me, like we've been studying the NFL draft for like pretty deeply, like for like 2 years now. I feel like I've never like once we've gotten to this position in the draft, like
To have this much talent.
I'm like these guys are starter. Like these are guys who these
My
guys
team
have
is
my
going to
seal of
get.
approval
My
to
team's
play,
going
like,
to
6
get a
productive
blue chip
seasons.
player. The Chiefs are going to get a blue chip player at 32.
They're going to have their pick of the litter. Like there's too many. Like there's not
It's
enough.
so
picks left
exciting.
for these guys. you know?
Normally, I'm like, well, we'll just get whatever's left. It's no biggie, you know. We're the Super Bowl
Philly's going to get
champions.
Quinion Mitchell. He's going to
Philly's going to get Q Mitch. They're
I
going to
think the
get Q
Dolphins go
Mitch.
Newton here. Their defense stinks. I mean, they haven't done anything.
Well,
for a
I
long
thought they
time,
were going to
you know?
get Brian Murphy. That's who I had them penciled in to get, and he's gone. So Johnny Newton fits. I mean, their defense was riddled against Kansas City. They've
I
lost
don't think
a lot
Philly
of guys.
goes like Chop Robinson because I feel like they've invested a lot in their
They
pass rush
need
in the
no.
last
They're
couple of
court,
years.
bro. Let's remember weeks 10 through week 16. They couldn't catch. They couldn't stop anyone. I
They
made
were
so
Swiss
much,
cheese,
bro.
man.
I've never been more right about anything in my life. I call that right down the middle all year. Their secondary was absolutely abysmal. They have to take. They have to take 2 D-backs in this draft, not 1, 2. And
And
they're
I think
going to
they
have the
can
pick
get
of the
some, man.
litter, man. They're going to get whoever they want here. So I'm trying to
Whitney
get my
Mitchell
buddy
has been sick to
Alex
his
up.
stomach.
He's a Eagles fan. See if we can get him on here. I'm trying to get some of these other knuckleheads in here. The true degenerates only talk football when their team is up, but you and I really talk it no matter what. That's what makes World of Matchups so great.
Wow. If Jacksonville gets Graham Barton, they lucked out, man.
Powers
I feel that
Johnson,
way.
you know what I mean?
They lucked out
Barton,
straight
they
up.
traded, and they're still going to get the guy that they probably wanted.
I bet you they
honestly.
probably wanted one of those
They
guys.
probably
I think
wanted
you're
one of those
100%
guys.
Right about that.
You know what I mean? So they played it smart. They're the anti-Vikings here. They gave up a spot and really lost nothing. You know what I mean?
We had a lot of wide receivers heavy in the first, but it's crazy to see like a lot of these guys, they're gonna fall. I mean, Adonai Mitchell is still up
Yeah.
there, obviously.
Big
You got
Daddy
Brian
says that the
Thomas
Ravens are going to
Jr.
get Lamar, a good wide receiver.
I like a lot of these guys who are
Xavier
Lad
Worthy, Brian
McConkey.
Thomas Jr., Adonai Mitchell, Lad McConkey, Xavier Legette, any of these guys, man, they're all good. Troy Franklin.
wow. This is just proof that the second round is going to be so fire.
The second
Like,
round
there's-
is going to be as good as the first round. I may
man,
actually really invest in the second round. Normally I don't. I just kind of see who my guys get, my team got. The second round's going to be lit. And the Raiders, the
the Raiders
are
are in position to steal something, man.
They're going to steal something good, man. The Raiders are going to have a nice draft. That's a nice pick. I really like what you guys have done so far. So far, the winner of the draft, honestly, to me, is the Bears. I mean,
It's
when
the Bears.
when you can get Caleb and then double down and get Rome.
I may have gone Fashanu if I was them. I understand the desire to get a wide receiver, but I think you can go through the year. Like, there's going to be wide receivers next year in the draft, right? Like,
Yeah, maybe. Not. I mean, Rome is good.
I feel like you
man.
don't trade for Keenan Allen. I mean, obviously, you don't know if Rome Odunze is going to be there. Maybe they felt
Here's the
pressure to
thing.
take Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen
but
always gets hurt and he's 32. You know what I mean? The heir apparent to that guy has to be on your team, I think. Now, maybe they messed up and didn't take a lineman because I'm telling you right now, we haven't even seen any wide receivers go. I can name 15 wide receivers right now that I would take on the Chiefs.
That's
15.
another thing I'm thinking for the Bears too, is that they could have
They could have
definitely
waited.
gotten someone in the second
Or
round, right?
they only have 4 picks, if I'm correct. I think they only have 4 picks. Corey, if you're watching, chime in. How many picks you guys have? I'm not sure. I think it's only 4. So I'm not sure if they have that much wiggle room to work with. I mean, the de facto right pick there is Rome Odunze, man. I mean, he is so good.
It's
He's
not
so
wrong,
good.
right? Like you can't.
Oh,
There's nothing you
no.
can say.
Him and
against
Caleb
it.
already hanging out. You know what I mean? Like, that's a match made in heaven, man. So this is going to be
I wonder
really
what you
interesting to see.
think in fantasy, dude. I'm thinking, like, what do you do for the Bears? Like, you just take Caleb Williams? Is that like how do you?
I
even, like,
have
just-
in a dynasty league this year. I have the number 1 overall pick because I had a really bad year, and I think that you have to just take Caleb. The Bears line isn't as bad as people think. Yeah, Corey, you're correct, and they have 4 picks. They
That's
have
true.
75
I mean,
and
thinking
they
back,
have 75
can't-
and 122.
Oh wow, the Dolphins take Chop Robinson. I think.
Yeah,
that's a
they see
steal,
now. There you
man.
go. There you go. Dude, Chop Robinson's a monster, bro. We both like Chop Robinson.
Man, this is my favorite.
This is one of my favorite players in the
Yeah.
entire
He's a
draft.
little raw. Doesn't have the
Dude.
stats necessarily.
You can
This
cook him.
guy has
You can cook
things
him.
you can't teach a player.
Bro,
He's got
I'm going
the
to
most
go
elite
as
spend
far
in this
as
draft.
saying that he can be every bit as good as Wilkins. I will go that far. Right now, I will stand on that 10 toes down. He can be just as good as Wilkins. I'm telling you, the Miami Dolphins did not miss a beat here. I was waiting for Chop Robinson to go, and I knew wherever he went, he was going to go to a good player. Penn State grows pros. This is a good pick for them. That is a
really good
defensive
pick.
starved team. When they played the Chiefs, they were a mess. Van Ginkel was hurt. Everyone was hurt. They were a mess. Tyreek Hill has to be happier today than he was yesterday. You got somebody to help you on your defense here. Chop Robinson can get after it. This kid gets after it, man. 6'2", 254. Yes, he is raw, but he is explosive. And he is coming from a situation where he's not getting the production. He had limited production, but look, he's going to be asked to play a lot of snaps now in Miami. He's going to have to play a lot of snaps. And I think he's the type of guy that we talk about all the time, man. Yeah, he's raw. Yeah, he's explosive. But yeah, he needs to be coached up. They put him in the incubator, coach him up, teach him up. All of a sudden, like, boom, this kid's going to burst onto the scene. He's going to be a good player, man. I love this. This is one of my favorite picks in this draft. Miami Dolphins, you got yourself a
the
baller.
Vikings did to trade up to get Dallas Turner versus the Miami Dolphins sitting there and taking Chop Robinson.
Just Chop Robinson, I take Chop Robinson over Dallas Turner in a heartbeat.
Him and Bradley Chubb, that's such a great duo, man. I think they nailed this pick.
Bro, I love it. What does this say about Johnny Newton that no one wants him?
He's undersized, and I think that's why. I think that's what the thing is, man.
I mean, 10 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, all in limited production. This is a good pick.
Rush specialist he's basically a defensive end who was converted to defensive tackle. I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's just a smaller guy, and you're not going to play him in there for run defense. You can't play him every snap, at least in my opinion.
It's crazy.
He's going to get pushed up front. But I think Newton's going to fall to the second. I told you I thought Newton was a second-round pick, and it's looking like the way that it's falling here in the draft. I mean, Jacksonville's going offensive line. Dallas is probably going offensive line. Green Bay, I don't know. I don't think any of these teams are looking at defensive tackle like the number one need. I think you're going to see a lot of wide receivers get taken here later. I could see Dallas going Brian Thomas Jr. I'd like to see that pick come
many
true.
wide receivers. Oh my God, Spencer, the Chiefs are going to have the pick of the litter. My goodness, this is unreal. The Ravens, the Bills, they're all get Brian Thomas Jr. still being available right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. Dan DeMann from Long Island is backstage again. We're going to bring him back. I always loved having Danny on because he brings the heat.
Whoop, whoop.
All right, it's been a couple picks since we had you on. What stands out the most to you since we let you go, bro?
I mean, it's been a little bit crazy out here. I was shocked Jacksonville traded. Like
they might still get a good player,
and
though,
they
man.
still might get what they wanted. Minnesota trading up for that pick was a shock.
So dumb, dumb, dude.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, I don't understand. You gave up all that to go up and get a player that would have probably been there. Meanwhile, Chop Robinson falls in the lap of the Miami Dolphins, and they didn't have to go anywhere.
Bro, I love that pick. You guys were talking about it. I love that pick from Miami.
Chop Robinson is an absolute monster, bro. I love Chop Robinson. I love Chop Robinson. Up next, the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. To me, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that they are stealing Quinyon Mitchell or Terrion Arnold here. All last year, from week 10 on, my crystal ball, you could see through it because every single week I said they're going to go at that secondary. Debo called y'all out, and it was well known that you had no backbone. Nick Sirianni did absolutely nothing to address those problems in that secondary, and they got torched by Debo. Then they lose to Drew Lock in Seattle. Then the Giants went in on them. They felt themselves so much after beating Kansas City, but then went on to get exposed. And if MVS ever caught that ball, they would have lost that game too. The Philadelphia Eagles were absolutely fraudulent, and then you saw them finally finish it off by getting their freaking rocks crushed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs. I smell that from a mile away. They are going to address this pick with cornerback. I would bet my life.
They have
my life. The fact that this player is still sitting here is a felony.
Yeah,
a felony.
Are we acting like it's not a passing league anymore? Like what happened?
Quinyon Mitchell was a projected top 10 player, and he is now a Philadelphia Eagle.
It's a great pick.
That's one of my favorite. Dude, that's one of my favorite picks the whole draft. He's my number one cornerback coming off the board, and they just got him at what pick? 22?
22.
That is disgraceful. And didn't give up nothing. Dude, the Philadelphia Eagles, man, they just have a knack of this happening to them every single year. Guys just falling in their laps. They just have The guys just fall in their lap. Like, how is this possible, man? How is this possible? Cue Mitch to the Eagles, Spencer.
Oh, it's so sick, man. We called it. We see
sick.
it.
You love to see it, man. And I'm no Eagle fan, but Howie Roseman in my mind is probably
For some
the
reason,
best
man, it's
GM in the
He is
league.
there, dude. They just
He gets
fall
what
into
he
place.
wants, man. Only Brett Veach, I think, is better. And it's arguable. It's arguable. You know what I mean? They
Wow.
just get what they need. They never give anything up
That
to
is
get
such
it.
a good pick, man. That's so crazy.
Now the only thing I have issues with is the way the kid went to school, man. Toledo's competition's not just not blowing the doors off anybody. But when you can have a running back playing cornerback who's physical, not scared to tackle, can go up and get them with the best of them, and he is a need player. You get Gardner Johnson back from Detroit. Love it. Now you add Q Mitch. Love it. Slay and Bradbury can slowly fade into obscurity because at this point, they're just names. Slay is 33. It wouldn't be surprising to me if they release him at some point. And Bradbury, to me, was never good. Q Mitch has a knack for the end zone and smells the ball when it's in the air. This is a fabulous pick by the Eagles. This might be my third favorite pick today. My first favorite pick was Brock Bowers. Chop Robinson to Miami is my second, and this is my third. Great pick.
Great pick.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Fly, Eagles, fly. What a great
Too
pick.
bad
My
Alex is
goodness.
sleeping. He didn't get it to come on to talk about it.
Shout out Alex at AG Magic. You got the kid, you got the wife. You know what I mean? You wife. I got no kids. You got no kids. We're good. You know what I mean? Like, wife is upstairs. She's all right. She understands. You know what I mean? This is what we do. It's once a year. She'll be fine. You know what I mean? No screaming 3-year-old. No screaming 3-year-old in my face. Spencer ain't married yet and got no kids either, so we're still good here. World of matches. But yeah, man, that is a great pick.
And I think
here
you're
we
going to see
come.
a lot
Who
of their
is
guys
up
from
next?
last year. It's
got
like step up
Jacksonville
to
yet?
the. Jacksonville is going to get their pick of an offensive lineman. They're smart, man. I
You
have
got
to give them
Jax.
credit for what they just did for
Jacksonville.
trading.
Very,
back
very
and,
nice move here. Very nice chess move. They're
the
still
guy
going
who
to get the
want's
guy
on
they
board.
want.
Guaranteed, man.
Johnny
Guaranteed.
Newton,
Whether or
Powers
not that-
Johnson. There's plenty of players left. You know what I mean? There's so
Graham
much talent.
Barton.
It's insane how much talent there is on the board. Graham
Tyler
Barton.
Guyton.
I mean, who do you want? Guyton? I think Guyton's going to Dallas. Shout out my,
I think
my boy
Guyton's going
Scotty,
to
the
Dallas.
elder
You can write
statesman.
that one down.
I think Brian Thomas
I
Jr.
think
is
so,
to go
too.
to Dallas. I still think so. I
I-
don't think they. I mean,
I
they
think
probably
Brian
should go
Thomas Jr.
offensive
is going
line,
to
but
Buffalo. Brian Thomas.
I know
Jr. is
that's
gonna
where
go
I know that's who
Watch.
Buffalo wants. That's for sure. That I feel pretty confident in.
I want the Kansas City Chiefs to trade up, and I don't care what it costs for them to do so, and select Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU. And I'm screaming because maybe the football gods will listen to me right now. I
could see
need
Adonai
a
Mitchell
big
going
body
to
receiver.
Kansas City.
Brett Veach, don't make me get on the red eye. Brett Veach, I can find out where you live, bro. Brian Thomas Jr., stop playing with me. Adonai Mitchell, stop playing with me. I don't want any more smaller receivers. Y'all can keep Xavier Worthy. I don't want him. The guy's 165 pounds, soaking wet. I have 60 pounds on Xavier Worthy. Stop. One lick and that guy's dead. Next.
Man, I will be
Quinyon Mitchell.
I'm taking a look at the second round. I'll be watching it almost more intensely than I am the first round.
Second
That's
round's going to be sick because there's so much talent, bro. It's almost like this year, Danny, there's 2 first rounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen anything
Especially
like
on
this.
the defensive side.
There's 2 first rounds this year.
T'Vondre Sweat,
There's
man. That guy's such a
There's
monster.
so much talent still left,
so much
bro.
I'm looking at right now.
Kamari, the cornerback position is so stacked. The Raiders may
Oh
luck
my
out here.
goodness. Graham Barton, Tyler Guyton, Nate Wiggins, Terrion Arnold, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Brian Thomas, Darius Robinson.
Man, I think Kool-Aid McKinstry's really good too.
Kool-Aid McKinstry's going to Tampa. Watch.
I
Yeah.
think
He's going to
I
Tampa.
could see Terry and Arnold going to Tampa. I'm pretty
to
sure
Tampa.
Terry and Arnold goes first.
Tampa. Dude, Kool-Aid and Tampa are a match made in heaven.
Yeah, Tampa
One of
needs
the-
a secondary player desperately.
Tampa D!
I bet you
Tampa
their
D
draft
will be-
room was
D.
thought Nate Wiggins would be their
Tampa
best
D.
option when they were drafting, and they're going to be like very pleased. to
I
learn
never
about this.
imagined in a million years that the Philadelphia Eagles would land Q Mitch here.
No
I
way,
never.
man.
I thought they were going to have to settle for Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins may be a second-round player today. That's how much talent is left, bro. That's how much talent is left. It's insane. And there's still linemen. That's the thing, Spencer. There's still so many linemen.
I wonder what the over/under on how many linemen would be taken in the first round is.
They're
think it was like
smashing it.
6.5.
Oh, that over is going to smash.
It's either 6 or 7.5. I don't remember the
Dude,
number. I
I
wanted
blame-
to take
dude.
the QB over, but and that
I
that
blame this. I
demolished.
blame this. I blame everything that's happening right now on the Jets.
There you go.
This is the Jets' fault. This is the Jets' fault. If the Jets
changed the whole
take
trajectory.
Brock Bowers, if the
Yeah,
Jets
it
take
changes
Brock Bowers,
everything.
if the Jets take Brock Bowers like they were supposed to, because I've been looking on Facebook in the interim, and Jet fans are not happy.
Jet fans, Jet fans are not happy.
The Jet fans
They're
are
never
not happy.
happy.
Okay, so if
they're-
they take
they're not New York.
Brock Bowers, that offensive lineman just falls down, and then all of a sudden the proper pieces go where they need to. Terrion Arnold is a Raider. You know what I mean? Like, but no, instead, we have a team like the Philadelphia Eagles who could easily go back to the Super Bowl. Let's not cap about this. Yes, they had a bad year, but they retool and reload like the National Guard. We
Saquon
know
Barkley's
this.
gonna have a year. Bro.
He's gonna eat.
He's gonna eat.
You know who's gonna eat this year? Because he knows it's now or never. Your quarterback, Jalen Hurts, is gonna go crazy.
He has to.
He has to. This is it. Dude, the time frame you get
Oh,
to
that's so
produce
lame.
a ring in other markets is half in Philadelphia. They threw batteries at Santa Claus. They will trip your mom on the curb. You have to put up. You have to put, and they paid him a boatload of money. Now Kelsey's gone. But I think they're still going to address that here. I think they're going to be just fine. I think Jalen Hurts. That tush push doesn't get banned either. He's going to go bananas. You watch.
He's going to have
I
to be
think
better, though. I think that's the reality. with
Saquon
Jalen
makes him
Hurts.
better.
Saquon makes him better.
Saquon makes him better.
And they looked like a way better team when they were running the ball more often than passing the ball last year.
Pick
could
is in for
decide- they had-
Jacksonville.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Wow.
Crying right
Wow.
now.
Christian Kirk on one side, Brian Thomas Jr. on the other side. Tight end, solid tight end in the middle. Oh, man. What a way to replace Calvin Ridley.
So we got to talk about this. Trevor Lawrence got to step up now.
Bro,
This
I went
is
in on Trevor Lawrence. And I'm going to do it again right now. Trevor Lawrence, if you're listening, your mom, I don't care who sees this, they better show it to you. This is your last year, son. You were the great white hope. People were comparing you to Peyton Manning. You can't give me 25 touchdowns? Stop. Brian Thomas Jr. is an absolute monster. And it's the perfect replacement for Calvin Ridley here, Danny. Perfect.
Great
I never thought they would take this guy, Spencer. This is a good pick for them, man.
This is
I
smart.
like this. So smart. Can go get it. You do have a more than
They haven't
capable
had a
quarterback
playmaker in a long time. You know,
in
what I
a
mean?
while, man. Christian Kirk is good. He's just a chain mover. He's not a breakaway
Yeah.
speed guy.
I think it's good.
Brian
You got to mix up now.
Now you have to defend the whole field again. Calvin Ridley letting them go, let Tennessee give him millions of dollars. That was a great move. What a perfect pairing here to give Trevor Lawrence right now has to be thrilled. He has to be thrilled. You know what I mean? And you still have Etienne. You have dude. That offense is in business now. They're open for business.
Yeah.
And their defense is always solid.
Yeah.
They still got Josh Allen. How many picks do the Jacksonville Jaguars have? They're a team here that can make some hay in this draft, man. Because let me tell you something. I didn't see this coming at all. I thought for sure they were going to let this guy fall to Buffalo. So now Buffalo's got to pivot. They're going to probably take Adonai Mitchell. I love this pick. 24 total touchdowns. LSU grows pros. 6'2", 209, silky smooth. Knows how to get the ball, track the ball in the air. You know what I mean? He is
They have
Amari
every
Cooper,
pick. They have 2 fourth
DK
rounders, too.
Metcalf. If those guys had a baby, it'd be Brian Thomas. Man, I love this pick. I love this. Can go up and get it. 50-50 balls.
This division's making moves, man. That's one thing for sure that has become very apparent in this draft. That's like sticking out to me. The Tennessee Titans, the Jaguars, they're going for it. They got Gabe Davis too. That didn't even
Gabe
occur.
Davis, Christian Kirk,
Man, they got a
Brian
good deep
Thomas.
threats now.
You know what they're doing, man? They're making sure Shad Khan is doing this right. They're making sure that their quarterback has no excuses.
They will have no question. You're right. They will have no question after this year whether or not they have
No
their
excuses.
quarterback of the future.
Who's their tight end? What's his name again?
Ingram.
Who's on the Giants?
Evan Ingram.
So now
from,
Evan Ingram was a bum with New York. Goes to South Florida
everybody is.
and turns into a stud. You have all the help you could ask for. I don't want to hear another word, Trevor Lawrence. If you don't throw 30 touchdowns this year and less than 10 picks, you're a bust.
Facts.
You're a bust, and you need to run for another 5-6 scores.
They need
too.
to win that division.
Thank
It's
you.
him versus Will Levis, if you ask me.
And if you can't beat Will Levis, you've been in this league for a while now, son. And I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, with the dummy coach you had for a year, and they kind of ruined you. But you have never had a player. Brian Thomas Jr. to me is better than Calvin Ridley. He's better already. So you want to go let Calvin Ridley go to Tennessee for $70,000 trillion million? That's a win. And then you trade back and you still get a player of this caliber. Jacksonville you just scored some points in my book. Well
They're
done,
smart, though.
Jacksonville.
I would be shocked if in these last picks in this first round you don't see a trade up from somebody.
Has
Well
to.
Feels like
done.
there's too many guys out there. Like
Kansas City. The thing is I know for a fact that Kansas City is trying to move up because Brett Veach had a presser
Carolina is insane
and said that he's
for not
trying to
trading
he's
up
trying to
take
move
Brian
up here.
Thomas.
The thing is that nobody wants to help Kansas City.
No,
No.
No one's helping Kansas City. Kansas City has picks. They got 6 or 7
they probably
picks.
ignore that phone call when they see.
They don't even,
Colin.
dude. No one's even
Like
taking
AC
Brett Veach's calls, dude. Just it goes to voicemail, bro. Nobody is helping Kansas City, and so they'll have to stamp pat at 32. But they're still getting a baller. They're still getting a baller, dude. You know what I mean? It's just not going to be the baller that they want right now. With what's left on the board, with my first pick, I want Adonai Mitchell. I want Adonai Mitchell, or I want the best offensive lineman left. I like
There's
the
gonna
OT.
be an offensive
I like the
lineman.
OT from BYU. He's kind of raw. You know what I mean? But there's players. Graham Barton's still on the board. Powers Johnson's still on the board.
That's sick.
These guys are going to push wide receivers down. Let me tell you something. This is a smart pick by Jacksonville. My goodness. I'm looking at him right now. Brian Thomas is just bobbing and weaving, bro. He's like if Apollo Creed was a freaking wide receiver. That's what this guy is, dude. Big.
He got a little
strong,
overshadowed too, you know.
Moxie. Yeah, because Malik Neighbors is
Reminds me
such
of
a
Justin-
monster.
He's not as good as
Well-
Justin Jefferson, but it reminds me of it because they had Jamar Chase there, and Justin Jefferson was kind of an afterthought. You know, even though they both had incredible seasons, one of the guys gets pushed back because they just literally couldn't produce enough because the other guy was like an all-pro.
Every touchdown catch, he's jumping over someone here.
Yeah.
Every single one.
And that feels like Jacksonville's problem.
Don't sleep on his speed. It's crazy. Here comes Dallas. I think they take Tyler Guyton.
Guy has to
They
be
just
Guy.
lost their left tackle. Guyton's a guy. You know what I mean? Like, Guyton has to be the guy here.
Has to be.
I'd be shocked if they don't get him.
There's a
I mean,
trade.
the one thing.
There has been a trade.
What?
Detroit has traded into Dallas' spot at the number 24 position.
What? Dallas traded out? Oh,
They're having the worst
goodness.
offseason, man.
What a
They're having a
horrible.
crazy offseason.
Scotty,
They go
please
Arnold
come on
this
here.
spring?
Scotty, please come on here and tell me what the Dallas Cowboys are doing. They really traded out that pick to
Hey,
Detroit.
I heard they were talking to Ezekiel Elliott's camp, so everything kind of worked.
Zeke's on his way back.
Yeah, they're
this is
saved.
unbelievable to me. You don't have a left tackle. Oh my God. Okay, so Spencer, I'm Detroit here. Who am I taking?
Who do they trade up for?
Arnold?
They need
Terrion Arnold?
Ooh, Terrion Arnold. Oh my goodness.
They lost what's his name? He went back to the Eagles, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Yeah.
They need a corner.
Terrion Arnold. They haven't had a corner since Jeff Okuda.
He's someone who I would trade up for. I will say
Brian
that.
Branch and Terrion Arnold. Ooh, get at me, boy. That is the pick. Watch it happen here, Danny. It's definitely a defensive player.
Has to
It's
be.
def-
It has to be a defensive player.
Darius Robinson, you're gonna pair him on the line with that beast of a guy they got there. Scotty just texted me. I'm about to be a Texans fan. Dallas fans crying in the car. Ooh, Adonai Mitchell, maybe?
No,
Mitchell
that would be
to-
the most Lions move ever, where they like take a position they don't need.
No, well, they
Oh,
do
they
kind
traded
of
for
need
Carlo-
it. They do kind of need it.
They
They
traded
lost
for
Josh
Carlton
Reynolds.
Davis.
Amon-Ra St. Brown and Adonai Mitchell is a Super Bowl winning combination right there.
You know what?
They got
have had
Terrion Arnold.
problems
They
with
got
secondary.
Arnold. Oh, my
Yeah.
God. What a pick.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
a boss move.
That is
What a
great
boss
pick.
move. So they got the 24th and a 25 7th, and they gave up the 29th.
That's so the Cowboys are in shambles, man. They're
Shambles. What
so
a
gross.
great pick. What a great pick for them.
I love that pick for Detroit. Love it.
Dude, I love that pick for Detroit. My goodness, dude. What a great pick for them. Terrion
Wow.
Arnold in that backfield. Like I said, they haven't had a guy back there since Jeff Okuda, and he was a
I-
bum. You know what I mean? So you get him, you got Brian Branch. Your backfield is now looking really solid. Guys aren't really going to be as scared to throw on you as they have been willing to do in the past. This is a team that is getting, dude, they want to go to the Super Bowl. You know, it's the type of thing where you watch a team slowly take that progression. They go from 3 wins, they get a quarterback. It takes a while for them to get warm. Then 7 wins. Then all of a sudden they're like 9-7. They miss the playoffs. Then they make it into the playoffs, and all of a sudden they're in a game where they have no real business being in the game. But they've beaten some quality teams all year long, and then they lose the game. And in that offseason, they all get in the war room, and they're like, this will never happen again. That is what the Detroit Lions are. And that pick in Detroit with those fans right now, look at their fans right now, bro. Their fans are going bananas, bro. They're going nuts right now because they know, man, they got a steal of a player. Terrion Arnold at pick 24 is a felony. Someone should be arrested. That is unreal. How is that guy available? How? He should have been a Raider. He should have been a Raider.
I still think the Raiders can get Nate Wiggins in the second round and be happy
Yeah,
with
and
it.
they will, and you know what, and that'll be a good pick for them. He's just
That's
smaller.
a big jump up for the Raiders, you know.
It's just
if they
smaller.
were to go all the way up.
Yeah,
this
but you know
far.
what? The Raiders didn't have to. They won't have to go up. They could have had him at
Yeah.
13, is what I'm saying, if they didn't take Bowers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what a
It
what
was the
great
right
pick.
choice, and they got
I
Nick
love-
Robinson in the offseason too.
Yep.
The Lions have had a very good offseason.
Lions have had a nice offseason. I like what they've done. Today they signed Penei Sewell. Yesterday they signed Amon-Ra St. Brown. They did this right. They're like, you know what? This is in our city. We are making splashes. We are paying our players. We are moving up and getting guys. We know that we were one Dan Campbell mistake away from going to the Super Bowl, and we beat the Chiefs week 1 in Kansas City. We could have won that game. We basically let a Super Bowl slip through our hands, and we will never let it happen again. They are going to win this division. The Detroit Lions are no longer sneaking up on anybody. They are no longer the hunter. They are being hunted, and they are going after people, and they are purposefully not giving Jared Goff a contract. They are not extending Goff on purpose. They want him to be mad as hell.
That's true. Yeah, they do.
They want
They're
him
paying
to be.
everybody around him.
They are paying everyone except Goff.
That's
They're
a
like,
good
nah.
point.
They're like, we're not paying you, bro. Sorry. We want to see you do it again and again and again.
I remember they really limited Gibbs' use last year.
They are going to let him go bananas.
They're gonna let him go ham this year, bro.
Folks, you can call me crazy. Like I said earlier in the show, I don't know a lot about a lot of things in this world. I don't know stocks and bonds. I don't even own my own house. You know what I mean? Jahmyr Gibbs is the best running back in the National Football League. Write it down. Write it down. It is 8 o'clock PST, April 25th. So when he blows up and goes ham, I don't want you guys being like, well, World of Matchups wasn't on this. No, Jahmyr Gibbs is silky smooth. He's like a pimp playing running back. He gets the ball and just glides through the defense. If they ever gave him David Montgomery's touches, He could be
and
like
remember,
freaking LaDainian Tomlinson out there. He could be so good.
bro, you got Jamison Williams, Amron St. Brown, Sam Laporta, stretching the field
Jahmyr Gibbs.
all over the place.
There's
How
holes
many
everywhere.
leads is he gonna have?
Just make mandatory Montgomery the goal line back and give all the other touches to Jahmyr Gibbs, dude. He was 100 yards every game with 4 catches. Write it down, son. Write it down in Sharpie. I'm telling you right now, folks, my pick out of the NFC to go back to the Super Bowl is the Detroit Lions. I'm stamping it right now because Spencer will tell you this too. I've been on them. I'm a day one Lions.
You've been on them.
Since early last season.
Day one. I still don't think I've gotten the full compliment of flowers for calling that 4 years ago, because I see how guys like Dan Campbell are. These former players listen to those guys because they can relate. His X's and O's in his head may not always be there because he's going for it on 4th and 40 from his 4-yard line. But there's no doubt these guys play hard for him. They're hosting the draft. They've beat some good teams last year. Beating Kansas City, and Kansas City is a great win. I don't care Travis Kelce and Chris Jones weren't there. I don't care. I don't care. That is a quality win. Dropping the banner, that ruined my cruise. That is a great win. They beat some really good teams this year, man. And I think they got a gift versus Tampa. Versus the Rams, because that was holding on Puka, but that's a whole nother story. Dude, you see it happening now that the league wants the Lions. They want the Lions.
It's a good story.
They want the Lions, bro. They've been so bad for so long. It's Eminem. It's a great story. You watch. I give the Lions no worse than the NFC Championship game. Now you add Terry and Arnold, great production, athleticism, not scared to go after the ball or tackle.
Yeah, that's what I like about him too.
At pick 24. I think I'm going to be sick.
The Eagles getting Quinion Mitchell is also pretty sick there.
It's just upsetting. But this is a boss move. This is a boss move. This is a move that tells me you fans who are here are getting treated. You know what I mean? You're not only getting dinner, you're
He's on the
getting
mic.
dessert.
He's cutting a promo.
You're getting dinner and dessert. You know what I mean? We're paying players. We're moving up. We're going for this shit. We're pushing all our chips to the middle. Seriously, one of the best things that could have happened to the Detroit Lions was losing to the San Francisco 49ers after being up 17. You come back with a hunger that nobody else will understand. And now they're not going to pay Goff. That's like letting a guy not jerk off. You know how mad he's going to be? You know how much he's going to want to prove everyone wrong? And people still doubt Goff. You know this to be true. People still don't give Goff his flowers. I think Goff is a top 10 quarterback. I love Jared Goff. Guy's been to a Super Bowl. He's the number 1 pick. You're not these things because you suck. If they get another wide receiver in this draft, let them get Jalen Polk. Oh my stars! Stop. I might not be able to finish this production with you guys. I
got Green Bay's on the clock now. I feel like Cooper DeJean is like already wearing
Graham Barton.
Graham
Barton
could also be one. They need an interior line.
Graham Barton being available right now is a misdemeanor. Someone should be led away in handcuffs.
I agree. I do kind of think he's slipping. Like
Dallas.
Watch him,
Can you imagine
Dallas
being all the Dallas fans are now Houston Texan fans? They're jumping off the. They're jumping like rats off the ship in a storm. The Dallas Cowboys have done absolutely nothing, and then when they have the chance to do something, they trade the pick.
CJ Stroud jerseys will be the top selling jersey tonight.
I've been a CJ
another
Stroud
fan base.
I've been a CJ Stroud truther for a while too, man. Dude, let me tell you something. I'm right more than I'm wrong. I'm gonna pump myself up, man. This is our show, man. Seriously, I've had some good calls that people are like, you're out of your mind. You're crazy. Dude, what's happening? The team that I'm worrying about as a Kansas City Chief fan is the Houston Texans. I'm not worrying about the Buffalo Bills.
But Bills are done.
The Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not worrying about them. I'm worrying about a team with a quarterback on a rookie deal that's getting everybody. and they have picks. They're going to go crazy. Houston's going to have a sick year this year, man. Watch. Those sophomore years for quarterbacks, man.
They didn't have a
Once-
first round
step
pick.
up.
I wonder how they lost it.
They traded it, didn't they?
Maybe because of their trade up for
They traded it. Green Bay's
Will
pick is
Anderson.
in. Their pick is in. Who are they taking here? Man, that Terrion Arnold pick is so good. What a boss move. They're probably looking at themselves in the war room saying to themselves, how is this talent still on the board?
Yeah.
We'll
They looked
sucker
up at their
Dallas.
board
We'll
and go,
sucker
"Wait,
Dallas. We'll call Dallas. They ain't done nothing all year. We'll sucker Dallas. What a bunch of dummies.
what does Tampa Bay do now? Actually, I feel like they're in
Kool-Aid
kind of a tough spot.
McKinstry.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid
Yeah,
McKinstry.
I could see that.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid McKinstry. Don't play with me. Don't play. They had nobody that could check Amon-Ra St. Brown.
The NFL's crazy, man. They drag on the end of the first round like nuts. It's
Yeah,
like
pick-
feels as long as the
come on.
first 10 picks.
Pick these
that
guys
Lions
already,
pick
yeah.
took like 15 minutes.
40 minutes. Let's go.
And he's cracking jokes, the commissioner. Come on, dude.
Let's go.
Wow.
Your boy's,
see.
your boy's about to get a second wind over here, Danny.
Jordan Morgan. Okay. I know that was
What?
someone who you were kind of looking at.
Really? That's who they took?
Powers being
Reach.
there, it's kind of
Reach.
Little
That's
bit.
reach. I don't like that pick at all. That's one of my least favorite picks, and that might be my least favorite pick in the draft.
I think
Come
they're
on,
seeing
Gotta
it
guys.
being-
trade down to get that.
Come on, guys. You could have waited and got him second round. Packers are a team to watch too, man. What did I see in Jordan Morgan, Spencer?
He doesn't have a lot of length, and he also doesn't like have a. I don't know, dude. I think that they're going to try to play him at interior line, and he does not have a lot of experience at the guard position. I think they're going to end up regretting this.
6'5", 311, smooth. I don't
He's
know. This
fast. He's got good footing. You know.
When
He's
I
got, like,
see
average
when
hand
I see
usage.
when I see struggles versus power, that's all I need to know. That's all I need to know, bro. You struggle versus power at a position that is a power first position. I don't care how
Someone is
fast you are.
custodian.
The guy in front of you is stronger than you. You're gonna be on your ass. I don't care how fast you are. I don't like this pick at all. I mean, he's first team all Pac-12, but I mean, again, what kind of and not that the Pac-12 is terrible because they were good, but they're not the SEC.
Watch the Chiefs get someone like Powers Johnson or Graham Barton.
We don't need him.
They could
We
use help
need-
at the offensive line.
Yeah, we need a good left tackle. I don't like those guys for LT. I'd rather keep Wanya Morris and get Adonai Mitchell. If the Bills don't take Adonai Mitchell, he's going to come to the Chiefs.
I think the
Or
Bills are. I think the Bills are definitely taking him.
Adonai Mitchell. You know what's going to happen is the Chiefs are probably going to think that they can replicate Tyreek Hill with Xavier Worthy, and they're going to take Xavier Worthy. And I don't like it.
Yeah, I think
don't
it's
like
going to
it.
get blown up, man.
You need a
When
big
you
receiver.
are 100, you need a big receiver. You already got Sky Moore, who sucks. You needed a Brian Thomas, and he's gone. Adonai
Yeah.
Mitchell is your next guy. You know what I mean? If the Bills take him, I could see them maybe going
Or
offensive
Baltimore,
tackle
man.
there. Or yeah, Baltimore and the Bills, you got to get past because those guys ain't gonna do you no favors. You screwed up the rest of their season, so they're taking guys they know you want. Maybe Xavier Legette. I don't like his speed though. They may end up taking an offensive lineman. Protecting Mahomes is never the wrong answer.
No.
You know, protecting Patrick Mahomes is never a
That's how
bad
they've
idea.
won multiple Super Bowls. Every Super Bowl where Patrick Mahomes has been protected, they've won. Plain and simple.
And you know they don't call holding.
They didn't even get close to him in that last Super Bowl. I didn't see one defensive lineman get near his jersey.
Same thing in the Super Bowl with the Eagles. He was running all over the place with a bum wheel. That's a guy that should be on a stretcher. I
He
mean,
was reading the Sunday paper, man. The
the interior line for the Kansas City Chiefs is as good as anybody in the NFL. Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, those guys are ballers. Joe Thuney, that's as good as you're going to get. Now, the bookends, I'm a little worried about. You know what I mean? All right, tackle. Very penalized this year, but, still won a Super Bowl, so you can fix some things in camp. but we don't have a LT, bro. You know, we don't have a LT, and so
Tyler Guyton, maybe.
I would take him.
I think that's probably
Patrick-
the best tackle available at that
That's
place.
left.
If he's
Patrick
still there.
Paul, and the next. Well, there's the level.
See, because then I feel like once you start talking about those guys, you're reaching a little bit. You know,
Patrick Paul
I have
might
a
be a
first round
reach.
grade for Guyton.
Yeah. But Tyler, well, Dallas still has a pick at 29, so they may have been able to trade back and still get the guy, which at that point now they look like
We'll
geniuses.
see, though. I could see Arizona going offensive
You know what
line
I mean?
here.
Yeah.
Now they look like geniuses if that 29 they still get Tyler Guyton. You know what I mean? So it just depends. This is where 7 teams are playing chess at once. And this is the best part. To
Yeah,
me.
especially once you get
This is
later,
the
'cause
best
all
part
these-
of the draft.
Yeah, these are the best teams in the draft, so they're all competing
So-
against each other on a very literal basis.
Yeah, this is the best part of the draft to me, right here, because all these guys want the same guys.
Buffalo, Baltimore, like they're all competing against Kansas City. You know,
Pretty much, man. You know what I mean? Pretty
you can even
much.
say the same thing about San Francisco, obviously.
Yep. I mean, Guyton, Barton, Kool-Aid. I mean, there's good talent.
Buffalo's
still.
definitely going wide receiver, right? Like I feel like
They're
that's
probably. I think they're taking
straightforward.
Adonai Mitchell because they know the Chiefs want him.
Well, they have to find somebody, man. They don't have a wide receiver room right now.
Yeah. And Cowboys did get a 73rd pick out of that deal. That might work out for them. There's going to be a ton of value in the 2nd and 3rd pick. That may not,
Especially in
be,
a move up, right? I feel like that's
Yeah.
probably where most of the value is going to be in the second round is your like movement.
Yeah, that's true, man. That might
See,
not
how
be-
does Carolina sit there? It's kind of have 2 picks in the second round. I feel like they should have traded up for Brian Thomas Jr.
they should?
If
they
it was
should-
tradable to get up, they had a better
they
package
sh-
they could have
They
given.
should send that franchise packing, bro.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to trade up for a quarterback, but now you're too scared to trade up in the draft.
Just give the
that doesn't make
Carolina
sense to me.
Panthers to the XFL, bro. You
For
know what I
real.
mean?
It's a wrap.
You whiffed so bad with your number 1 overall pick.
And
it's
what
gonna
you
be-
traded to get it.
And you gave up everything to get it. You listen to everyone else rather than do your recon. It's a different story if you have CJ Stroud there, and you don't really surround him with much. You got no tight end. You got no. Well, I
Well, I know
wide
Corey
receivers.
does.
I mean, you got no running back. I mean, what do you have, dude? You know what I mean? Like, homeboy who came from the Vikings is on his way out. He's 33, 34. I mean, you don't. If I was a Carolina,
There's nothing
Panthers
there.
I mean, Brian Burns, he's still there, right? They signed him, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. He's the only
Yeah.
guy out there.
Dude, he's like in the living room by himself looking around. I mean, you have no one there, dude. I mean, that's a mess. That is a mess, boy.
Cardinals
I would probably
maybe go Kool-Aid McKinstry here.
I like Kool-Aid. I like
Yeah.
Kool-Aid for him.
I do too.
Let's see.
You know what I mean?
I feel like if you're the Buccaneers, you just take the best available player here. They haven't had anyone in their secondary in a long time. They traded Carlton Davis away too.
Yeah. Jamel Dean, Carlton Davis, all those guys, those were Tom Brady's guys. They're all gone.
Yeah,
And so you gotta get a CB1 in here, man. Kool-Aid and Tampa.
Graham
is
Barton.
perfect.
Yeah, smart move.
Yeah, Graham Barton.
Really, you taking best available here. I feel.
Let
like
me
one
tell
of
you
those guys is
something.
Graham Barton.
If Kool-Aid McKinstry is there at 32, the Chiefs may fill that spot with him. Well, Jerry Sneed's
they-
gone.
He's gone.
They may just take Kool-Aid. He's a good player. You need another guy. But the thing is
Yeah,
that their
'cause I don't see
DB room,
Buffalo-
the DB room is so deep. The Chiefs got tons of D-backs, man. Their D-back room is deep. I think they're going to get a wide receiver. That's what they
Baltimore
need.
has to go wide receiver, right? Like Buffalo
I
goes
think
wide
so.
receiver. Baltimore
Yeah,
goes
they
wide
lost.
receiver.
They lost Odell, so Odell's gone.
Ooh, Dallas has got to be a little sick right now, man.
No, Dallas is going to get Guyton. It's going to work out for them, I think. It's going to work out for them. Yeah, they need a wide receiver. In
Here comes
Baltimore.
Adonai Mitchell, probably, right? I mean, I that's just who I see Buffalo taking.
Buffalo's taking Mitchell. I can't see.
They
them
get rid
not.
of Gabe Davis. You know,
I just can't
they
see
had
them not taking a wide receiver with all the dissension that they've. I mean, Danny, they have just gotten rid of everyone. Gabe Davis is gone. Diggs is waived. I mean, they got nobody.
that's
I mean,
right.
if they don't. Oh, Burns is on the Giants now.
That's
Thank
right.
you,
I forgot
Corey.
about that.
So they
Carolina can't have
literally-
any good players.
Yeah, Carolina, dude.
Or
Carolina
against
to the XFL 2024. Let's go. They're terrible. Poor Bryce Young. And I went to the NFL Experience here during the Super Bowl, and Bryce Young was there signing autographs. Bro, Bryce Young looks like my son. He looks like someone's kid. He is so, dude. I'm like, that's Bryce Young. I had to do a double take. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh my God, that guy is so, that 5'10", yeah, that's all cap. You know what I mean? That kid's 5'8.5" in stilts. Stop. And he's little too, man. If he takes off and gets licked, wrap it up, son, because that ambulance is coming for you. You know what I mean? Like, he may die on the field. I feel bad for the Carolina faithful because they're a decent fan base, but he is not a number 1 overall draft pick on any team, in any weather. I mean, I bet on them to backdoor teams, and they couldn't even backdoor teams in their own building last year.
Nah.
I think I hit one bet last year with them, Spencer. One. They're bad. They're
Terrible.
bad. They're really bad. So Cardinals are up. Who the Cardinals taking? They need defense. Darius Robinson.
Darius Robinson.
Call that. I smell that. That's why I thought Detroit was taken. That's a good pick for them. They've had a nice draft, dude. They've kept their quarterback. They kept Kyler Murray. They have Trey McBride. Now you've got MH Day. You got Darius Robinson. They have good players, man. They have good pieces. Let me tell you something. Arizona's on the come up, and they're not done yet. They're not done yet. They're going to continue to build this team through the draft. I like this pick. I like what they're
I like
doing.
Darius. He's great.
They
He's got a great
need a
bull
guy
rush.
who can
slide
get
inside.
to the quarterback. They
He
need
reminds me
a
a lot
bull.
of Tyree Wilson. I feel
Yeah.
like they're very comparable.
Yeah,
to
and
each
dude,
other.
Mizzou is no scrub school. You're playing decent composition coming
Yeah.
out of Mizzou. It's a good pick for them. You know what I
This is
mean? And
solid.
who's their running back? Who's so underrated? He's hurt all the time. What's his name? Dude was on
He played for the Steelers for a
he
while.
play, yeah, you know, I mean, he's good.
James Conner.
James Conner, dude, James Conner is better than people think. If he just could stay healthy.
Yes.
Arizona can score. Arizona is on the way back, man.
Arizona's had
People-
a very good draft.
And the thing about Arizona is, for gambling purposes too, which is what we do here at World of Matchups, they backdoor teams all the time. One game in particular,
They're going
going
to start winning some of these games now.
Bet
I really
your
think
life
so.
on it when they went into Philadelphia at the end of the year, and they were 12-point underdogs, and they won the game outright. Trey McBride is a good player, man. He's on
Real good.
another. He is a good. He's not as good as Laporta and Kincaid, but he's a good player.
He's a good player.
And nothing like a safety valve for a small quarterback like him. I won a title with him. I mean, thank you, Danny. You traded him to me. I mean, he's a good player. You know what I mean? Like, I like what they're doing here. Darius Robinson, physical, 8.5 sacks, 14 tackles for losses. 14. Dude, how many games do we play? I mean, that's a tackle for loss a game. This guy's a good player, man.
And that's where
I'm trying to
Arizona
find
needed
the
help. So it's a
Cardinals over under
Mhm.
6.5 wins next year. I
I'd
like
say
the over
over.
on that.
I like the over. He's got 110 tackles in his career, 111 tackles in his whole career, 6'5", 285, 4.95 40-yard dash. This is a unit. He's a unit. At pick 27, you can do worse than that.
Yeah, that's a good spot.
I think Arizona's right behind the Bears here. That's a good pick.
I'm trying to think of some other like big winners in this year's draft. I think the Raiders had a good. I think they got a good.
Getting Bowers
from where
is
they
good.
were.
Detroit getting Arnold.
Detroit
the
had a-
Eagles. The Eagles.
Eagles.
Man. You let a CB1 fall in your lap and without having to trade up. I mean, Detroit had to trade up. Right now, my losers are definitely Atlanta and
The
definitely
Colts.
Minnesota.
Taking
Colts didn't do
Latu at
much.
15. That's
I don't like that. I don't like
That's
Latu's
lame.
injury history scares me. You could have had Cooper DeJean. You could have had so many better players than that. I'm not a fan of that pick at all. 43 tackles in 2023. Darius Robinson's going to fit right into that defense. I like this a lot, man.
Green Bay taking Jordan Morgan was also kind of.
I
lame pick.
hated
I feel like
that
they're also
pick.
one of the bigger
Graham
losers.
Barton, Jackson Powers Johnson. These players are better and still on the board. Tyler Guyton, the Dallas Cowboys. I was clowning them 5 minutes ago, but this is going to work out for them.
They're gonna get him.
They're going to get him. They're going to get. Did the Chiefs move up? The Chiefs moved up.
Oh shit!
The Chiefs moved up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Adonai Mitchell, give it to me, baby. Come on, Beach.
Let's see it.
Give it to me.
How does Buffalo trade?
Give
Their
it to
biggest
me.
competition, too. That doesn't make sense to me.
Give it to me.
How does Buffalo trade with you?
It's Veach season.
How do you trade with your nemesis who has knocked you out of the playoffs the last 3 times you have been there? Oh my goodness. If I'm a Buffalo Bills fan right now, I am beside myself. What are you doing?
Look at Biggie so pissed.
What are you? The rich are about to get richer. Give me Adonai Mitchell, and I'm gonna go ballistic. My neighbors are all calling the police.
Give it to me. I don't want to hear about no linemen. Breach. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Get these commercials off the TV and get the pick. Let's go.
I got to milk these last few minutes of advertisements.
Back to back to back is loading. Let's go.
What are the
Patrick
Bills
Mahomes.
doing?
Let's go. You give Patrick Mahomes Adonai Mitchell, and it's curtains for you clowns. How do you let Baltimore,
I
Buffalo,
wouldn't
how
even
do
pick
you
up the
let
phone, man.
Kansas City pick? How do you do? How is this possible?
How?
This
How
is
do the Bills give that pick to Kansas City?
when you need a receiver.
Yeah.
When this
at
is the
same
team
position
that
of
has
need.
slapped you around for the past 5 years when it counts. How? How is this possible? The Bills are the biggest losers in the draft just for this on spec alone. If they get Adonai Mitchell, I'm gonna go bananas. They better not pick. You better not pick Xavier Worthy or a lineman here. I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so pissed. I don't want to hear nothing about Xavier Worthy here. The kid's 165 pounds, Brett Veach.
Oh, they take. Yeah.
If
my
they take
God.
Worthy, he better be Tyreek Hill. That's all I'm saying. He better be. If you trade up for this guy and he is not Tyreek Hill, I'm moving to Kansas City with a shotgun tomorrow. These last couple picks, what is taking so long? Let me see if I
Crazy,
can.
bro.
Let me go to my source. Stop playing with this NFL draft.
Got to get that Chipotle ad in, man. God, they are
Yeah,
dragging
yeah.
this thing out.
Corey says Mitchell for sure. Big Daddy is slapping his wife somewhere. He's so mad.
Big Daddy's pissed.
He's so mad right now.
Hopefully he's not in a casino. He's gonna be on tilt.
Let's go, Adonai Mitchell. Kansas City website don't have it up yet. Stop playing.
No, I don't.
Why y'all playing? Stop playing. Come on.
I want to know what you gave up too. I don't want to hear no nonsense about
Yeah, this
future
is like taking
consideration.
a long
Give it to
time
me.
get through. They're like
The
sorting
pick's
through
in.
this thing.
What did they give up? You stiffs.
Patrick Mahomes in a first. No, I'm just kidding.
You're out of your mind. It's been nice knowing you fellas. You
It's a
come with that
QB. It's a
nonsense.
QB swap.
Yep.
Oh, I
Something
think I have the
happened.
pick. I have the pick. The Chiefs. I don't know if this is a Alex Breer. That's a name, right? Am I getting debated? I don't think so. I think the pick is Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, I knew they were gonna do it. I don't like it at all.
They already have a small wide receiver. Where is the big guy on the Chiefs?
Crashing
Chelsea.
cars in the offseason.
Don't get me wrong, man. I like everything about Xavier Worthy except that he's 165 pounds. He's gonna. He,
Smizzo, man. On
it-
that
but the thing is,
field.
you're gonna have to catch him.
Him and Brown are like the same size.
Dude, it's the same player. So maybe they're thinking after Brown's 1 year, they ain't gonna sign him. They're not giving Brown a contract.
Nah.
So then Worthy will slide right in. I don't hate it. I don't love it. Worthy is 165 pounds in the NFL. The guy, you better have him on a food program. Son, get in the weight room right now. Get him on a plane and give him a pizza when he gets on the plane. 165 pounds in the National Football League? Are you kidding me? And you traded up? Adonai Mitchell is a stud.
You better take him to the rib place over there.
You better go to Jack Stacks, Q39, put some cornbread on that boy's plate. What they need to stop playing with me here. This is stupid, Spencer. What is all the pomp and circumstance? Make the pick.
I know. This is taking like 15 minutes for one pick. Because they got to bring people on, and dude, it's
You know what
nuts. The
Corey
NFL.
just says deep balls all day, and it's true, man. Because what you're gonna see now,
Okay, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see the old Patrick Mahomes. You're going to see 50 touchdown Patrick Mahomes here because they can burn by anyone. You're going to be throwing balls deep, and you're throwing balls deep to guys who can catch. You're not throwing balls deep to MVS. So I will guarantee you this. If it is Xavier Worthy, the Chiefs are taking they're going to get another wide receiver here who's a big guy. That's what they're doing day 2. If they're trading up for this, they're like, we have to get more explosive. We can't rely on our defense to win games 21-14. We need to score points. Last year, taxed our defense. We just lost L'Jarius Sneed. We need to get back to electric football. We need to get back to not wasting Patrick Mahomes. I'll take it. I don't love it. I'll be the first one to tell you. And if he turns into Tyreek Hill 2.0, I will come on here and I will send homeboy an engraved apology with a cheese stick because he needs to eat a few. Because in the National Football League, if you go over the middle at 165 pounds, please call your mom before you do so because you're going to die. Danny, you're going to die.
Yeah.
You're going to die. And now, not only that, you give Mitchell, you give him to Baltimore. 5'11", 165. Boy, he's fast though. I like what I see.
He's as fast as they get, man.
He is fast.
My goodness, he ran right by that guy like he was standing still. Look at that. That is juicy. And the thing I like about it is you ain't got to worry about can your quarterback get him the ball.
Yeah, you already know that.
Patrick Mahomes can throw from here to Russia. And he hasn't had to the last couple years. He hasn't had to. See, that's the thing. You just won 2 Super Bowls, and you haven't had to work your arm. Patrick Mahomes' deep ball percentage was the worst in the NFL last year.
Patrick Mahomes is basically coasting. Like he's a little.
Did you just see that play? Was that like an end around? That looked like very Tyreek-ish.
Gone.
I mean,
Just
if anyone's
gone.
going to find a way to use this guy correctly,
It's Andy
gonna be
Reid.
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid knows how to move guys around.
Boy, I cannot believe Buffalo gave up.
That don't make no
Xavier Worthy
sense.
to Kansas
That
City.
part I don't get. I don't. Someone's got to explain that to me.
My goodness.
Unless they know that
My
Baltimore's going
goodness.
to take a defensive player.
Pick is in for the Dallas Cowboys. Here we go. They're going to take Tyler Guyton. Dallas
we
played
know
that well.
They
The
did.
Bills
You
are
gotta
getting
give them credit.
Corey just said the Bills are getting crushed on ESPN.
As they
How
should be.
dumb are you to let the Kansas City Chiefs get Xavier Worthy? I hope.
Yeah, because I'm pretty
hope-
sure if you sit still, like those 2 receivers get split between Buffalo and Baltimore.
And here's the thing, man. If I could find a way here, no, Baltimore's going to take Adonai Mitchell. Adonai Mitchell's going to go to Baltimore. I wanted Mitchell, man. But, dude, the Chiefs just love these fast
now
guys,
Buffalo's
man.
just going to be there with their pants on, like around their.
Who are they going to
basically.
take? Who are they going to take? They need receivers, and no one's going to be there. This
Are they
is
going to take Leggett?
This is an upper echelon player. Worthy, Mitchell, they're upper echelon wide receivers. Who are they taking? Troy Franklin? Leggett? Those are day 2. McConkey? Those guys are day 2 wide receivers. I like what the Chiefs did here actually more than now that I'm talking about it out more because there's going to be a big guy for them to get tomorrow. There's going to be a guy there for them to get tomorrow.
Someone's going to be there.
How are you trading with the Kansas City Chiefs and you are the Buffalo Bills?
Can't happen.
Lord, is Jesus coming? Jesus has to be coming.
Can't.
Get your affairs in order. How is that possible? Danny, they just traded with their arch nemesis that has knocked them out of the playoffs the last 3 times they've played and let them get Tyreek Hill 2.0.
Can't happen.
Yeah, Tyler Guyton. That's the most Cowboys.
That's
yeah,
you know what?
We-
Dallas fans, I apologize. Scotty, if you're listening, I apologize. You guys played this. No, you played this well, man. At
the guy
first,
we
I was like, what are you guys doing? This is a absolutely fantastic pick. This is a great pick. You needed a left tackle. You let yours go. You trade back, and you get the guy that you wanted anyway. Bravo. Fantastic job. Finally, the Dallas Cowboys have done something correct. A-plus player.
massive dude. He's got great natural talent. not the most flexible, and he doesn't have the best technique, but it's a big experience problem for the guy. That's the big risk that you're taking. He checks all the boxes, but that can be a problem, man. If you don't have the
6'7",
experience, but
322.
at the
guy,
position, it's right.
the guy was a former tight end that said, "I don't want to be a tight end anymore. I want to play on the line. I'm 6'7". I want to play on the line," and he beefed up, and now he's an offensive lineman.
Great.
322. You know what you have to put on 40 pounds as a tight end to be 322. 50 pounds. That's crazy. They got themselves a mammoth. Great. Dude, that well done, Scotty. Well done, Dallas.
They got themselves
Well
a
done.
player right there. That's a good move.
Well done. That's well done, man.
Well, if the Cowboys want to do anything, it's draft offensive linemen.
Dude, let me tell you, you and I said it the other day, man. Jerry Jones protects his quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You say what you want about Dak. He can't close. He melts under pressure in the playoffs, but they give him enough players around him to protect him. And he has good years. The problem with Dak is that he's not a good quarterback. He's not a winner. Winners win in the playoffs. He's a great regular season quarterback. I like Dak, man. I think Dak was close to being MVP last year.
He was there.
That guy's a monster. 6'7".
Baltimore's pick is in.
6'7" piece.
What I don't like here is no one will tell me what the Kansas City Chiefs gave up to move up.
I know that hasn't come out yet.
You know what I mean? You moved up 4 spots, son. You gave up something, and I don't want to hear nothing about a rack of ribs. Like, I want to know what's happening tomorrow. Like, am I moving all the way back? Like, because there's another wide receiver in their arsenal. Rashee Rice is going to miss 4 games.
At least.
I need well, at least. I need players. The pick is in. Baltimore has to take Adonai Mitchell here. If you don't take Adonai Mitchell here, what are you doing? What
The
are you
Buffalo
doing?
Bills are just giving a layup to their biggest competition in the AFC.
I would rather him go to Baltimore. I ain't got to see them until the until the AFC Championship game, which I think they'll be there. The Bills are done. The Bills Super Bowl window closed when
They
Stephon
went
Diggs left.
defense. Big Daddy's gonna be mad.
They went D?
They went deep, bro.
Stop. Who'd they take?
Nate Wiggins, bro.
No! Little ass Nate Wiggins is going to be a Raven? I don't like that. I don't like that.
I
You
thought they would
need-
go defense, but maybe like Cooper DeJean or something like that.
That's what I'm saying because, you just lost Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen went to the Steelers, so he's an in-division rival, right? My son said they may take the O-line man from Oregon, Jackson Powers Johnson. Yeah. Boy, I don't like this. They really took Nate Wiggins for real?
That's what Alex said.
No, I can't see that. Why would they do that?
Ooh, the Chiefs
Yeah.
gave up the
Chan,
96.
receiver.
Chiefs got a good player, man. I just worry about the size so much. 5'11", 165. To me, 5'11" needs to be 180. Not
Right.
165.
That's nuts, man. That's
crazy.
so small.
Hey, Siri, how much does Tyreek Hill weigh?
Tyreek Hill weighs 192 pounds.
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Tyreek Hill weighs 192. I met Tyreek Hill. And let me tell you, this kid is jacked. He's solid.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Tyreek Hill's all muscle. Now, when he came into the Chiefs as a kick returner, I don't think he was that weight. You know what I mean? So maybe they're thinking long term with Worthy. You're not going to give you're not going to give that guy a second contract. This is a 1-year deal. So, boy, that's a shiny
Nate
new toad for
Wiggins.
Andy Reid. Nate Wiggins? That's a horrible pick. The Kansas City Chiefs are winning this draft late. They are winning this draft late. That is a terrible pick. What are you doing, Baltimore? Adonai Mitchell is right there.
The Ravens were not Nate Wiggins away from winning in a playoff game.
Now you know what's going to happen? The San Francisco 49ers are going to take this guy, and they don't even need him. They're going to take Adonai Mitchell. They don't even need him.
Yeah, I don't know what the 49ers do now. Could be a trade candidate here.
Let's see if I can get my buddy, the Angry Degenerate, in here because he's a 49er fan.
That's great.
Yeah, Buffalo may fall into Adonai Mitchell now, which would be crazy.
That's
I doubt San Francisco
insane.
goes wide receiver here.
This
That's
would
a
be
pretty
the wildest night, and everybody that traded back still got what they wanted.
This is that's the Ravens. That's pretty questionable in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Hey, bro, click on if you want to talk Niners football. Your team is about to make a pick.
I'm
Dude,
trying to look at.
are
I'm
you
trying to look at
kidding
my
me?
draft
You guys
right
took
here.
Nate Wiggins, Big Daddy. You better get in here. You better get in here right now, bro. You better get in here right now. I'm not trying to hear nothing. You better get in here right now. Adonai Mitchell is waiting for you, and you don't take him. Odell is gone. Aguilar is done. Come on. I don't want to hear nothing about Nelson Aguilar. You already got one small receiver. You got to give
49ers
Lamar.
will.
You got to give Lamar another target besides Mark Andrews, who you know gets hurt. Your defense is already all world. ESPN is saying a great pick. Nate Wiggins, I don't know, man. Okay, maybe it's a good pick. This guy's had 3 picks at Clemson his whole career. He's small.
In the ACC.
He's small in the black and blue division. He's small. Dude, you could have done better than that. Maybe it's a great pick. You already have such a good defense, bro.
I think
You
Kool-Aid
have such a
McKinstry's
good
better.
defense.
I can see
Dude,
the 49ers taking
Kool-Aid
Kool-Aid right here.
McKinstry is better than Nate Wiggins, man. I don't know. I don't like it. I mean, what do I know? You know what I mean? What do I know? I'm just a guy that works in a restaurant
Maybe
that likes
49ers
football.
go offensive line here.
Adonai Mitchell, they don't need him, but here's the thing, man. They ain't going to be able to keep Debo, and they're not going to be
Yeah,
able
maybe
to
they
keep
know that.
Ayuk. They can't keep them both. They can't keep them both, and they're going to pay Purdy a boatload. And CMC ain't going to be there forever either, man. They need to go offensive tackle. You know what I mean? Because Trent Williams was getting tossed around in the Super Bowl. You know, yeah, you never give Lamar enough, bro. I'll give you that. I mean, Lamar makes some boneheaded moves when it matters, but you guys never give Lamar Jackson enough. Adonai Mitchell is the pick there. It's gift wrapped. The Buffalo Bills said, you know what? We're dummies. So we'll give Kansas City Tyreek Hill 2.0 potentially and hope it doesn't work out. He's only 165 pounds. Maybe he'll get DeMar Hamlin. Oh, yeah, but you guys pick right after him. Well, maybe you guys will not take Adonai Mitchell and you guys take Nate Wiggins. Good Lord. I'm sorry. That's one of the worst picks in this draft, dude. I don't like it at all. That helps us. Kansas City ain't got to see Adonai Mitchell now.
They lost Odell Beckham. I mean,
They lost Odell Beckham. Aguilar's old.
Bateman's
I
a
mean,
stiff.
Flowers is
Yeah,
small too. You need, I mean, look, if Mark Andrews gets hurt, thank God you had that other guy behind him. You know, that hybrid wide receiver tight end. I forget his name. He's really good. But when it mattered, you even saw it. You even saw it versus Kansas City. You even saw it. Besides Flowers, they didn't have anybody that could really make a play.
No.
Adonai Mitchell is the
That was their
truth. I'm
biggest
sorry, man.
problem.
Adonai Mitchell is
Peyton Bateman was like, Ravens
Rashad,
would just run
Rashad Bateman is look, hear me out, fellas. Rashad Bateman is a bum. He is a bum. Like when Mickey said to Rocky, "You're a bum," he was talking about Rashad Bateman. And not only that, they just gave him a 2-year extension. This guy catches 20 passes a year. He is trash. The guy is basura. What are you guys doing? Hey, if we see you in the playoffs and you guys can't get anybody open, this is going to be why. Adonai Mitchell is a dog, son. He's a dog. And if he goes to San Francisco, now they got better because you dummies want to take Nate Wiggins. Sorry. What do you think, Spencer? Am I overreacting, Spencer? That's
like
a
I said,
horrible pick.
whenever I think about these teams who are on the precipice of going to the finals or the Super Bowl, I always think, were they this player away? Like if I inserted them, in that playoff game last year, would it have made a difference? I don't think Nate Wiggins would have made a difference.
ain't doing, dude. Patrick Mahomes is carving up everyone. Patrick Mahomes and Deion Sanders.
For them, I would sooner have taken a defensive tackle or something. You know what I mean? Like if they
I
wanted to
would
go
take
defense.
like I just said, DT Patrick Queen is now gone. Like, fine,
Newton?
you want to just go Yeah, Nate Newton, you just want to be a defensive bully on the block and run it back. We saw Patrick Mahomes. We made a mistake. We didn't run the ball. It will never happen again. I could live with that. Nate Wiggins, what is he, 5'7"? 5'8"? I mean, come on, bro. I'll be the first one to tell you, I do not like little guys in the NFL. They don't hold up. Tyreek Hill is the anomaly. And he's really not little, man. He's 5'10", and he is a brick. And he's a track star. Just because you can run fast doesn't mean you can play football, man. Stanford Route could run fast, and that guy was a bum. He's a bum. If they get Adonai Mitchell here, I'm going to be salty. Because let me tell you something. This is it for the Niners. You look at the Niners schedule. You look at the teams the Niners have to play.
This is a huge pick for them.
The Niners aren't going to pay Brandon Ayuk.
No.
And Debo is always hurt. He's on his way out. What then? Purdy.
Maybe they do take Adonai Mitchell here then.
Well,
and
I would
just
take
say-
Adonai Mitchell here. You're going to have to back up the Brinks truck for Purdy. Kittle is older. I mean,
Yeah,
they
you're
have
gonna have to
weapons.
drop
CMC
Debo
is older.
probably.
They're loaded, but they're loaded with a lot of older players, man. They're older.
Ricky Pearsall. They did
Pearsall.
take a wide receiver.
What?
Whoa.
What? Oh, my stars. I can't remember a time where I was ever more upset at other teams missing out on top tier talent.
Wow.
This guy's a day 2 guy. He's a day 3 guy. Why is no one taking Adonai Mitchell? Does he have herpes or something? Like, is there something we don't know?
He's
Love
great. He's a good athlete.
All
This
the-
guy is good at route running, but he's got a very slim frame and he's like only kind of like good against the zone. But I guess he's kind of a
All
scheme
mocks.
guy. But
Well, Adonai Mitchell's now going to go to Buffalo.
they would be so dumb not to take him here.
I don't understand why
luck
you would
out.
trade. But you luck out and save face and get him. But why would you trade with the Chiefs? I still can't let you get over. We're not going to
Wow.
forget that happened. You're going to get Mitchell here. This is a horrible pick. I'm sorry. This is a terrible pick. That works for me, man. All the teams that I worry
Carolina
about.
looks like they're trading up.
What?
Carolina's one spot.
Adonai Mitchell to Carolina. What?
Buffalo just doesn't want to pick anybody, dude. Buffalo's like, we're sick of drafting guys.
Buffalo's like, we don't
apparently.
want to spend any money till we get
This
to the
is
team.
unbelievable. What are you doing? Dude, Josh Allen must be like in shambles right now. Poor Josh
No
Allen.
shot. They trade.
Poor
You
Josh
know
Allen.
they're taking Adonai Mitchell now. I mean, the Panthers
They
are obviously trading up. for a wide
They really
receiver.
traded this pick. Your
Sure
stream is
did.
faster than mine. I'm still behind. Oh my stars.
okay.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, Carolina's on the clock. Wow.
Well, there you go, Spencer. Carolina finally said, we're
said
not
he's getting
sitting
back.
here any longer doing this nonsense. Adonai Mitchell to
All they
to
got.
Bryce Young.
Man.
Who'd they
I
take?
don't.
Don't-
I don't understand the Bills, man. I just don't
The
get
Bills, dude. The Bills are done. Done.
it. It feels like they're trying to outsmart everybody. It's like, dude, at some point you're not like. I don't
The
know.
Bills are done.
What are they getting all these picks for?
Their coach is going to be fired. They're done.
They might clean house, dude. Like GM, coach, and just. I'm surprised
My
the pick isn't just flying in.
goodness.
But
This
my
is
goodness.
unbelievable.
Bills are the biggest losers of the night. It feels like now.
This is crazy to me, bro. Like,
Other than maybe
literally.
the Falcons, right? The Falcons have to be
You
the biggest
are-
losers by far.
So they get the 32nd overall pick and a 6th round pick, and the Bills received their 2nd round pick. And the Bills must just be adamant that there's players that they like in a 2nd round. I mean,
They've just outsmarted it. I think they're trying to outsmart everyone. You
they
know?
get the first pick in round 2. So they could still get Adonai Mitchell. But I mean, what does the Carolina Panthers need? They need wide receiver help.
Oh, desperately. They're lucky to have Adonai Mitchell here at 32.
My goodness. This is
That's
insane.
Yeah, it looks like they kept they have another early 2nd round pick. Yeah, I see Las Vegas there, man. Someone really good is gonna fall to them at that position now.
Spencer, what is Buffalo doing?
Imagine Newton falls to the Raiders at that spot in the 2nd round. You got a defensive line with Wilkins, Newton, Max Crosby.
I don't understand. What is Buffalo doing?
I don't know. I don't understand what
so
they've
the
done. this
Panthers
entire
have Deontay
offseason,
Johnson already. I forgot about that.
right?
So they have
But
they have a chain
they
mover. The
still
guy
need wide receivers,
they
man.
dude, if you don't take Adonai Mitchell here, what are you doing? Or Xavier Leggett. One of those guys. You have to take a wide receiver here. You just have
Maybe they go offensive line here and see who falls to them receiver wise in the second round. I could see that happening too.
Do these guys want to beat Kansas City?
No.
No, they don't.
They don't,
No
right?
interest.
They don't.
They've made no move in the last 3 years. That tells me that they're
Baltimore?
interested in winning a Super Bowl.
Dude, the only team that can beat the Kansas City Chiefs, if this continues throughout this draft, is going to be the San Francisco 49ers or the Detroit Lions. It's going to be an
Yeah, I was gonna
NFC
say the
team.
Lions.
Or the Eagles. The Eagles, man, Eagles are loaded. If the Eagles figure out their secondary, they could go back. The Eagles are loaded. The loss of
I think they
Jason
had a little
Kelce
bit of Super
is
Bowl
not as
sickness.
big as you think. The Eagles, I'm telling you, the Eagles are a solid football team, man. They realize where they made mistakes and they've addressed it. They're like, nope, we're going up and we're getting this guy. There's no way this kid is going to stay there. They got a CB1, get these old guys out of there. I wouldn't be surprised if Bradbury and Slay get waived. Seriously, they're going to start fresh. These guys are going to come in and do a good job for them. And they still got ballers, man. They got all that talent they got from last year.
Yeah.
They're a good team, man. They're going to win that division, no problem.
Buffalo has to be so convinced that their pick tomorrow is going to they're going to be like, we got it.
If
And you
you're-
guys
dude,
missed it. You know,
literally,
like, they have to
if
have to have that
you're
mindset.
Josh Allen, if you're Josh Allen right now, what are you thinking? I
Here
mean,
comes
we
the
are
last
3
pick.
hours and 40 minutes into this broadcast, and I cannot find a bigger blunder than what the Buffalo Bills are doing. They just really must believe that there is first-round talent in second round throughout. They're going to start with that first pick. So if Adonai Mitchell is there, then they won that trade. They won the trade backs. But if he's not there,
Xavier Leggett.
yeah,
That's who the Panthers pick.
Leggett's a good player, man. I wanted the Chiefs to take him. What I don't like about Leggett is that people think that he's just going to be DK Metcalf. And when DK Metcalf catches the ball, he takes off like Tyreek Hill. When Leggett catches the ball, it's a lot slower. But he's a
not
good
great route
player.
runner either.
He's not a great route runner, but he can go up and get it. You know what? That's a good
He
pick,
does. He's a
man.
great catch radius.
Him on one side, Deontay Johnson on the other side, that is not horrible.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
would say
horrible.
he's like AJ
So now Buffalo saves face. They're gonna get killed tonight. The Twitterverse, they're gonna get killed on ESPN. They're getting killed. But tomorrow morning, they're going to get Adonai Mitchell. I would be absolutely shocked. I mean, I may try to put a bet in on that.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Who are they going to take? Like, if they take, like, Johnny Newton tomorrow morning, oh my stars. Xavier Leggett, 113 receptions, 1,678 yards, and 12 touchdowns in his career. Look at these highlights, dude. He is muscling fools. I mean,
That was a
that
great
catch
first
radius is crazy. I mean, he's jumping up and pulling the ball out of the air. That's a good pick for Carolina, man. Good on you, Carolina, if you're actually doing something, because I know we're just poking the stick, like waiting for you to do something. Like that's a
They
Dude,
did. They did.
6'1", 221, 439-40. That's the kind of guy I wanted on Kansas City. But this is why I'm serving Italian food, and Brett Veach is a multi-billionaire. I hope this guy turns into something great. So that's the draft, you guys. We've put in almost 4 hours worth of work here for you guys, and
Solid.
a lot of solid commentary. We appreciate you coming on, Dan the Man. Thank everybody that came on. Corey, Kevin, it was really nice to have some other voices in here besides me and Spencer the Wiz. Before we go, let's do some parting shots with how you think tonight went and what you expected to see versus what you saw and what you think tomorrow is going to happen. And you go first, Spence.
Yeah, I think the QB position is probably the most surprising. Obviously the first three were pretty figured out. JJ McCarthy was pretty straightforward. Didn't know exactly where they trade up to get him, but the Vikings were going to trade up to get him. You know, Michael Penix and Bo Nix. I just didn't see it coming. I just thought those guys would go to the second round, but that's the QB position for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just teams know that there's nothing more important, so they're willing to reach a little bit to get them. But yeah, the over on the QBs taken in the first round, I think, is going to surprise most people when it comes to like really looking at the first round and seeing how things shook up.
Unbelievable. Holy cow. Danny, parting shots.
Yeah, I mean, the 6 quarterbacks was a shocker, and how early they went, in the first half of the draft. That pushed so much talent down that really opened up things like the Eagles didn't even have to move to get a top corner.
That's crazy.
Detroit getting a corner is huge for Detroit, bro.
Huge. Oh, man.
Huge. And, Kansas City, I just never going to get the Bills trading with Kansas City. That makes no sense.
Yeah, ever.
It's not going to make sense.
Ever. Yeah, for me, the Bears did what they were supposed to do. The two players, I should say, that I thought were going to go to the Bears were chalk and did go. To me, that makes them day one winners in and of themselves. If Caleb Williams is anything that anyone says he's going to be, I'm not a big fan of what the Falcons did. To me, that's the worst pick in the drafts, and I like Michael Penix there. I love Michael Penix, but Michael Penix on Denver, Michael Penix on the Raiders, now you're cooking with gas. He's 24. I mean, what are we doing here? He's not going to see the field behind Kirk Cousins unless he gets hurt. Kirk Cousins didn't sign up to mentor anyone. He signed up to go win a title. So that to me is a terrible, terrible, terrible move. I don't like what Indianapolis did. I don't like their pick. I don't like what the Packers did. I don't like their pick. I do like what the Lions did, going up and getting Terran Arnold to pair with Brian Branch. Solid, bro. Eagles, as always, they just sit there and wait for everyone else to screw up, and great players fall right in their lap. Very good job, Eagles, addressing needs and getting stud players. Those two teams did really what they needed to do. I'll never, ever, ever, ever in a million years understand. And I'm going to go into some of these Bills Mafia's fan pages after this and troll, because I want somebody to explain this to me, because it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I'm going to say it out loud again just for the people in the back, because it just doesn't make any sense to me. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid have knocked you out of the playoffs. You've gotten some regular season wins versus them, but they have knocked you out of the playoffs in a fashion that is like a storybook fashion, one of them, the last 3 times you've played them. And that is the team that you trade with to give them a potential Tyreek Hill style player. It just makes absolutely no sense to me. And the fact that these guys, San Francisco, let a player like Adonai Mitchell go for a guy who was not even worth going at that position, it's dumbfounding to me. Dallas took a chance. It worked out for them. Jacksonville took a chance. It worked out for them. So kudos to you guys. Great picks by you. But this is a head-scratching kind of a first draft. Nobody saw this coming. And I'm telling you right now, if the Buffalo Bills don't start tomorrow out with taking Adonai Mitchell, it's going to be a long season in Buffalo.
Real long season.
It's going to be a long season in Buffalo. That's it. World of Matches is going to wrap it up. 3 hours, 46 minutes, and 16, 17, 18, 19. I don't want to hear another word about the old heads in here can't hold their own. 51 years old, and I haven't even eaten yet. Spencer the Wiz bringing the heat as always. Dan the Man bringing the heat as always. This is what we do. Me and Spencer will be back on Saturday after the dust settles. We're going to do a recap show because round 2 is coming, round 3 is coming, and so on and so forth. There's so much more to be done. The draft is not won in round 1. It is won in the later rounds, and a lot is going to pop off, a lot of trading up, a lot of trading down, but for all intents and purposes, this has been a fantastic night. I am Dexter Reed, coming to y'all live and direct from Las Vegas, Nevada, and we are out.
See ya.